Under the pale light of a crescent moon, a sinister lantern sways in the wind. A shadowy figure descends from the rooftops, landing with a heavy thud. It's a creepy, hooded man, and he's here to party. What a wonderful night, he purrs, stepping into a chamber of horrors, ready to begin his dark ritual. He leans over a terrified young woman, chained and helpless. Are you ready? He asks. Our poor girl can only sob, gagged and trembling in pure terror. The man smirks, raising a hand as if bestowing a great honor upon her. He pulls a chain, and with a loud clang, she begins to descend. She sobs uncontrollably as her feet are lowered towards a bubbling, purple pool of nightmares. The moment her toes touch the surface, the liquid crackles with dark energy. But that's not the worst part. A giant snake slithers around her body while the creep watches with a sickening grin. Don't worry, he whispers, his long tongue flicking out like a serpent's. He grabs her face, his smile widening. They won't swallow you, he promises. They will feed you. And with that, the snake's jaws open wide, ready to strike. A scream echoes through the chamber as the ritual begins, a violent, painful metamorphosis. 7 long days pass in a flash. On a stormy night, the hooded man returns. 7 days is over, he says with a grin. It's time for you to get out of the pot. He peers into the murky depths, where the girl's long, dark hair floats lifelessly on the surface. He reaches down, his expression filled with twisted anticipation. Wake up, my poisonous beauty, he coos. Let's welcome this amazing moment together. He lifts her from the water, but something is wrong. He freezes, pressing his fingers to her neck. Where's the heartbeat? He realizes the horrifying truth. She's dead. Pure fury explodes from him. You useless woman, he roars, slamming her lifeless body to the ground. A complete waste of my time. A trashy failure. He's absolutely losing it, panting with rage. If you just died alone, it would be fine, he seethes. But how dare you take the lives of my precious babies? I want your whole family dead. He leaves her body discarded on the cold stone floor. Meanwhile, miles away, a storm rages over a mansion. Inside, a woman prays desperately for her missing daughter. She weeps on the floor, her voice breaking. I only have one daughter, please don't let anything happen to her. Suddenly, the doors creak open, and a man enters. It's her husband. Sir, how was it? She asks, her eyes full of fragile hope. Have you found Lingerer? But his face is grim. I haven't found her, he admits. The rain is too heavy. The mother collapses in grief, blaming herself for her daughter's disappearance. Her husband tries to comfort her, promising they'll find her tomorrow. But just then, a figure stumbles out of the rain. A bloody hand slaps against the door, and the family dog begins to bark wildly, alerting everyone inside. A voice, weak but clear, echoes through the storm. Mom, I am back. And there she is, a girl with terrifying, glowing red eyes. This is pale and streaked with rain. She stands in the courtyard, an eerie and menacing figure as lightning flashes behind her. Her mother sees her and rushes forward. Is it my sweetheart? But her husband yanks her back. Wife, don't go. Are you mad? He glares at the girl. You quickly shoo this psycho out of the house, he bellows to his guards. The guards don't hesitate, surrounding our girl and pushing her. Where did this psycho come from? Get out of here. One of them grabs her arm, but his hand immediately begins to dissolve into black smoke. He screams in agony as the darkness consumes him entirely, leaving his fellow guards staring in horror. Monster, they shriek. Panicked, another guard swings his staff with all his might, landing a brutal blow right to her head. She crumples to the ground, seemingly dead. But just as the guards breathe a sigh of relief, her hand twitches. Her crimson eyes snap open. The mother screams, a look of horrified recognition on her face. She's my Lingerer, my beloved daughter. But the father is terrified. It's not dead yet. Hurry and kill this monster. Kill it, he roars as his wife runs towards her daughter. He screams for his wife to stay back, as another guard lunges forward for the final blow. But before the staff can land, our girl's eyes blaze with power. A massive shockwave of pure energy erupts from her body, sending the guards flying. The entire courtyard is torn apart by the raw, untamed power. The father is thrown back, his face a mask of utter shock and disbelief. Not far away, a stunning man with long silver hair holds an umbrella against the rain. A wisp of the dark energy floats down and lands on his umbrella. He murmurs, his icy eyes glowing. Could it be the emergence of an abnormal ghost? He looks toward the mansion, a dangerous curiosity in his gaze. Our story begins with a heart-wrenching memory, a dream of a life she once had. Our girl sees her parents, calling out to them. But the beautiful dream shatters into a bloody nightmare. Her parents recoil in horror, their faces covered in blood, screaming that she's not their daughter, she's a monster. The vision shifts, and she's a spectral being with glowing red eyes, utterly confused. Suddenly, a sinister voice cuts through the darkness. A creepy, hooded figure looms over her, hissing, My poisonous beauty, you're awake. She glares back, pure defiance in her eyes. The man cackles, his shadowy hands reaching for her. Become my masterpiece, he declares. But our girl isn't having it, screaming no with all her might. She's plunged into cold water, her mind reeling with confusion. She bursts through the surface, gasping for air, her long hair fanning out around her. Elsewhere, a mysterious man with striking white hair lets out a small cough. He's been writing, marking the calendar. The 7th day, he muses, awakening. He approaches her with quiet steps. She's in a large wooden tonerable and disoriented. Where am I? She stammers, demanding to know who he is. He calmly explains that he's purifying the water with blood time. She snaps back, "What are you doing to me?" "I'm treating you," he says, his voice eerily calm. He notes that her skin is still dull, a sign the poison hasn't been fully cleansed. But she's had enough. "I don't need any treatment," she cries. "I want to go home." The man's gaze turns icy. "If you just walk out like this, will probably take a few more lives," he finishes gravely. She freezes, utterly horrified. "What?" He explains the grim reality. She's been cursed with a deadly poison spell. Any living thing she touches will die, just like in the mansion. The memories crash down on her, the bodies, the dark energy, the screams. "It's me that killed them," she wails, clutching her head in despair. "I'm a monster." Her emotional outburst triggers the poison. The man is caught off guard. He chokes, blood spilling from his lips. Oh crap, he thinks, realizing the poison is linked to her very thoughts. He clutches his chest, the poison surging through him. He has to act fast. Whipping out a needle with lightning speed, he declares, "I'll first use acupuncture to seal her respiration acupoint." He sends the needle flying. It's target perfectly. A wave of energy envelops her, but it's too much for our poor girl to handle. Tears stream down her face as she whispers, "I am not worthy of you to save me." With that, she loses consciousness, slumping into the water with a heavy thump. The man winces, wiping the blood from his lip. "This is not up to you," he says with grim determination. He opens the door and steps inside. He lifts her limp body from the tub, sighing. Why is it really so troublesome? But then he notices a change. Her face is rosy, her wounds completely healed. He looks back at the water and sees she had literally shed her poison skin, leaving behind black, inky remnants. A look of awe crosses his face. It's as if she has been broken free and reborn. He can't contain his pride, striking an adorable pose. "I have been successful." Some time passes. Our heroine is sleeping peacefully in a soft bed, the sunlight streaming in. She slowly awakens, calling out into the empty room. She wanders over to a mirror and lets out a gasp of surprise. She touches her face, her eyes wide with disbelief. "My face has recovered." Just then, his voice cuts in. "It's okay to cry, just don't wipe your nose with my clothes." She whirls around, blushing furiously as she realizes she's wearing his robes. Your clothes." He just gives her a cool look and tells her not to get them dirty. Her mind races. "He put clothes on me while I was asleep? Then have you already?" He cuts her off with an icy glare. "Please have some respect for my job." He strikes a dramatic pose, declaring, "I am a doctor with high ethical standards and very pro," when a single drop of red betrays him. A massive nosebleed. Our girl is naughty impressed. "You're a pervert. Your nose is bleeding." She shrieks. He panics, frantically cover it up. This is a sign of a poison," he shouts internally. He makes a run for it, yelling that he needs an antidote and will be back for a drug test. Later, our handsome doctor reflects on the situation. In the 2 weeks since her transformation, she's managed to poison him 8 times. The poison is now deep in her bones, linked to her emotions. He sips his tea. While he has an antidote, the poison strikes without warning. The real issue, he knows, is her deep-seated trauma. Seeing her huddled and scared, he decides it's time to check on her. He finds her crying. She whispers, "I'm just a monster." He sighs, trying to sound professional. "Don't worry, I still have hundreds of medical ideas lined up for you." He promises her, "We are bound to find the correct antidote." He holds out a bowl of medicine. But she looks away, blushing. "But after I drink these medicines, I have diarrhea for many days." He deadpans, "You have an accumulation of poison. The only possible way to get rid of it is through excretion." He even adds the savage comment that it helps her lose weight. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He leans in close, his tone turning serious. "The poison resides in your 5 organs and manifests from your 7 emotions." He warns her, "You have to keep tranquil so as to prevent massacres." But just as he's giving his grave warning, Esqueak! A tiny mouse appears on the bed. Our girl loses her mind, screaming and leaping into the air. She crashes right into him, sending them both to the floor with her on top. He looks up at her, groaning as his nose starts bleeding again. I think your nose is bleeding again," she points out. He grits his teeth. "Don't overthink, I'm just poisoned by you. Can you get up now?" He quickly gets back to business, telling her to drink her medicine because they're going to the mountain for herbs. She panics. "I can't go out, I'm afraid." For a moment, his voice softens. "Don't worry, you have me. I won't let you hurt anyone accidentally." She's taken aback by his sudden gentleness and agrees. But the gentle moment is gone in a flash. His face turns to as he snaps. "Don't think you can stay here without doing anything. You have to work for me to pay off your debt." Our poor girl trembles, thrown by the chaotic mood swing of her mysterious, perverted, and surprisingly caring doctor. Our girl and the magical doctor step into a bustling village, but she's clearly on edge, clutching his sleeve for dear life. He gives her an icy look, telling her to chill out and be wary. And then bam, he grabs her hand, pulling her along, and our girl absolutely short-circuits, blushing furiously. How can you just hold my hand like that, she thinks, but he just tells her to calm down. She's fuming internally, wondering how he makes caring words sound so frustrating. But then he looks to the sky, saying that as long as she's focused on something else, she won't have time for depressing thoughts. And it clicks. She realizes he might be provoking her on purpose to distract her from her own darkness. She feels his hand and realizes his palm is full of sweat. This stoic man is actually terrified too. He was scared she might lose control, but he still brought her out into the world. He wants her to live. Suddenly, an old woman's voice cuts through the air, calling out, "Little magical doctor." He turns, a bit confused, calling her grandma. The grandma is not having it, scolding him for making her wait and ignoring her calls. He quickly apologizes, but she just winks, saying it's understandable he'd be engrossed in his beautiful little wife. The grandma gives him a playful poke, and both of our leads turn 50 shades of red. He stammers, trying to explain she's not his wife, but grandma just cackles, pointing out how tightly they're holding hands. He's completely flustered, unable to form a single word. Trying to save himself, he quickly asks for the item she was holding for him. She hands over a bundle of massive yun-ying eggs, guaranteeing that his wife will conceive a boy and a girl after eating them. The chaos! The doctor is sweating buckets, the grandma shoos them away. He's in full-blown panic mode, certain our girl must have lost her mind after that tidal wave of embarrassment. But when he looks over, she's surprisingly calm, asking if he got the eggs specially for her. He explains that he's been researching a cure for her poison spell. It's an ancient, nasty curse that normal herbs can't touch, but an old book mentioned that the Mio people use eggs as an antidote. And of all the eggs in the world, Yunying eggs have the most potent healing power. She accepts the bundle of eggs, her hands trembling slightly. She looks up at him, her voice small. What if the spell can't be broken? But he meets her gaze with unwavering resolve. People may make things happen, he says. I won't give up on you. Our poor girl's heart just about melts. He's serious. Later, they're enjoying some sweet treats in the market. He teases her, asking if she isn't afraid of getting fat, and she adorably puffs up her cheeks, calling him annoying. As they laugh, she says it's time to head back. But he stops her, taking her hand once more. He says, I'm gonna buy you some clothes. You can't wear mine forever. They walk into a clothing shop, and the owner's jaw drops when the famous magical doctor asks for women's clothes. The owner, ecstatic, immediately ushers our girl into the fitting room. A few moments later, the reveal. She steps out in a stunning green dress, her hair beautifully braided. How do I look? She asks. The doctor's a blushing, stuttering mess. It suits you very well, he manages to say. Beaming, she decides to try on more, asking him to help her choose. As they walk home under a sunset sky, everything feels perfect. She thanks him for taking her out, for not giving up on her, and for a moment he looks truly at peace. But the peaceful moment is shattered. A chilling voice interrupts them. A man with sinister red eyes introduces himself as a Taoist priest. He asks for a place to stay, and the doctor, on high alert, points him toward a village miles away. The priest thanks him, but then his gaze locks onto our girl. His eyes narrow. I see you are on the brink of death, he says, reaching out a bandaged hand to help her. But the magical doctor is faster, smacking the priest's hand away with a sharp bat. We shall leave, he says, his voice dripping with ice. As they walk away, he mutters how much he hates fake priests who prey on the desperate. Back home, it's study time. He quizzes her on the medicine books, and she recites every line perfectly. Proud of herself, she asks for a reward. His request is simple, yet so romantic. I want you to watch the sunrise and collect the morning dew with me every day. She swoons, promising him with a happy blush. But just as he gently pats her head, their sweet moment is interrupted by a desperate cry for help. An old man bursts in, falling to his knees and begging the magical doctor to save his village. He explains that a horrifying pandemic struck 3 days ago, and the sick are running out of time. The man begs them to save his people. Without a second thought, the doctor is on his feet and heading out the door. But Ar grabs him, her eyes wide with worry. Are you just gonna go? She asks, afraid he'll get sick. He ties on a mask, insisting the villagers need him, but she won't back down. Let me go with you, she declares. You need an assistant, I'm probably He hesitates. The lethal poison in her body, could it actually protect her? This is a dangerous opportunity to find out. Let's go, he finally says. They arrive at the village, and it's a scene of devastation. People are collapsed everywhere, groaning in pain. The air is thick with the sound of coughing. Our girl immediately senses something is wrong. This doesn't look like a disease. The doctor checks a victim and confirms her fears. Indeed, he says grimly, they've been poisoned. And who is the mastermind behind this tragedy? A flashback reveals the smug, evil face of that so-called Taoist priest. My fellow villagers, he thinks with a wicked grin. Here we meet again. A mysterious Taoist priest appears as if from thin air, claiming he was just collecting morning dew when he heard about the plague. He grandly announces he's here to save everyone. He takes one look at a sick villager and immediately knows what's wrong. This isn't a disease, he says, it's a poison spell he's seen before. The priest smirks, boasting that the cure is easy. Just drink egg whites mixed with vinegar. The villagers are floored. Could it really be that simple? Our girl gives the white-haired doctor some serious side-eye. You trust him, she whispers. The doctor admits he's read about this antidote in ancient books, but has no idea if it actually works. He decides they have to at least try. They mix the bizarre concoction and hand it out to all the sick villagers. The priest looks on, smug as ever, completely confident in his questionable cure. But suddenly, a man collapses, clutching his stomach and groaning in agony. Chaos erupts as everyone starts screaming in pain. Our girl spins the priest, demanding to know what's happening. He just smiles, telling her not to worry, because the healing is working. Just then, a man coughs violently and spits out a giant, disgusting insect. It worked. The man gasps, feeling instantly better. The villagers cheer and then immediately try to stomp the creepy crawlies. But the insects have wings and take to the air. The swarm of poison bugs suddenly turns and flies straight towards our poor heroine. The doctor shouts for her to watch out. In a flash, he yanks her into his arms, shielding her with his body. Our girl is safe, tucked against his chest, her face turning a bright, adorable shade of red. He holds her head gently, protecting her from the terrifying bugs. These insects can't harm you, he murmurs. The priest and the villagers just stare, completely baffled by this. A villager points, shouting for the doctor to look. The bugs are swarming all around our girl, forming a terrifying vortex, but not a single one dares to touch her. Calm yourself, the doctor says, his voice impossibly steady. I know how to get rid of them. He calmly pulls out a handful of long, silver needles. With a faint shimmer, he prepares his attack, and with a single, elegant flick of his wrist, the needles through the air, impaling every last insect and pinning them to the walls. The villagers are absolutely starstruck. He's so powerful, our girl is practically swooning, but he just brushes it off, calling it a small scene. What a king. He turns to the priest and formally thanks him for curing the villagers. The priest plays the humble hero, saying it's his duty. He tells them to go rest, and our duo walks away together. But the moment their backs are turned, the priest's face twists into sinister, knowing smile. Back in the safety of their room, the mood is tense. The doctor notices our girl has been deeply troubled ever since the words poison spell were mentioned. She nervously clutches his sleeve. Why? She asks, her head bowed low. Her eyes, wide with raw fear, lock onto his. She's terrified. She confesses her greatest fear, that the person who poisoned the villagers is the same master who's hunted her. She trembles, convinced he's lurking nearby, waiting to capture her. He gently takes her hand in his. He pulls her into a comforting hug, holding her close. Don't be scared, he whispers, promising to protect her. A small poison spell master, he says, is nothing to be afraid of. Meanwhile, that not-so-small poison spell master, the priest is lurking by a fire, his expression pure evil. He smirks, saying his little test wasn't meaningless work after all. He picks up one of the dead insects with chopsticks. It confirms his suspicions. Our girl is his lost poison beauty. His face contorts into a wicked grin as he vows to bring her back to him as soon as possible. The next day, our girl is stuck on medicine duty. The doctor cheats her for fanning the fire too strongly. She snaps, asking if he thinks she's a donkey. He just smiles, saying he's simply trying to boost her medical knowledge. He hands her a textbook, and when she asks why he's pushing her so hard, he does savage blow. So you will have a chance to save that you accidentally poised time. Next time. She silently takes the book as he tells her to come eat when she's done. Just then, the creepy priest appears outside, stopping a friendly village woman. First, take a look at this, he says, holding out a small, ornate jar. He opens the lid, and the woman peers inside, curious. An insect leaps out and attacks her. She screams as blood splatters across the wall. The priest grins maniacally as she wreathes on the ground. Become the container for my little baby, he coos. Hearing the commotion, our girl peeks around the corner. She watches in absolute horror as the woman, now a zombie-like creature with bleeding eyes, stumbles towards the priest. He calls her a fresh piece of meat. The creature lunges, moaning mummy. But the priest just covers his eyes, complaining about how ugly she looks while eating. This guy is a monster. The handsome doctor gives our girl some last-minute instructions about the medicine they're distributing. They walk into the village. But something is terribly wrong. It's completely silent. Our heroine finds it strange. Shouldn't the residents be eating now? She wonders, scanning the empty streets. Suddenly, her companion freezes, his eyes sharp with alarm. A man bursts out of a building, screaming in pure terror. And behind him is the source of his fear, a woman with glowing purple eyes and a mouth full of fangs. Both of our heroes are stunned by the horrifying sight. As another cursed villager lunges forward, our girl spots something awful on the first woman's neck. It's the cursed insect from yesterday, and she's not the only one. Another cursed villager peeks out from a nearby building. The possessed woman lunges, but the doctor is faster, smashing the medicine pot right across her head. A villager quickly waves them over, urging them to hide. They dive for the door, slamming it shut just in time. Our girl is trembling, wondering how this could happen. Inside, the other villagers are a mess of panic and relief. They know this is the work of a truly wicked spellcaster. The doctor tries to calm them, but a Taoist priest steps forward with grim news. This curse is different, stemming from a mature insect that can fully manipulate its host. The priest says it's almost hopeless, but our girl has a spark of an idea. What if a different cursed insect could fight this one? The doctor pauses, considering it, then decides to take 2 men and try to control the patients outside. But an old man cries out in fear. There are more than 2 persons outside, and he's right. An entire horde of the possessed is now clawing and screaming at the door. The wood begins to splinter and crack. The doctor stands protectively in front of our heroine. The villagers scream, trying to barricade the entrance while others start praying for a miracle. He tells our girl he's going out to help and that she needs to stay safe with the children. But she grabs his arm, stopping him. She says she can help, that she might be their only choice. He argues it's too dangerous. But she looks him dead in the eyes, her expression unwavering. "Let me have a try," she pleads. And then it's too late. The door shatters, sending bodies flying. The horde pours in, a wave of chaos and violence. The doctor blocks them, then pulls out a small orb and holds it to a flame. A brilliant blue light explodes, triggering a vision. In this strange, blue-tinted memory, his spirit is being grabbed by dark hands. A spirit version of Linger appears, yelling at them to back off. The dark spirits turn on her instead, grabbing and overwhelming her. The vision ends with him screaming her name as she falls. Back in the real world, a blinding white light erupts from our girl. She moves with supernatural speed, kicking one of the cursed villagers square in the chest. The woman stumbles back, stunned and bleeding. It's working. The villagers cheer as the Taoist priest stares in disbelief. The doctor explains she's using cleansing tablets she made as insect repellent. He calls for ropes to tie the victims down, but our girl isn't done. Her eyes glow with power as she roars, challenging the entire horde. 2 more leap at her, and the villagers scream for her to be careful. She's thrown back against a wooden post with a sickening thud. The doctor screams her name as the possessed screech, their eyes glowing with red-hot malice. But then, her eyes snap open, now glowing with an intense, otherworldly purple light. A dark, chaotic energy swirls around her body. She rises, completely transformed, her eyes now a stunning mix of purple and gold. The priest gasps. She finally appears, with a voice echoing with power. Our heroine commands the insects to get out of their bodias. And just like that, a cursed bug pops right out of a villager's neck. One by one, the cursed insects flee their hosts, and the villagers collapse to the ground, unconscious. The immediate danger is over. The doctor rushes to her, his voice trembling as he calls her name. She turns to him, her dual-colored eyes locking with his. He asks if she's all right, while the priest just smirks knowingly in the background. She gives a small, tired smile. "I told you there's hope," she says, her power already receding. He breathes a sigh of relief. She managed to chase the insects away without losing control. But he knows her transformation terrified everyone, so he quickly gets to work healing the villagers to distract them. He tells her to check on the others while he performs acupuncture. She approaches a family huddled in the corner, gently asking if they're okay. She tries to reassure them that everything is fine now. She reaches out a hand to help the grandmother up, but they recoil in fear, screaming, "Don't touch us." Her smile vanishes. The very people she just saved are looking at her like she's the monster. Her heart shatters. The villagers stare, their faces a mix of horror and confusion. What exactly are you?" One woman stammers. "Our girl's secret is out, and the crowd is on edge." "You transformed into something just now," a man shouts. "Those cursed insects weren't afraid of you." Panic claws throat. "What should I do? How can I explain myself?" She thinks desperately. She tries to deflect, telling everyone to get the face bandaged. But it's too late. She knows they've seen everything, and lying is useless. Just as the tension is about to snap, the Taoist priest steps forward. "Miss Ling," he calls out, his voice booming. He thanks her dramatically, claiming they all would have died without her godly powers. He turns to the stunned villagers. "Shouldn't everyone thank Miss Ling?" An old man hesitates. "Taoist priest, but..." The priest cuts him off sharply. "But what? It's a fact that Miss Ling saved us." He dismisses our girl, saying he'll help Mr. G while she rests, thanking her for her efforts. But as soon as he's away from her, his friendly mask drops. He glares at the old man. "You saw it, didn't you?" the dark powers coming out of her body. He leans in, his voice a venomous whisper. That is actually demonic power. The villagers erupt in panicked whispers. The fear spreads like wildfire. Something that extraordinary has to be demonic, one says. She's too pretty. She must be an evil spirit, another adds. The paranoia spirals into pure madness. Maybe there's even a tail under her clothes. The whispers turn to murderous cries. Stay away from her. Ask her to leave. And then the most terrifying words she could imagine. Kill her. Our girl freezes in absolute horror as a hand grabs her arm, but it's the magical doctor. What's wrong? He asks gently. She can only manage a week. I'm fine. He sees right through it, suggesting they get some fresh air. Why do you look so despondent? He asks. She puts on a brave face. Not at all. I just saved 10 lives. I don't have time to celebrate. He presses. Is it because the villagers said something nasty to you? She lies, insisting they were very kind. Suddenly, the door bursts open. A mob of villagers armed with farm tools storms in. Hurry up, surround them, they shout. The doctor immediately shields her, his expression hardening. What are you planning to do? An old woman points a shaking finger at our heroine. Magical doctor. Don't near her. She's the cursed demon, she shrieks. The accusation hits our poor girl like a slap. The doctor is absolutely furious, his eyes blazing with rage. She risked her life to save you, and now you want to kill her. But the villagers are too far gone, convinced the insect's obedience is proof of her evil nature. He can't believe their ingratitude. Magical doctor, why are you defending this demonic girl? One of them demands. The old woman pleads with him, reminding him that the other victims of the curse haven't woken up yet. The doctor holds our girl protectively. Whether they lie depends on her, he declares. That gives them pause. The villagers look at each other, murmuring uneasily. The old woman, realizing her mistake, bows low. We're sorry, miss. We shouldn't have suspected you. Our girl quickly tells her to stand up. The grandma explains they were just scared. Our heroine, ever the bigger person, assures she understands. The villagers immediately switch sides. We were too reckless. We trust you, magical doctor. The doctor, completely over this drama, tells them all to go home. As they leave, they shower our duo with thanks. But the whispers don't stop. The villagers still believe the doctor is under the demon's spell. The old woman bangs her staff, resolute. The magical doctor is our savior. We can't let him get hurt. That's right, another villager shouts. We must save him. Back with our pair, the doctor is fuming on her behalf. Why did you get even angrier? She asks, but he's upset for her. I feel unworthy for you. You risked your life, and they humiliated you. She just looks at him, her heart fluttering. He gets flustered, trying to brush it off. Why must good people endure accusations? It's just my kindness as a doctor. She can't help but let out a little laugh. He's defending her so passionately. A wild thought crosses her mind. Is it because he likes me? He then gently takes a comb to her hair, admitting, it's my first time handling a girl's hair. You're so blessed. He immediately complains about her weird hairstyle, and she snaps back that he just doesn't know how to appreciate it. In that moment, she realizes something huge. I think, I can't live without him anymore. He catches her staring at him, with hearts in her eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? She completely panics, blushing furiously. I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'll go back to cook first. She turns to run and smacks her face right into a wall. She holds her head, dying of humiliation. He chuckles. You're really a ditzy girl. What would you do if I wasn't with you? He kneels down, offering her a piggyback ride. Climb up, he says. She tries to refuse, but he's not having it. Stop wasting time. Hurry up and climb up. She melts, climbing onto his back and resting her head against him, feeling perfectly content. He, of course, ruins the romantic moment by deadpanning. I think you became heavier. Later that evening, she confesses her deepest fears. The villagers already know my secret, she says, her voice trembling. I'm so scared I might lose control and accidentally kill them. As his calligraphy brush pauses, she whispers, then let's run away. He looks up, and she's ready to pack their bags. Suddenly, a loud banshing echoes from the front door. They've been found. He tells her not to panic and goes to see who it is. It's the Taoist priest holding a lantern with a sinister smile. Excuse me, sir. The doctor is wary. Why are you here at such an hour? The priest puts on a concerned face. I've heard about what happened today, Miss Ling Fine. He then presents an ancient-looking scroll. This is a notebook about the magic of the curse, he says, claiming he found it in the southwest. He explains it's old and fragmented, but it might help. The doctor takes the scroll, his eyes text. It's not much, but it's a start. He thanks the priest. The priest just smiles, saying it was destiny before taking his leave. The next morning, our girl wakes up alone. She finds a note from the doctor. He's already gone to the mountains to gather herbs and told her to wait for him. She is not having it. What the heck? How can you go there without me? She fumes, angrily stirring a pot of porridge. As time ticks by, she gets more and more worried. Did he come into danger? Just then, she hears the door open. He's back. He stumbles inside, looking pale and exhausted. Why did you come back so late? She asks. Her eyes widen in horror when she sees he's hurt. Are you hurt? Is it serious? Is it painful? She cries, rushing to his side. He gives her a weak smile. It's not serious at all, just hurts. Tears well up in her eyes. What kind of herb made you risk your life? She demands. He holds out a single, ethereal blue flower. It seems to glow in the morning light. This can heal you from the cursed poison, he explains softly. She breaks down, calling him an idiot. If you died because of me, what would I do then? She sobs, his expression tender. Then you could remember me for the whole of your life. Our handsome magical doctor is deep in thought, studying an ancient scroll. The text reveals Miss Ling was cursed by poisonous insects, and only a cocktail of 5 poisonous flowers can save her. But there's a problem. A crucial part of the recipe is torn off. He can't tell if the final ingredient is the purple dipper grass or the purple ring vine. With a grim determination, he decides he'll just have to test them both. He holds up one of the delicate purple flowers, his expression hardening. He gets straight to work, grinding the petals into a paste, brewing the concoctions, and preparing 2 separate potential antidotes. Miss Ling, he calls out. Our little nugget pops her head in, looking confused. Why are you hungry? I'm not done with the cooking yet. Ignoring her question, he says with an icy calm, give me your hand. She blushes, her heart fluttering. But before she can even process what's happening, he pricks her finger with a sharp needle, you. Staring at her bleeding finger in shock. But what he does next sends a shiver down everyone's spine. He brings her finger to his mouth and tastes her blood. She completely panics, shoving him away with all her might. Wait, my blood is poisonous. Still want alive? But it's too late. He collapses, a violent cough racking his body as blood streams from his lips. Our girl is horrified. How are you now? She cries, rushing to support him. He grits his teeth through the pain, grabbing one of the cups. Use them to counter poison. I'll try my luck. He throws back the antidote containing the purple alluring vine. Are you an idiot? She screams. Why would you do such a dangerous thing? He gives her a weak, pained smile. If you don't calm down, I might really die because of your poison. She takes a deep breath, trying to stay calm for his sake. He explains that the pain is lessening, which proves the antidote theory works, but he chose the wrong herb. Meanwhile, a mob of angry villagers with torches and weapons is marching towards the house. They're convinced our girl is a demon who needs to be stopped. Suddenly, a horrifying scream rips through the night. They recognize the doctor's voice in panic, thinking the demon has already claimed him. Inside, the doctor is in agony. I'm poisoned by the purple alluring vine, he gasps. Quickly, get me the antidote. She scrambles to find the right medicine box. Is it this one? Just as she's about to save him, the villagers kick the door down. Demon, let go of the magical doctor. They roar, grabbing her and tearing her away from him. The precious antidote is knocked from her hands, the pills scattering across the floor. The lead villager rushes to the now unconscious doctor, claiming our girl has put a spell on him. That's not tight. I'm trying to save him, she screams. But they won't listen. The man's eyes are filled with savage fury. We all know the curse is broken. When the caster dies, you must die to die. They begin dragging her outside to her doom. As the doctor lies unconscious, he dreams of her voice, pleading for him not to die. He sees a vision of her true power unleashing a chaotic, terrifying storm of dark purple energy as she screams in agony. He remains slumped over his desk, helpless. But then, a gentle hand places a pill in his mouth. He opens his eyes to see her leaning over him, her own face etched with worry and tears. Please, don't leave me alone, she whispers, her voice trembling. He slowly raises a hand to her head, and her eyes widen. I won't die, he promises softly, before I cure you completely. He gives her a gentle, reassuring smile. Overwhelmed with relief, she throws her arms around him, sobbing. He holds her close, telling her not to cry, that he's fine. But when she pulls back, her expression is grim. He looks away, ashamed. I'm sorry? She looks out the window at the devastating scene below. The entire mob of villagers lies dead in the courtyard. Thank you for what you've done for me, she says, her voice hollow, but I'm no longer qualified to stay by your side. The next morning, a surviving villager shakes the doctor awake, his face streaming with tears. Magical doctor, wake up, all dead. The doctor stares in horror at the bodies covered in sheets. What exactly happened? The survivor points a trembling finger. It is that. She killed everyone here. The doctor's mind reels, flashing back to the moment the villagers burst in. The horrible truth crashes down on him. She didn't attack them out of malice. Was it to save me? It's me that caused her. Just then, a mysterious priest appears, vowing to rid the people of this demon. He finds our girl huddled under a tree, terrified. He tells her the doctor will understand she was just trying to save him, and offers to take her to a safe place. Back at the house, the doctor stares at her medicine container, his heart aching. Lingner, where did you go? The Taoist priest appears out of nowhere. Miss Ling is waiting for you on the eastern mountain, he says. Without a second's hesitation, the doctor bolts out the door. He bursts into the room where she's waiting. Before she can even speak, he pulls her into a crushing embrace. "I'm sorry," he chokes out, holding her tight. But as they cling to each other, the Taoist priest watches from the doorway, a sinister, knowing smirk on his face as his eyes glow a demonic red. This isn't a reunion. It's a trap. Here we go again, folks. Strap in for another emotional gut punch. Our magical doctor tries to console our poor, cursed heroine, telling her he didn't mean for anyone to get hurt. He pulls out a small bamboo tube, claiming he's finally found it. "This is the antidote?" he says, his voice filled with hope. "You'll become a normal person if you drink it. But our girl has been down this road before." "Are you sure?" she asks, her eyes filled with doubt, reminding him he's failed hundreds of times. Still, a memory of a happier time with him flashes in her mind, and a soft smile graces her lips. She decides to trust him one more time. With a deep breath, she brings the antidote to her lips. But just as she does, a sinister figure appears behind them. It's that snake, the Taoist priest. She chugs the concoction and immediately sticks her tongue out. It tastes horrible. The doctor, desperate, asks about the effect, but before she can answer, a terrifying energy erupts from within her. She screams in agony. It's hurting so much, she collapses, and he catches her, horrified. That's when the priest makes his move, confronting the doctor. "What did you do to her?" he bellows. He drops the most savage bombshell. "What antidote? That's a lethal poison that can kill her." As our girl writhes in pain, the priest lands the final blow, accusing the doctor of trying to murder the woman he loves. The chaos is interrupted by a mob of villagers. The demon is really here. They scream. They surround the doctor, their faces twisted with rage. The priest now holds our girl, who looks at the doctor with shattered eyes. "You want me to die?" she whispers, and you can practically hear his heart breaking. He desperately tries to deny it, but it's too late. The villagers grab him, roaring that they're here to support the priest and get rid of the demon. The priest plays the hero, telling the mob that Miss Ling is just a cursed girl who doesn't mean to hurt anyone. But the villagers aren't buying it. "She killed so many people!" a man shouts. "She has to pay with her life." The priest argues she only lost control because she wanted to save the doctor. But the villagers have had enough. "You're our enemy if you protect her," they declare. Hearing girl gives up completely. Crying, she tells the priest there's no need to fight for her since even he wants to kill me. Utterly broken, she whispers, "I think I really deserve to die." As the villagers restrain the priest, she coughs weakly, her will to live completely gone. A man raises his sword for all to hear. "Kill the demon." But just as the blade is about to fall, the priest smirks. "Reveal yourself," he commands, and a sinister pink energy explodes from him. A terrifying swarm of cursed insects descends upon the clearing, and the villagers freak out. The doctor finally puts it all together, screaming at the priest that the notebook was a fake. The priest laughs, revealing the horrifying truth. The ingredients weren't an antidote. They were nutrition. Power up to help her evolve into the cursed queen, with the villagers serving as her first meal. The priest grins, thanking the doctor for making it all possible. But our boy isn't done yet. He glares with icy resolve. "As long as I'm here," he vows, "I won't let her lose control and hurt them." The priest just scoffs at his naive little hero complex. The villagers try to fight back, throwing projectiles at the swarm. But it's useless. The doctor screams for everyone to run while trying to get through to Miss Ling. He grabs her hand, begging her to control the power surging through her. But it's too much. The curse marks spread across her face as she cries. "I can't help it. I don't care about anything if you meant to kill me." She then begs him, "Just do it now. Don't let more innocent people die at my hands." His answer is firm, his voice trembling with emotion. "No, I will never do that." At that exact moment, a villager lunges with a massive blade. Without a second of hesitation, the doctor shoves her aside and takes the full force of the blow himself. Blood splatters everywhere, covering her face as her eyes widen in pure, unadulterated shock. The villagers freeze, stunned by what just happened. He collapses to his knees, a bloody mess. Wiping blood from his lips, he faces the crowd. "I'll use my life to compensate for Miss Ling's mistakes," he gasps. "I beg you, please let her go." She can only watch, paralyzed by horror and grief. She reaches for him, her voice a broken whisper. She holds him as he dies, tears streaming down her face. "Don't leave me," she begs, his hand slipping from hers. She clutches his body, her world shattering around her. "Don't leave me alone," and then she snaps. A cataclysmic explosion of purple energy erupts from her body. The villagers scream that she killed the doctor, but their cries are choked off by the suffocating power. The Taoist priest watches, giddy with excitement. How impressive! He cackling at his new cursed queen, whose power could make demons tremble. And at the center of it all is our girl, tears of purple energy streaming from her glowing eyes. Heart completely and utterly broken. Her last for him. "Wake up, please." And then, bam. Charactered. Game over. Hold up. It was a game? We cut to a modern-day room where our player, the magical doctor, is reeling. His friend casually asks what's up, and our boy rants about how an NPC tricked him into turning his beloved Linger into the final boss. He clarifies he got killed protecting her, and his friend just head off. Dude, did you actually fall in love with a game character? Our boy denies it, but his friend drops another truth bomb. When a character dies, the game deletes all your data. He'll have to start over with a new character, a total stranger. He sacrificed everything for nothing. Isn't that liking her? His friend teases. Our hero is at a loss. He thinks about the game's villain, the Taoist priest, and knows he can't leave Ling in his clutches. Just then, his friend reminds him the server is about to close for the night. This sends our boy into a full-blown panic. The game has a system that blocks a player's memories upon re-entry with a new character. If he logs back in, he won't remember Miss Ling at all. His friend mentions that the only way around it is to use a cheat or a plugin. A light bulb goes off. That's it, our hero declares. I'm gonna cheat and re-enter 3,000 worlds. His friend warns him that the anti-cheat system is savage, but our boy is resolute. I won't give up on her, he says, grabbing his phone to make a call. He dials up a contact, a serious-looking man with glasses, ready to break every rule in the book to get back to his girl. Our poor girl Rui is in tears, absolutely inconsolable. Her friend is trying to comfort her, asking why she's crying over a simple game. Rui sobs that her beloved magical doctor is dead. The friend is stunned, immediately jumping to the worst conclusion. Did you poison him? She gasps. Rui snaps back with a hard no. She explains that he was tragically hacked to death by villagers while trying to protect her. Her friend swoons. Wah! That's so touching. But then comes the bombshell. Rui admits she lost control and killed all the villagers. Her friend's jaw drops. You're a real devil, Hun Linge. But then she immediately pivots to the more important topic. This bro must have fallen in love with you. Hui laments that they were never able to meet in real life, and her friend goes on a righteous tirade against the cruel game developers. With a glimmer of hope in her eyes, our girl looks up, thinking that they're truly fated to be, maybe, just maybe she could meet him again inside the game. Meanwhile, a certain silver-haired pretty boy is teasing his friend who's coding like a madman. Since when did you get so polite? He smirks. You were so shameless in school you copied my homework. The coder, our boy Xiaofan, insists this is an important matter. His friend presses him. Did you do it just to take revenge on that player? That's only one of the reasons, Xiaofan replies mysteriously. The real reason? He did it all to continue an unfinished relationship. His friend calls him a love fool, and Xiaofan flinches, retorting, aren't you afraid the other party is actually a rough guy? The silver-haired man just confident. It won't turn out like that, right? Xiaofan isn't so sure, pointing out there's no guarantee. Suddenly, his friend is all done. He's planted a Trokan horse in the system, giving Xiaofan God mode access to create any character he wants. Xiaofan is high PD, already planning to become a stupid Taoist priest and torture someone. With a flash of brilliant light, he's in. This is my second life, he whispers in awe. He opens his eyes to find an entire court bowing before him. Hailing him as their lord, he has spawned in at the absolute pinnacle of power. Back in the real world, our boys are out for that promised meal. Suddenly, a peppy waitress approaches, calling them hotties, and offering a couple set promotion. Both of them freeze, absolutely mortified by the suggestion. The poor waitress realizes her mistake and apologizes profusely. As she runs off, Xiaofan spots someone familiar walking by. It's the purple-haired girl from before. She asks him directly, could you play 3,000 worlds with me, please? Her friend Rui tries to talk her out of it, but our determined girl is convinced their friendship can cross the icy cold system. She unleashes the ultimate weapon, puppy dog eyes. Alfan immediately caves, thinking she's just too cute. He agrees, but mutters under his breath that he's terrified of being poisoned to death by this poison girl. They make a deal to meet online at 8 p.m. His friend immediately starts teasing him about the lewd smile he was making. Stop your ridiculousness, Xiaofan snaps, but his friend is curious now, asking about his in-game relationship. Xiaofan sighs, saying it's a long story. His friend demands the short version. With a dramatic flair, Xiaofan explains that she's a poison girl, created by a vermin practitioner. He flashes back to his own words, realizing the terrifying connection. It couldn't be such a coincidence, right? He wonders, sitting alone in his studio. He puts two and two together. If the girl he met is Ji Xiaofan's in-game love, her server must be in Middle Asia. He puts on the VR helmet, his resolve hardening. As long as I enter the game with my own memory and create a powerful enough character, I will definitely find her. The game loads, and inside, the Emperor is being told that the entire martial arts circle is now hunting for the poison girl. The Emperor clenches his fist in frustration. What a stupid Ji Xiaofan, he thinks. He thought he could get his love back just by becoming the lord of the martial arts circle. We see a heart-wrenching image of the two fated lovers, standing back-to-back worlds apart. Inside the game, the new lord of the martial arts circle, Xiaofan's character, is in shock. Handling her is the female demon. One of his officials confirms it, claiming she's killed countless innocents. The Lord breaks out in a cold sweat, visibly distressed. He defends her, insisting it was an accident because she couldn't poison. He asks for her location, but no one knows. At that moment, the heads of the four most powerful sects arrive. The Lord is instantly annoyed. Why are these influential people here together? He grumbles. His aide warns that a crisis may be brewing. The sect leaders stand before him, ready to make their demands. The Lord puts on a pleasant face, welcoming them. A Shaolin monk steps forward, announcing they've found Devil Girl, Hanlinger, and demand the Lord issue a hunting order to rid the world of a pest. But another leader speaks up for her. Claiming she's innocent, he begs the Lord to save her. A third warns that her poison is a danger to everyone. The Lord absolutely loses it, roaring, "What nonsense!" His aide quickly tries to calm him down, reminding him to be diplomatic. But the old monk is condescending, declaring that they will hunt her down with or without the Lord's permission to uphold justice. They turn and walk away. The Lord is fuming. Why did I make such a cowardly character? He curses himself. He immediately orders his agent to find Hanlinger's location. Shocked. Are you going to? With a look of pure, unshakable resolve, the Lord declares, "I'll protect her no matter what sacrifices I have to make." The scene cuts to our poor girl, Hanlinger, huddled by a fire with a pink-haired companion. He offers her food, but she refuses, lost in her despair. "Anyone who gets near me won't have a good ending," she whispers, tears in her eyes. "I can't hold anymore." Suddenly, her companion's eyes widen in alarm. A weapon smashes through the wall. "They're assassins," he screams. A group of shadowy figures burst into the room, blades drawn, ready to strike. Just as our girl and her mysterious companion try to make a break for it, they're stopped dead in their tracks. They're completely surrounded by a hostile sect. The priest issues an icy warning: "If all of you want to live, then leave immediately." But the leader just scoffs, calling our girl a savage devil who must be eliminated. With tears in her eyes, she begs them, "Please only kill me. Let my friend go." The sect leader just laughs. How could anyone with hurt be a good person? He gives the command to his disciples: "Use concealed weapons to deal with her." They all shout in agreement. With a deadly twist, they lunge forward to attack. "Quickly get out of the way," our heroine screams, shoving the priest aside. But as he grabs her wrist, it's too late. They fall into a desperate embrace. Two daggers sink deep into her back, blood splattering across her green robes. She took the blow meant for him. He looks down, hiss a low whisper, "Hanlinger, now you owe me a life." She stares up at him, shocked. "Mister." His gaze is intense, his command absolute. "As long as I don't give you my permission, you're not allowed to die." Her world begins to fade as she weakly calls out his name. The priest turns back to the attackers, his own shoulder now stained with blood. He dares them, "If you still insist on going against me, you may go ahead." He stands as her unshakable shield. "If you dare to harm her, you must through me first." The sect leader's face contorts with rage. "You're looking for your own death," he bellows. The priest simply closes his eyes, a silent prayer on his lips. "Hanlinger, don't disappoint me." In a shocking turn, the priest coughs up blood as a blade runs him through. The sect leader looks on in disbelief as the priest taunts him. "How can you not defend me? Why didn't you save me?" But something is wrong. Lying on the ground, our girl feels a familiar, dark power stirring. It's happening again, she thinks, desperately warning. "Everyone, quickly escape." A violent explosion of purple energy erupts from her body. The poison is catastrophic. The sect members are covered in grotesque boils as the life drains from them. The priest threw a cough. "I told you to leave, but you insisted on to get killed. Idiots." As her consciousness slips away, our girl sees him fading too. "Mister, please don't sleep," she begs. "If my death could be exchanged for your life?" He hears her final plea, thinking it a worthy trade. She screams his name into the darkness as he disappears. She lies alone, weeping in the aftermath. When she finally awakens, the Taoist priest is standing over her, completely unharmed. "Are you okay?" He asks gently. She looks at the bodies littering the ground, explaining that the cursed poison in her body explodes and kills anyone who touches the gas. "However," he says, gesturing to himself, "why am I intact?" "Taoist priest?" Her eyes narrow with suspicion. "Who are you exactly?" she demands. He hesitates for a moment, looking away. He finally turns to face her, his expression grim. "I knew you would find out eventually. Actually, I'm also a cursed man." Reels back in shock. He confesses that 10 years ago he was captured by villagers and poisoned, which is how he became immune and why he's so determined to help her. She listens to his story. "I see," she says, but her inner thought is a bombshell. He's not that man. Just as the tension thickens, a crow caws in the night. And of course, another fool crashes the party. This new guy introduces himself as Li Budong, a man with a stone heart here to collect a bounty. He dramatically unrolls a wanted poster of our girl. "Poisonous devil, surrender yourself." She sighs completely over it. "Hello, hero, I have lethal poison. If you cherish your life, please leave." But he's just so confident in his impeccable savoir skills. He gives a smug grin and says, "Ogh," and then promptly faceplants, foaming at the mouth. The priest deadpans, Miss Ling, I only gave out a minute amount of. Even while dying, the man boasts about his nickname, One Strike Slay. Our girl, the doctor, kneels beside him, believing she can still save him from this small dose of poison. She turns to the priest, holding up an antidote. You've already seen it, Taoist priest. Now that I'm the devil girl that everyone hunts for, how can you help me? She asks, her voice laced with despair. He tells her their destination, the cursed village in the southwest. His eyes burn with conviction. There's got to be a method to cure you from the cursed poison. Meanwhile, in a faraway palace, a lord receives a report from his scouts. The news is delivered swiftly. The poison girl is on May Mountain, heading for the cursed village. The white-haired lord realizes she's trying to cure herself. His subordinate panics, but the lord is resolute. That damn Taoist priest must be beside her. I have to save her right now. He entrusts his duties to his agent. The agent pleads with him. By doing this, you're publicly declaring war against the four established sects. The lord's gaze turns to ice. She's a precious being to me. If they want to get hold of her, they're making me their enemy. With that, he's gone. He leaps through the sky, a desperate cry tearing from his lips. Handling air, wait for me. Back on the mountain, our duo arrives at their destination. Is this the cursed village? She asks, gazing down at the settlement shrouded in mist. The priest warns her the people here are wicked, but suggests they try negotiating first. He reminds her of the vermin master who tortured her, the very people who reside here. She gulps, steeling her resolve. They make their way into the village. Two guards stand watch, sensing their approach. But what they see is not a simple girl. It's a being of pure, chaotic power, her eyes black voids. What are you? They stammer. A terrifying smile spreads across her face. Anyone who blocks my way shall die. She unleashes hell. Watching the carnage, the priest reflects on his plan. All the chicken soup and precious herbs he fed her were to help her absorb the curse, to control it. He watches her now, a being of unimaginable power. She can now wield the power of gods. His own mission is finally at hand. Today I can finally fulfill my 10-year promise, he thinks, his eyes glowing with golden fury. With my cursed man, I'm here to take revenge. The villagers panic, shouting to release their venomous pets to fight our girl. A massive blue and red snake lunge forward, but our heroine is unfazed, commanding her Obi-Wan twin dragons, Ink and Scarlet, to kill her attackers. With a surge of violet energy, she roars, back off, effortlessly repelling the snakes. The villagers absolutely stunned. How can it be? They stammer. Even the dragons. Our girl's eyes are ice as she demands the antidote for the cursed men. Hand it over, she threatens, or don't blame me for being merciless. But just then, a powerful voice booms from behind her. How dare you? A new challenger enters the ring, a man dripping with authority and rage. He unleashes a blinding red energy blast, snarling, "You're looking for your own death." Our girl whips around, startled. She asks, it's none other than the Cursed King himself. He demands to know why she's attacking his village. He can't help but notice how powerful she is. She doesn't back down an inch, explaining it's because they turned someone into a cursed man. The king is floored. He insists that practice was banned centuries ago. He argues, if we were really that sinful, why would we try to conceal our crimes? Our girl is skeptical, and he presses her, "Miss, did someone direct you here?" Before she can answer, a sinister voice whispered, "Soul extraction." A massive golden insect materializes behind her, its power latching onto her. Her eyes go blank as her very soul is being ripped from her body. The Cursed King shouts in horror, "The technique of soul extraction?" And we see the culprit, a smirking man with white hair, musing about the gullible girl and the locust queen inside her. He steps out of the shadows. "Long time, no see," he says coolly. The Cursed King's face twists in pure fury. "By brother," he screams. He realizes in an instant, it's indeed the work of you, the traitor. The traitorous brother grins, grabbing our now puppeted heroine. "Watch your words, I specially made a trip down with my cursed man just to pay respects to you." He sneers. He lifts her chin, showing her off like a prize. "All of you said I couldn't succeed. Now you see my end product. What do you have to say?" The king absolutely loses it. Yang Wei was dead 16 years, he roars, demanding his brother give up this technique. But the screams back that it was all a sacrifice for Yang Wei. The king points, his voice trembling with rage. "You are the culprit for her murder. And now, it's time to apologize to her." He commands the controlled heroine. "Kill him!" The traitor just smirks, completely unbothered. The king orders his men to evacuate immediately. "Be careful, your majesty," they plead. Our girl, now a terrifying shadow of herself, lunges forward to attack. The king closes his eyes, ready to make the ultimate sacrifice. He summons his nattle golden silkworm from his palm. The traitor laughs. "You're sacrificing your golden silkworm. Looks like you fear death too." The silkworm flies, but not at the attack. The traitor freezes, What are you up to? The shadowy tendrils don't stop. Why didn't you use it to protect yourself? The traitor yells in disbelief. Instead, the tiny silkworm gently lands in our heroine's hair. The full force of the attack slams directly into the cursed king. He's thrown backwards as his men scream his name. The traitor is shocked. Why did you seek your own death? He whispers. He rushes to his brother's side, grabbing him by the collar. He cradles the dying king in his arms, his voice cracking. Why did you do this? The king coughs. I owe it to you. He explains he had to stop him from using the wicked technique, but never imagined it would lead to this. He looks at our unconscious heroine. Is also my sin. The traitor grabs his hand, a storm of emotions on his face. The king's final words are a promise to pay for Yang Wei's life. His eyes close for the last time. The traitor kneels over his brother's body, silent. Then, bitter laugh escapes him. What a good death, he says, his voice dripping with irony. He looks to the heavens, a single tear rolling down his cheek. I've waited so many years. I've finally reached the day when you die before me. He's utterly broken. Yang Wei, you must be happy, right? He whispers. The remaining villagers don't know what to do. The traitor tells them to stay or go. He doesn't care. They look at their fallen king and then make a decision. They bow before the traitor, pledging their loyalty. But he just smirks. Your new master is her, he declares. The men just stare, completely confused. He turns to point at our girl, but the spot is empty. Where is she? He wonders, panicked. We see her being carried through a forest by a random goon who's laughing out how he snatched Devil Girl, while the others were being sentimental. He's going to be a rich man. His horse gallops through the trees, but he's being hunted. A majestic figure with flowing white hair is hot on his trail. The hero closes the distance, his eyes locking onto the kidnapper's back. His eyes widen in shock. It's her, Hanling. He launches himself from his horse, roaring, "Stop there. Put down the person on your back." The kidnapper turns, annoyed. What the heck? Our hero sees Linger is just unconscious, and his fury builds. The kidnapper scoffs. What guts? How dare you snatch people from me? The Saber Master. He unleashes a vicious slash of blue energy, intending to take our hero's arm. But our silver-haired stud just smirks, blocking the attack with ease. He reveals his own chilling power, 4th level sword essence. The Saber Master starts to sweat, his face pale with terror. What the heck is this? Our story explodes back into action as one of the elders gets absolutely obliterated by a blinding light. Standing over his defeated form is a mysterious silver-haired man who smirks. Thanks for the easy defeat. Elsewhere, our poor heroine groans as she slowly wakes up. Her eyes flutter open, and she finds herself staring directly into the face of her kidnapper. Before she can even process his pretty boy smile, she lets out a horrified scream and delivers a slap so savage it echoes through the forest. The man stumbles back, clutching his cheek in utter disbelief. Miss Ling doesn't recognize me now. From behind a tree, our girl, Hunlinger, trembles, warning him to stay back lest she poison him to death. He just looks at her, confused, while she tries to piece together what happened. She remembers fighting the cursed king, then passing out, and now this guy has her. And wait, is that the cursed king passed out on the ground nearby? The silver-haired man tries to calm her down, calling her name gently. She snaps, demanding to know who he is. With a serene smile, he drops a bombshell. You probably won't believe it, but I am the magical doctor. I've reincarnated. Her world stops. Mr. G, reincarnated? He insists it's him reminding her of the year they spent together learning medicine and collecting herbs. The memories flood back, but her face darkens with a heart-wrenching truth. Mister, he died for me. Tears of rage well up in her eyes. She accuses him of being a fraud, using the memory of a dead man to fool her. The man panics, realizing she's about to unleash her deadly poison. She screams, "I'll mute you with my poison." But before she can do a thing, he dramatically collapses to his knees, clutching his sword and fake coughing. I'm mute now. Our girl is completely stunned by this chaotic display. She's just standing there like, huh? I can still speak? The confusion is real, folks. Question marks literally pop up around her head. She tries to activate her power, but nothing happens. What's wrong? Why can't I release my poison gas anymore? Her mind flashes back, wondering if it's because of that time. We're thrown into a memory of a powerful Taoist priest approaching her. The cursed king's spirit growls that he's going to send this damn Taoist priest offline, but Hanlinger leaps in front of him, yelling, "Stop it!" The silver-haired man, who we now know is Yuan Qiang, looks down at her with concern. The Taoist priest doesn't hesitate, launching a massive energy sword attack right at them. Without a second thought, Yuan Qiang draws his own sword and leaps in front of our girl to shield her. He whips around, asking her what on earth she's doing. The cursed king tells her to get out of there, but she stands her ground. "No, I won't let him kill you." Yuan Qiang is visibly moved by her fierce loyalty. The cursed king, however, is seething. Who is this rascal? He decides his golden locust to control Hanlinger and force her to kill the priest. But Hanlinger turns to the priest, admitting she can't use her poison anymore, shocking the cursed king to his core. She wonders if it's because of the nattle golden silkworm. The cursed king realizes the truth with dawning horror. The golden silkworm is the king of Al vermin, making his own golden locust a mere piece of cake in front of it. He fears that the poison inside her body is now completely under the silkworm's control. He sees a vision of her, glowing with a terrifying power, and roars in fury at the thought of his poison beauty being destroyed. Back in the present, Yuan Qiang tries to reason with her. Han Linger, listen to me, that damn Taoist priest isn't a good guy. He then drops another bomb. It's also him that caused the death of Mr. G. Our girl is shocked, but Yuan Qiang presses on, promising to explain everything after he deals with the priest. But she's had enough. Nonsense, you're full of lies. I'll never believe you. Suddenly an old man's voice roars, Demon! Go to hell as a massive golden palm strike. The Prajan Karate hurtles towards Yuan Qiang. The attacker descends from the sky. It's the Shaolin abbot. Yuan Qiang looks utterly annoyed. Oh great, why have you rascals chosen such a time to fuel the chaos? The abbot smugly points out that Yuan Qiang was supposed to be helping them kill the demon. But our man just smirks. You think too much, abbot. He plants his feet, his eyes blazing with protective fury. I'm here to save her. Let me see who dares to touch her. With a deafening banshee, the abbot is sent flying, defeated in just 3 moves. The other martial artists look on in terror, realizing their lord is on a completely different level. The abbot sputters, accusing him of turning on them for a demon. Yuan Qiang coldly tells him to shut up. He turns to the crowd, his voice like ice. Those who want to die, feel free to step out. Brave idiot threatens his reputation. Before they all turn tail and run for the hills, screaming empty threats. Yuan Qiang just scoffs. Threaten me? Do you think my plugin is useless? He turns around, a soft smile on his face, thinking he's surely won some major brownie points with Han Linger. But the clearing is empty. Where is she? Turns out she and the Cursed King took the opportunity to bolt, and are now resting deep in the woods. The Cursed King is baffled by the swordsman's actions. He internally fumes over the man's absurd claim of being a reincarnated Mr. G, but can't shake the fact that the man's earring is identical to the one Mr. G wore. He tries to Han Linger, telling her it's time to move on from Mr. G's death. She agrees quietly, but her eyes are filled with a dark resolve. The Cursed King thinks to himself, no matter who that person is, he has to die. Just then they're surrounded. But instead of attacking, the villagers drop to their knees, bowing before Han Linger and proclaiming her their holy queen. Our girl is completely lost, and the Cursed King explains that they want her be their new master. He begins to explain their history. Back then, the poison your body lost control, and the Cursed King was poisoned to death because he couldn't find a way to defeat you. He opens his mouth to continue, but freezes as a terrifying, unseen presence glares at him. A voice, with menace, whispers a dead. Tell Han Linger the real reason for the Cursed King's death, and every single living thing in the village will be annihilated. Back at the sect, the old guard is absolutely losing it. One elder slams the table, screaming that their lord has gone crazy. He can't believe their leader turned on them for some demon, and he's ready to start a coup right then and there. His crony chimes in, calling the lord arrogant, but their plotting is cut short by a red-haired disciple with urgent news. He's received a classified message. The cursed village has crowned that very same demon as their new queen. An icy-eyed man sees this as a golden opportunity, a perfect chance to take down all their enemies at once. The plan is set. They'll send a message to their disciples immediately. It's time to gather their forces and prepare for an all-out assault on the cursed village. They all agree it's a great plan. Meanwhile, in a much fancier room, a man in royal robes just smirks. He thinks to himself that things are finally getting interesting. An aide reports that the 4 major sects are Pil Han Linger and asks if they should intervene to save her. The crowned man gives a chillingly simple answer: no need. He explains that he needs to force our girl into a corner. Only when she's desperate will his grand appearance have the impact he desires. He sends his man off with instructions, a sinister smile playing on his lips as he thinks. Han Linger will be meeting very varied. The scene shifts to a beautiful, star-filled night. An announcer's voice rings out, "Our holy queen has arrived," and there she is, our girl Han Linger. Looking absolutely legal in a flowing purple gown, she looks up. Her eyes she gazes at the handsome Taoist priest. She's completely smitten. "You're sturdy Taoist priest," she swoons. With a simple gesture, he dismisses her attendants. As they leave, she confesses that the people here are strange. They treat her with so much respect, even though she killed some of their own. The priest explains it's their custom, survival of the fittest. He then warns her to check on the poison in her body, but she just wants to know if they can leave. He tells her it's not that simple. The martial arts world is now hunting her down, and she can't survive without Gup. Besides, staying here is their best chance to find the person who cursed her in the first place. The words hit her hard and she flinches, remembering the innocent lives she took for revenge. He grabs her shoulder, his voice firm. "You did it without regret," he reminds her. "We don't have another way." She apologizes for worrying him, her head bowed in shame. He then gently cups her face, his eyes softening. He makes a solemn promise. "No matter what the future holds, I'll always stay by your side." She thanks him and he tender licks a strand of hair from her face. "It's late," he says softly. Please go back to your rest. He smiles and says he'll take his leave, but the second he turns his back, his friendly demeanor vanishes. His face twists into a dark, possessive sneer, and his inner thoughts are terrifying. Don't think about leaving me for your entire life. Unaware of the psycho-stalker vibes, our girl sits alone under the stars, lost in a memory. She's recalling a sweeter time with her mister, sitting under a similar sky. He had pointed to the brightest star and told her it was less charming than her eyes. She had blushed so hard, asking him where he learned to say such things. He just gave her a warm, knowing smile. But the memory sours as she recalls another moment with him. He'd told her to catch dung beetles, calling them an important drug, and she'd realized with horror he almost poisoned her. She remembers playfully hitting him with a basket, screaming, "Damn you!" The emotional whiplash is too much. Back in the present, she clutches her chest as her nose begins to bleed. A single tear falls as she smiles sadly. "Mister," she whispers to the night sky, "I miss you so much," but her quiet moment is shattered by a hulking brute dragging a spiked ball and chain. He looms over her, a wicked grin on his face. He knows she's the cursed queen and warns her to run if she wants to live. He holds up a talisman, ready for a fight. "Come at me," he taunts. "I'd like to experience that miraculous technique of killing people in thin air." Arg panics, realizing her powers won't work on him. The man's eyes glow with greed. "Your head is worth 10,000 in gold, and it shall be mine." He lunges, but suddenly a blur of motions him off. A voice rings out, one Slay-style, half-moon wheel. A blinding arc of golden energy slices through the air. The brute's eyes widen in shock as the attack connects, and the world explodes in a slash of red and black. He doesn't stand a chance. The attacker crashes to the ground, defeated. Hanlinger stares in disbelief as a new swordsman stands over the body. He clicks his tongue, scolding the dead man for trying to steal his prey. She recognizes her savior. He turns to her, coolly stating he didn't save her, he was just snatching away his profits. He then questions why she, the infamous cursed queen, didn't just poison the guy. With a heavy heart, she confesses the truth. "The poison in my body has been suppressed. I'm no longer cursed." She tells him her tragic story. A life of torture, forced to kill countless people, even her own family. But through that darkness, there was one silly guy who tried to save her, tirelessly developing new antidotes. He was the one who gave her the will to live. But in the end, she could only watch helplessly as he died right in front of her. The memory is too painful, and she can't go on. Suddenly, the tough guy swordsman breaks down, sobbing hysterically. "So pathetic. Life is unfair," he wails, leaving our girl utterly baffled. She awkwardly thanks him for his empathy. She tells him she's weak and defenseless now, so he might as well capture her. But the invincible swordsman scoffs, saying that while he loves money, he won't harm a weak girl. He declares that he'll only claim his prize by defeating the Holy Queen in her own palace. He tells her to consider this a favor to be repaid later. With that, he leaps into the night sky, telling her to go live her life. Hanlinger watches him go, a small smile on her face. He's really an interesting person, she thinks. The swordsman flies across the moon, landing silently on a nearby roof, but he's not alone. A figure with flowing silver hair appears before him, his blue eyes glowing with intensity. It's her mister. He holds a jade flute like a weapon. "Found you, old friend," he says, his voice dripping with ice. "It's time for us to get even." A heavy door squeaks open in the dead of night. The creepy Taoist priest sneaks in, but before he can even take a breath, bam, he's sent flying backwards by an explosive force. Our boy, Mr. G, is absolutely livid, roaring "Go to hell." The priest, clutching his throat, snarls, "It's you! Why do you insist on going against me?" He even brings up the stupid notebook that started this whole mess. The commotion alerts the villagers, who immediately realize who the intruder is. One of them wisely decides this is way above his pay grade and plans to dip. The villagers scatter like rats, shouting for backup. Mr. G is left alone, his power depleted from feeding his vermin to Linger. He glares at the priest, "Say your last words." The priest, ever the snake, pleads in his innocence the villagers for what happened to Linger. A heart-wrenching flashback shows them ganging up on our poor girl, but Mr. G isn't buying it. "All of this was part of your scheme," he bellows as the priest screams in agony. With a savage blow, Mr. G slams him into the ground. The priest coughs up blood, a twisted, victorious smirk on his face. And in that moment, Mr. G understands. All of this was just to get his hands on Linger. His eyes widen in dawning horror. The truth hits him like a ton of bricks. This priest, he's the real culprit who turned Linger into a cursed being. The priest just chuckles, "Ah, yeah, you finally guessed it." He taunts Mr. G, practically begging for death. "Then what are you waiting for? Kill me and then tell Linger the truth." Mr. G's rage boils over. But the priest drops an absolute bombshell. "If I die, Linger won't live anymore." His eyes glow with pure evil. Mr. G freezes, demanding to know what he means. The priest reveals his ultimate trump card. He planted a vermin inside Linger long ago. Without his antidote, she'll be eaten alive from the inside out. "Make a decision now, Mr. G," he sneers. Furious and trapped, Mr. G smashes his fist into a tree. He can't let this scoundrel keep manipulating our girl. He has to tell her the truth. Meanwhile, Linger is in her room, blissfully unaware. Her maid notes that the cursed mark on her face is fading. Looking in the mirror, Linger sees it for herself. The maid credits the Taoist priest and his golden silkworm for suppressing the poison. A single, hopeful tear rolls down Linger's cheek. She might finally become a normal person. Her sudden emotion startles the maid, who immediately fears she's said something wrong. Linger reassures her it's nothing, just as another servant arrives with a basin of water. But disaster strikes. The maid trips, sending the basin and its contents flying right at Linger. The water splashes all over her pristine robes. The maid stands up, horrified at her mistake. She immediately drops to her knees, begging for her life, absolutely terrified of the Holy Queen's wrath. The other maid joins in, pleading for mercy. But Linger is surprisingly gentle. "I never thought of punishing you," she says with a soft smile, stunning them both. As the relieved maids leave, Linger is lost in thought. They're terrified of her, which is the complete opposite of what the priest told her. Just then, the wounded priest stumbles in, calling her name. She rushes to his side, asking why he's so injured and if the white-haired swordsman Mr. G has returned. She asks directly, "Was it him that wounded you?" The priest launches into a tirade, blaming that rascal Mr. G for everything. He then gets a cunning look in his eye, asking if anyone has been telling her strange stories. Our girl's suspicion is piqued. She admits that too many things don't add up. She can't remember what happened when she fought the cursed king. Her memory is a total blank until the moment the golden silkworm entered her body. She looks him dead in the eye and asks what really happened. He deflects, trying to guilt-trip her. "Don't you believe me?" Before she can answer, a guard bursts in, shouting that a man calling himself One Strike Slay has stormed the palace. Linger's eyes widen. He's here. The priest seethes, knowing his time is running out. Outside, the swordsman is causing absolute chaos. Demanding to see the Holy Queen and effortlessly take in her guards, the villagers panic, screaming to stop him before the Holy Queen kills them all. The priest turns to Linger, telling her to stay put while he handles it, but she grabs his sleeve, her voice shaking. "No," she says, her voice thick with exhaustion. "I don't want to run and hide anymore. I'm very tired." Her grip tightens on his robe. "I also don't want to commit more sins for the sake of revenge." She's done using other people's lives to satisfy her own desires. As the swordsman outside unleashes a massive, chaotic attack, she thinks about the distorted life she's been forced to live. "I don't want to experience it." With tears in her eyes, she whispers herself, as for Mr., he won't want to see it either. The priest is left utterly speechless. "All right, buckle up, my little manhua maniacs, because this is about to get chaotic." Our silver-haired boy is having a full-blown meltdown. He snaps, his voice cracking with jealousy. "You only have in your heart every day. What about me?" He instantly regrets his outburst, covering his face in shame. "Sorry, I lost control of myself." He looks down, his heart on his sleeve. "I only want to stay by your side and protect you." His voice drops to a desperate whisper. "I hope you don't take away my power to do so." But before our heroine can even process this emotional confession, a new challenger appears. A smarmy dude with a purple pony steps out, sword drawn. He sneers, "Your vermin is really too inferior compared to your Holy Queen's poison. I don't want to harm the innocent. You better get out of the way." He lunges forward, a wicked glint in his eye. The village boys gasp in terror. The purple-haired menace just laughs. "Haha, you're scared now." The boys frantically beg their master to get the Holy Queen's help. The attacker pauses, sensing something in the air. What's happening? He wonders, a bead of sweat on his face. Is there any to be so dramatic? "Oh, you have no idea, buddy, because over the horizon comes an entire army. Monks and warriors swarm the village, chanting, 'Exterminate the cursed village. Kill the demon!' Our silver-haired protector curses. Damn, of all times, these rascals chose this time to attack us." His men are panicking, realizing they're up against the 4 strongest sects. Inside, our girl hears the sounds of battle and peeks out her door. Is it possible that those who want to kill me are here as well? Suddenly, a gust of wind rustles a book and a familiar voice calls her name. She whips around to find the mysterious man from her past standing right behind her. She demands, "Who exactly are you? Why do you keep harassing me?" He just smiles, his voice soft and nostalgic. "The first time you saw me, you were this frightened. That was the first time in the herbal pool." A flashback washes over them, a dreamy memory of their first meeting. He begins to explain everything. "Since you can't control the poison inside your body, I don't know how many times you've poisoned me." He reveals he gave her antidotes and taught her medicine, how they saved people and faced death together. He remembers her asking what would happen if he died for her. His eyes glisten with unshed tears as he recalls his answer. "I said, you must remember me for the whole of your life." Tears spring to her eyes in the present as the realization hits her. "Are you really Mr.?" she cries, throwing herself into his arms for a heart-wrenching hug. He holds her tight, murmuring, "It's me, I'm back." She pulls away, wiping her eyes. What would it turn out like this? What happened? He explains that he was reincarnated as the lord of the martial arts circle. He gently cups her face, his gaze intense. "But now, the 4 big sects are assailing the cursed village. I'll take you out of this place first." He takes her hand, ready to leave. "Let's go." but stands her ground, pulling her hand back. But why? Her eyes burn with a newfound fire. I can't possibly leave everyone in the lurch like this, she declares as the sounds of battle rage outside. They're risking their lives because of me. And what a battle it is. The silver-haired boy orders his men to summon their insects and go for the kill. The purple-haired warrior fights like a demon, screaming, "I don't care if you're good or evil. If you dare touch my prey, I'll immediately send you to hell." Seeing the chaos, our heroine hardens her resolve. "I'll stop this massacre myself." Her mysterious man looks at her, a proud smile gracing his lips. I can't believe that she has become so courageous already. He reaches for her, his voice warm and steady. "In that case, let's link our hands together once again and save everyone." He takes her hand in his, a silent promise passing between them. "Mister," she whispers, her heart soaring. He looks out at the battlefield. "This time, don't leave me anymore," he says. "Sure." Meanwhile, the purple-haired brawler unleashes a devastating, shattering the ground and sending his foe flying. Just then, our power couple emerges, and the Lord summons a colossal sword from the heavens. Purple Hair is completely stunned. Since when have these two hooked up? The silver-haired boy is equally shocked. Have they actually acknowledged each other? The Lord holds up a token, his voice booming across the battlefield. "Listen to my command. Stop all your attacks right now." He announces a truce, and the villagers erupt in cheers. The invaders are not convinced. "Everybody look! The Lord and the demon girl have hooked up," one yells. "Good and evil can never be on the same side." The white-haired boy just scoffs at their naivety. The Lord and our heroine stand together, united. She steps forward and addresses the crowd. "It's a fact that I've killed innocent people," she admits bravely. "I, Hanlinger, plead guilty to my sins." Even the purple-haired warrior is moved. "To be able to assume such a responsibility, you deserve to be called a hero." And she drops the biggest bombshell of the day. "But the lucky thing is, I've already cleared the poison from my body." Everyone freezes. The Lord and the silver-haired boy are in utter shock, while her followers gaze at her in awe. One of the enemy leaders sees his opportunity, a greedy smile spreading across his face. "Really? Then if I kill this demon girl, everyone will crown me the new lord." He charges, screaming about justice. But the Lord is already moving. With a flick of his fingers, he summons his power. He commands, unleashing a massive wave of energy. "Lost!" The crowd stares in disbelief as our boy slams his sword down, the force of the blow making him cough up blood. They can't believe his raw power. He lands, sword at the ready, a whirlwind of energy swirling at his feet. His eyes glow with a demonic red as he makes a terrifying promise. "If anyone dares to take Hanlinger's life for personal gain, I'll kill you." But our girl begs him, "Mister, don't create more hatred just for my sake. It's too late." The crowd is a frenzied mob, accusing him of being a demon's puppet. "Jet them!" they scream, charging forward. But another voice cuts through the chaos, declaring the only way to end this is through sacrifice. Our silver-haired hero's eyes narrow. He finally understands her plan. "You decided to commit suicide from the start, didn't you?" She looks away sadly, admitting she never thought she'd see him again. He grabs her, his voice filled with desperation. "There's no time to explain. This is just a game. My real name is Ji Xiaofan." But then his system glitches, and he blurts out some absolute nonsense about his body being dirty and hands her a phone number. He's having a full-blown internal meltdown over the system's chaotic auto-phrases. But our girl, completely unaware, just reaches and gently touches his face. She pulls him into a heartfelt hug. "Thank you, Ji Xiaofan, for appearing in my life," she whispers. As he freezes in shock, she summons a massive, glowing weapon. With a fierce look in her eyes, she declares, "It's my turn to protect you." He has a sudden, terrifying realization. He'd guessed their story might repeat, but he never knew. They were already at the end. A cold voice rings out. "Release the arrows." A storm of death rains down from the sky. The ground is splattered with blood. Our girl lies motionless, pierced by countless arrows as a mysterious golden eye watches from the darkness. "Am I dead?" she wonders, but a strong heartbeat echoes around her. A man with a gentle smile appears, holding an umbrella over her. He stands over her, a calm figure in a field of death and fallen feathers. We flash back to our boy's savage declaration to kill anyone who hurt her. An advisor warns the Emperor that Lord Ji would betray everyone for Han Linger. The Emperor smirks, thinking Xiao Fan is too arrogant for a game. He gives the signal to his waiting army. The moment has arrived. With a chilling smile, the Emperor gives the command, "Release the arrows." He then leaps from the balcony, calling her name as he plummets towards the chaos. Our girl looks up, stunned to see him. He introduces himself as Jiang Yubai, the head of Changling. In the distance, our silver-haired hero screams her name in pure agony. The Emperor lands gracefully between them. But the party's just getting started. Another hottie with purple hair arrives, annoyed that someone is trying to steal his prey. He points his sword at the Emperor. "Get the hell out of the way. She's coming with me." And then a third challenger appears. An enraged monk, seeing the bodies of his disciples, vows to kill every single one of them. His burning eyes lock onto the Emperor. "It's you. The emperor just looks at him, completely unbothered. He calmly justifies the massacre as the emperor's duty to restore peace. "Get in formation," he commands. The royal army thunders in on horseback, surrounding them all. The monk roars, promising revenge, but the emperor vanishes and reappears right in front of him, blasting him with a ball of energy. The monk is obliterated. The emperor descends from the sky like a god. He approaches our heroine, his hand gently cupping her face. He declares an end to their personal grudges, stating he'll take Hanlinger for interrogation. He grabs her wrist, but our boy Jiafan isn't having it. "Let go of her," he roars. The purple-haired rascal also draws his blade, furious that the emperor is snatching his prize. Our girl's voice cuts through the tension. "Everyone, stop right now." She turns to Ji Xiaofan, her eyes filled with sorrow. "I'm sorry, mister, I lied to you." He just looks at her with pure love. "As long as you're fine," she trembles, blaming herself for all the death. But he refuses to let her carry the burden alone. The emperor snaps, "You shut up. This is our business." He glares at Ji Xiaofan. "What makes you think you can decide her life? That's the last straw for our girl." She whips around to face the emperor. "I could have ended this, but you came and killed hundreds with a single order. Why?" He looks at her intensely. "I did it for you." Her mind reels. She reflects on her fate, the poison, the people hunting her. All the sins she feels she must bear alone. A new, terrifying power awakens in her golden eyes. "Since I can't run away, I'll make a death vow with the goal of living on." A crimson aura explodes around her. "Whoever wants my freedom, my will, my Ever, must let him go." The emperor's face softens. "It's destined to be a bad ending with me. Won't you regret it?" She reaches for his hand. "Silly, you know the answer?" They intertwine their fingers, a silent promise made. "In this life we won't leave each other in life or death." And in that moment, surrounded by enemies, they share a beautiful, defiant smile. The emperor lays out his offer. Ditch the pretty boy and follow him, because countless assassins are gunning for her head. But our silver-haired stud isn't having it. He steps in, cool as ice, telling the emperor she already has all the protection she needs. He turns to leave. But our girl looks up at him with those big, sad eyes. "I miss our herbal hut," she whispers. And just like that, you can see his resolve crumble. With a gentle smile, he agrees to take her back. The emperor's aide is absolutely fuming, but the purple-haired guy just scoffs, sneering that he'll just take a little break before coming to snatch her back anyway. The emperor watches them go, a dark promise in his eyes. One day she'll come crawling back for his help. Meanwhile, in the forest, a different kind of trouble is brewing. A mob of angry men are on the hunt kinging, screaming for revenge. Their leader, a man with some seriously intense eyebrows, watches from the shadows, knowing this chaotic mob will turn on him the second our girl is truly gone. He clutches his arm, a grimace on his face. He's not going down without a fight, and he'll be damned if he lets them get their hands on Hanlinger. He journeys deep into a desolate, creepy swamp. "It's right in front," he mutters, his eyes fixed on his destination. He arrives at a murky, algae-covered pool. "I've reached it," he declares, stepping into the foul water without hesitation. He spots his target across the swamp, an old well, sealed shut by a massive boulder. He puts his shoulder to the stone, grunting and straining with every ounce of his strength. With a final, desperate heave, the stone cracks and he shoves it aside. He peers down into the inky blackness of the well. It should be alive, right? He wonders aloud. It's been 10 long years. He unwraps his bandaged hands, revealing a sharp needle. Without a flinch, he pierces his own arm. He lets his blood drip down into the dark well, a sacrifice to the creature below. For a tense moment, there is only silence. He smirks, convinced his creation must have died after all this time. And then a terrifying geyser of dark energy erupts from the well. He stumbles back, his eyes wide with shock. From the depths rises a monstrous, scaly beast with horrifying, glowing red eyes. The creature is a colossal serpent towering over him with pure menace. But this psycho isn't scared. He bursts into a crazed laugh. "Aha, you're still alive. That's great." The ground itself trembles, sending the nearby villagers into a panic. "Is it an earthquake?" they whisper in fear about the cursed king. An elder explains the terrifying legend. The cursed king was fed the blood of a golden silkworm, giving him the power to control every poisonous creature in the world. Back at the swamp, the man is ecstatic. He gloats that turning this beast into a mystic vermin was worth risking his life. "From now on, I'll be your master," he declares with a triumphant grin. The beast just stares back, its expression one of pure, unadulterated disgust. Wham! It smacks him with its massive body, sending him flying with a scream. It opens its giant maw, hissing as it prepares to devour him whole. But even in the jaws of death, this guy is a smug jerk. "Daman, you even dare to eat me when you're starving." That silkworm blood is thrilling, right? He tries to bargain, promising to keep the beast well fed if it will just follow him. The monster is not responding. Just then, the mob of villagers arrives, drawn by the noise. The man's eyes light up with a wicked idea. He points to the approaching men and grins at the monster. "Look, I brought you dinner already." Chaos erupts as the villagers scream and flee in terror. Elsewhere, our heroine is having a much quieter conversation, asking the mister how he was able to reincarnate. He explains that a dying martial arts lord hoped someone would transmigrate into his body and live on for him. Our girl is floored, realizing the plots from her novels are actually real. She then mentions the Taoist priest, and the mister coldly suggests the priest ran away in fear of him. She looks at him confused. Why would he be scared of you? And then the mister drops a heart-shattering bombshell. It's him who injured you so badly. He reveals that the priest was the one who threatened him, forcing him to plant the heart-nibbling vermin inside her. Her world spins. She grabs his arm, her voice a choked whisper. Then, who exactly is he? She looks into his eyes, a terrible suspicion dawning her. You suspect someone, right? The man he suspects is a dark, hooded figure, wreathed in menacing red flames. This shadowy villain muses to himself, certain that his identity has been revealed. He wonders how Hanlinger reacted, but decides it doesn't matter. He vows to get her back and make them intimate once again. He stands before a roaring fire, a chilling promise on his lips. For those who stand in his way, only death awaits. As a storm begins to rage, our heroine stands silently on a balcony, reaching her hand into the cold rain. The mister watches her, his heart aching. She hasn't said a word since he told her the truth. He worries the shock was too much, that the villain's deception was too deep, but he reassures himself that as long as she's by his side, nothing else matters. Finally, she breaks her silence, her voice heavy with grief. Where is the place my parents are buried? He tells her they're in the back mountains, beside the villa. Take me there, she demands, her voice firm. Now, he gently suggests they wait for the rain to stop. No, she says, her back to him, her resolve like steel. We've waited for too long. She turns to face him, rain and tears mixing on her face, her eyes burning with a fierce light. They died tragically at my hands, she declares, her voice cracking with emotion. I owe them an explanation and an apology at their tomb. A bolt of lightning crashes, illuminating her unwavering determination. From his throne, the Lord watches our girl's fierce determination flicker on a holographic screen. He can't help but smile, thinking she's even cuter now that she's embracing her antagonist role. But then he remembers her first impression of him was pure disgust. He lets out a sigh. Looks like I need to change to another strategy. The scene shifts to a serene, moonlit forest. Our girl explains that after she collected her parents' bodies, she had to cremate them so the poison wouldn't contaminate the earth. She kneels before a simple wooden grave marker, her voice filled with regret. The Lord watches from a distance as she whispers to the heavens, Dad. Mom, your daughter is back. She collapses to the ground, prostrating herself in overwhelming grief. The Lord's heart aches for her. He knows that even though this a game to him, these were real family, he feels powerless, knowing no words could possibly comfort her in this moment. Suddenly, she stands up, wiping away her tears with a steely resolve. I'm done, Litz says, shocking him. Linger, you're finished already? He asks, completely taken aback by her sudden change. She looks at him, her eyes clear. My parents are already dead. Revenge won't satisfy their souls in heaven. As they walk away, he knows he can't let her bottle this up. He pulls her into a sudden, warm embrace. Can you take it slower? He murmurs. I'm scared that you'll become cold because of hatred. Just then, a voice calls out, Lord, I've finally found. It's his subordinate who freezes mid-sentence, realizing he's walked in on a very private moment. The poor guy immediately tries to backtrack, waving his hands frantically. Please go on. Come back. But the Lord is having none of it. He glares over, his voice icy. Cut off all that useless introduction. Get straight to the point. The subordinate snaps to attention, bowing deeply. Lord, something serious has happened. He explains that a nasty rumor is spreading. The Lord mercilessly protected the cursed queen while 4 sects were raiding her village. The Lord just scoffs. What's more scary is that they say you eloped with the cursed queen. Our girl cheekily chimes in. That's true, actually, giving a little smile. She even grabs his hand to prove her point. The subordinate is absolutely flustered as the Lord dismisses his concerns and tells him to handle it himself. As the poor guy walks away, dejected, our girl asks, Is this really okay? You ditch your friends for me? He turns to her with a soft smile. Silly, and pats her head. It's enough as long as I have you, he says tenderly. The subordinate, who isn't quite out of earshot, hears this and bolts away in a dramatic huff. But their sweet moment is shattered by a sudden attack. It's the human trafficker again. He brandishes his sword, yelling, Leave Hanlinger behind and I'll spare your life. The Lord is unimpressed. How are you so shameless after I defeated you? With a flash of his own blade, he declares, I must teach you a lesson today. He zips past, slicing off of the man's precious hair. The man goes from 0 to 100 real quick, screaming, My stylish hair, you bastard. He lunges. The Lord is too fast, dodging and clashing with him in a blur of motion. With a single, powerful strike, the Lord's blade shatters the man's sword. My beloved sword, the man wails, crumbling to the ground. Mister, stop fighting, our girl cries, stepping between them. He saved me, so he's not a bad person. The Mao just a blubbering mess on the forest floor, mourning his swordie. Seeing this, the Lord bows slightly. I'm sorry, brother. It's all a misunderstanding. This apology backfires spectacularly. The man shoots up, his face contorted. You broke my sword, and you have the nerve to seek my forgiveness? He points an accusing finger, his whole body trembling with fury. I will never forgive you. The Lord just casually raises his massive weapon, confused. What are you doing? The man grins maniacally. You fell into my trap. Try this. He flings a handful of black pellets into the air. They explode in a massive cloud of noxious smoke. The Lord is caught in the blast, instantly gagging. This smoke is so smelly. As our girl calls out to him, the swordsman grabs her. Stop talking to him, he's throwing up. Follow your sword, daddy, haha. He dragging her away. He tries to sweeten the deal. Don't worry, after I get my reward money from the government, I'll stop there. Put the Lord's wife down. A voice roars from the trees. Our girl's eyes go wide. Wife. It's the loyal subordinate back for round 2. He peers into the stinky smoke trying to find his master. Where's the Lord? He asks. A chilling voice responds from above. Over there. The Lord descends from the sky, and he looks absolutely livid. His eyes are glowing with rage as dozens of ethereal blue swords materialize in the air behind him. A terrifying display of power. The swordsman looks up, his bravado instantly evaporating. Go of her, the Lord commands, his voice echoing with raw fury. With a flick of his wrist, the swords rain down, narrowly missing the kidnapper and pinning him to the ground. The man freezes, a single bead of sweat rolling down his face as blades press against him from every angle. Utterly terrified, he gulps, Bro, I'll release her right now. Please don't move. He gently, ever so gently, puts our girl down. The Lord lands before them, his majestic robes billowing, his expression a mask of cold, silent rage. Here is your Geo 8 Manhua recap script. Our girl rushes to the silver-haired swordsman's side, asking if he's okay. In the background, the purple-haired swordsman simmers, but our man reassures her he's fine. The purple-haired punk smirks, his leverage gone. Hey, I released her already. It's time for you to withdraw your power, right? Our silver-haired hero gives him an icy stare. Seeing that you saved Linger once, I'll give you one more chance. He makes a swift hand gesture, his voice dropping to a deadly command. Get lost! The magical swords around the purple-haired goon dissipate into thin air. He trembles in shock and fury, vowing revenge for scampering away. Our man can only think, this brat is so shameless. Suddenly the Lord of the Martial Arts Circle rushes in, all worried. Madam, are you hurt? Our girl stammers that she's fine, but Silverhair is not having it. He snaps. What are you calling her? If there's nothing, quickly get lost. And to really make his point, he grabs the Lord's cheeks and gives them a savage pinch. The poor Lord whines that he's suffocating. Defeated, the Lord hands over a jade tablet. It's the official badge for the Lord of the Martial Arts Circle. He insists that our hero keep it. Silverhair looks down at the badge, a flicker of surprise on his face. The Lord declares that he is the only one qualified to rule the entire martial arts circle. He begs him to finish his business and come back soon. With a final bow, he says his goodbyes, leaving our couple alone. He gives them one last charming smile before departing. Our heroine is touched. Left Agent is loyal and faithful. She says a smile. He's such a good person. Silverhair turns the question back on her. Go back to the martial arts circle. I see that they need you very much. How about you? And our girl, with the most adorable blush, admits, Of course I'm going back with you. His entire face lights up with pure joy. You've agreed? But she immediately backpedals, puffing out her cheeks. Humph, I didn't. She turns away, playing hard to get. I don't want to stay with this smelly man. But he just lets out a low, knowing chuckle. Oh, he knows exactly what to do. A devilish glint appears in his eyes. Didn't we agree to stay by each other through hardship? He purrs. The opportunity is here, and before she can react, he swoops in and plants a kiss right on her cheek. She squeals, go away. But it's too late. The system dinks, marriage and index 1-5. But oh, the drama! The poor watches from afar, clutching his chest as his heart shatters into a million pieces. And just like that, we're ripped from the fantasy world and dropped into modern day, outside a school building. Meet our heroine in the real world, grumbling about her friend Rui, who ditched her study session for a date. She scoffs at her friend's cheesy text, but decides to deal with her later. She walks into the library, only to find the seat-saving wars are in full effect. One desk has a sign reserving it for the study god, while another is literally chained down with a guy sleeping on it. She looks around the packed room, desperately searching for a single empty spot. Just as she's about to give up, a voice calls out, Hey, sit over here! A guy with glasses points to an empty seat beside him. She gratefully accepts, thanking her new friend. He smiles kindly and tells her not to mention it. But plot twist, he's not a student. I graduated 2 years ago, he explains. I should be your senior. Our girl is completely bewildered. He jokes that maybe it's time to relive his old seat-reserving days, which just makes her think he's a little weird. Seeing her expression, he sighs. Did I say something wrong again? She bursts out laughing, teasing him for being so nervous. He laughs along and they start chatting. He's a computer science major and she's a freshman studying literature. But as we cuck his workplace, and we see the truth, this Jiangkai and this meeting was no accident. He thinks to himself, I finally got to meet her. Looking at his screen, he sees folders filled with information about her. She's so much cuter in person than in the game. With a single click, he highlights the creepy files he's collected on her, and then he deletes them all. He has her number now, a real connection. He's moving on to the next phase of his plan. His eyes gleam with a chilling intensity. His goal? To prevent Xiaofan, our silver-haired hero's real identity, from ever connecting with Linge in the game. And there on his desk is a photo of him and Xiaofan, revealing their friends. The betrayal. Meanwhile, Xiaofan is at his own desk when his pink-haired roommate asks him to go for hot pot. Xiaofan declines, saying he has to work on his thesis. His friend pushes. The system will take care of your character. If you don't go through the relationship yourself, how can there be long-lasting memories? He shivers dramatically. Aish, so disgusting. Are you really in an online relationship? Xiaofan just smiles, a dreamy look on his face. Even though this is just a game, he says softly, my experience in it is very authentic. He pictures his beloved Linge, beautiful and serene, under the cherry blossoms. She's pure, kind, prudent, and determined, he muses. But his friend isn't buying it. I think she's stupid, rather. He snaps, calling her out for being fooled. The friend absolutely explodes. How dare you insult your friend who has slept with you for 4 years because of a gaming partner you don't even know in person? Xiaofan immediately apologizes, admitting he's wrong. His friend storms off, fuming that only hot pot can calm his wounded soul. Xiaofan casually asks him to bring some food back. The friend flips him the bird. Get lost, I hope you're Linger. Gets snatched away by another beefy man. But Xiaofan is the picture of cool confidence. He just smiles. I won't let that kind of thing happen. Later that night, Linge is walking with her friend Rui, who's still complaining about only getting a snack for reserving a seat. Linge mercilessly teases her, saying she has to eat the sugar-coated hawthorn for a week. Rui wails, terrified of getting fat. But then Rui's tone shifts, her face turning serious. She grills Linge about her online relationship drama, asking if she was scammed or hurt. Linge tears up, assuring her it was neither. Rui breathes a sigh of relief. But that relief instantly turns to demonic rage. The way I say, Gret, she roars. He actually dared to say that I'm a liar. I merely got rid of the blemishes on my face so that my original beauty could be seen. Linge quickly tries to calm her down. Rui changes the subject, asking about the handsome guy she left the study room with. Oh, him, Linge says. He's Jiangkai, a senior who already graduated. Rui's eyes light up with a mischievous plan. Why, you're interested? She coos. The best way to forget a relationship is to start a new one. And just like that, she sent Jiangkai's number to Linge's phone. Linge is so touched, but at that exact moment, back in his office, Jiangkai lets out a massive sneeze, spraying his everywhere. My pants are wet. A voice cuts through the darkness, calling out a name. Our boy Qi Ning snaps, his eyes open, startled from his slumber. Huh? He asks, dazed and confused. He sees his beloved Yang Wei sitting up in bed, looking absolutely wrecked. Rushing to his side, Qi Ning asks, why do you look so haggard? Yang Wei just smiles weakly, saying he's fine as long as Qi Ning is awake. Qi Ning tries to soothe him, promising he's found a cure and that everything will be okay. Yang Wei's eyes light up with hope. Really? He whispers, asking for a hug because he feels so cold. Of course, our man agrees with a gentle smile. He pulls Yang Wei into a warm embrace. Yang Wei sighs in contentment and drifts back to sleep, and Qi Ning promises to stay right there. He watches over his love, a silent guardian in the dim light, but then the dream shatters. Qi Ning wakes with a start, a single tear tracing upon his cheek as he realizes it was all a memory. He's not in a cozy room, but in a dark cave with a giant, terrifying snake. It was all just a dream. The massive serpent hisses. You're still here? You didn't go hunting? Qi Ning looks down, his heart aching. I dreamed of Yang Wei, he confesses to his scaly companion. The pain in his eyes is heart-wrenching. He admits he can't even remember what Yang Wei looked like anymore. Everyone his brother, his friends. And that's why he absolutely cannot lose Han Linger. His gaze hardens with savage determination. I brought her up all by myself, he declares. She belongs to me. But a new, condescending voice echoes in the cave. Too bad you don't even know where she is. And who should appear but the smug Emperor Changling himself? He strolls in like he owns the place, taunting Kai Ning. Talking alone won't help you, he smirks, standing before the massive serpent without a hint of fear. The Emperor reveals his massive snake is no match for his intel network. He offers to tell Qi Ning exactly where Han Linger is. Qi Ning is immediately suspicious. You wanted her at all costs before. Why help me now? The Emperor gives a chilling reply, saying that seeing Lord Ji's death has changed his perspective. Qi Ning demands to know how he can trust him. The Emperor reveals his proof. He had his own martial alliance wiped out, making him a sworn enemy of Han and Ji. The snake can't help but think, what a wicked man. Later, the Emperor's aide questions his decision to help a lowlife vermin. The Emperor's is a twisted question. How would you feel if someone you loathe stole the woman you love? His aide answers, rage or hopelessness. The Emperor's face twists into a cruel grin. Exactly, I want Ji Xiaofan to feel hopeless towards this game. We see a flashback of our actual hero, Xiaofan, with Han Linger. The Emperor sneers that to Xiaofan, she's just a love crush in a game. But to me, he sees, Han Linger is the girl I hold dearly in my heart. His face is a mask of pure, possessive obsession. He's not giving up on her that easily. Back in the flashback, Xiaofan holds Linger's hand gently. He knows their journey has been hard, and it won't be easy to break them apart. Linger's eyes fill with tears of regret. She wishes she hadn't left him alone, wishes she'd confessed her feelings so much sooner. Xiaofan pulls her into a comforting embrace. He tells her they can start over and make up for all their regrets. Once her revenge is complete, they can finally live the life they've always wanted. He makes a solemn vow. Ling worry. I'll take revenge on your behalf. You don't have to dirty your hands with blood. But our girl shakes her head, her eyes burning with a fire of their own. She insists she must kill her enemies with her own hands to appease her parents' souls. It's the only way she can untangle the knot in her heart and start anew. Xiaofan looks at her, his heart breaking but understanding. He hesitates for a moment. Then he makes a decision. I will help you find the Taoist priest. Tie him up and put him at your disposal. Meanwhile, back in the present, Qi Ning is trekking through a dark forest. His giant snake pops up with a friendly greeting. But then the snake lets out a massive, foul-smelling burp. Qi Ning recoils in disgust, so smelly. You swallowed an entire village's worth of humans again, didn't you? He tells his pet to get a move on, because Han Linger is still looking for him. But suddenly, he senses they're not alone. A group of soldiers appears from the shadows, announcing they're under orders from Emperor Chang Ling. The snake is surprised the Emperor is paying attention to them. Qi Ning, ever the strategist, casually offers the snake some food. The lead soldier asks if Qi Ning is plotting something. Qi Ning plays along, spinning a tale that the Emperor now values his abilities more than Han Linger's. So, he wants me on his side now. Qi Ning asks with a knowing smirk. The soldier confirms it, but Qi Ning immediately calls his bluff. He lays out the facts with icy precision. If he wanted Linger on his side, why would he kill the Forsex? He was clearly helping her get her revenge. Qi Ning's eyes flash with a terrifying light. He's figured it all out. He wants to keep Han Linger for his own. He laughs, a cold, chilling sound. He wants to use me as a weapon against Ji, then get rid of me and claim his prize. How dare he? The soldier freezes, his mind reeling. Damn, his speculations are all correct. His eyes narrow with murderous intent. Since he's of no use to us. Get rid of this obstacle, kill him. He just scoffs, you're looking for your own deaths. On his command, the giant snake lets out a deafening roar and lunges. The soldiers are sent flying like rag dolls. Swords are useless against its thick hide. One by one, they are thrashed and thrown aside. The beast is a whirlwind of destruction, slamming its body into the soldiers with brutal force. The master of the squad is sent flying, coughing up blood. With the soldiers utterly defeated, Qi Ning calls off his pet. He issues a final, chilling warning. Go back and tell Emperor Chang Ling not to make me his enemy. His voice drops to a venomous whisper. But if he dares to fight over my man with me, an aura of pure darkness erupts around him. I'll cleanse his entire mansion, down to the chickens and dogs. The terrified soldier stammers that his majesty won't let him go. Qi Ning just smirks. I'm waiting for him. He and his snake then depart, deciding to let the brats get to Linger first. Elsewhere, a magical projection of the Emperor watches, impressed. Smart but despicable, an interesting opponent. The image dissipates. The real emperor sits in his palace. A general reports a sweeping victory, presenting their captives. A man is forced to his knees, struggling fiercely. He's identified as Agent Yang, a trusted aide to Xiaofan's master. The emperor gives a simple command. Keep him. As for the others, kill all of them. Yang screams in horror and rage, questioning the emperor's senseless massacre. The emperor smiles coldly. As long as I have your lord, their deaths are meaningless. As Yang is dragged away, cursing the Emperor's name, the true diabolical plan is set in motion. The Emperor orders news of the attack to be spread far and wide. His goal is simple, yet utterly evil. If Xiaofan doesn't come to save his most trusted man, he will become the laughingstock of the entire world. The trap has been set. A voice cuts through the darkness, calling out a name. Qi Ning. Our mysterious white-haired boy snaps to attention, confused. He's at the bedside of a frail woman. Yang Wei, you're finally awake, he says, as his voice thick with relief. She touches his face, her own etched with worry for him. I'm fine as long as you wake up, she whispers. He gently pushes her hand away, trying to sound strong. Don't be scared, I already found the cure. She trembles, her voice barely a whisper. Kinning, I'm cold. Hug me, please? A soft, pained smile crosses his lips. Sure, sure. He pulls her into a desperate embrace, and she sighs, melting into his warmth. He vows to stay by her side, to never leave again. She agrees to go back to sleep. But as he watches her, his eyes snap open. He's somewhere else entirely, a single tear escaping his eye. It was all a heart-wrenching dream. He's sitting by a campfire with a colossal red-eyed snake. He turns to his terrifying companion. You're still here? You didn't go hunting? He looks into the fire, his voice hollow. Do you know? I dreamed of Yang Wei, but the memory is already a ghost. I actually can't remember what she looked like. The pain of his past crashes over him like a tidal wave. Everyone he ever loved is gone, and he is utterly alone. He grits his teeth. So I can't let Han Linger leave me as well. I brought her up all by myself. She belongs to me. He declares to the empty cave, but a silky, mocking voice answers him from the shadows. Too bad, you don't even know where she is. It's a smug-looking woman, flanked by guards, and she's brought a guest, Emperor Chang Ling. The Emperor tells our hooded anti-hero that talking to his pet snake won't help him find our girl. The Emperor looms over him, making a shocking offer. The reason I'm here today is to tell you Han Linger's whereabouts personally. The hooded man is suspicious. Why would the Emperor help him now? The Emperor's smile is pure poison. He just wants to watch the tragedy unfold when death parts Lord Ji and his love. The Emperor demands a guarantee, but the hooded man just smirks, revealing he had the martial alliance wiped out to make Ji and Han his enemies. The Emperor tastes geese at his sheer wickedness. Later, the Emperor's own subordinate is confused, asking why he would team up with such a low-lowman master. The Emperor just poses a chilling question in return. Rage or hopelessness? His man guesses. The Emperor's eyes gleam with a terrifying light. Exactly. I want Ji Xiaofan to hopeless towards this game. He scoffs at our hero's feelings, calling his love for Han Linger a mere love crush in a game, a fleeting childish fantasy. But to me, he seethes with obsession. Han Linger is the girl I hold dearly in my heart. A dark, possessive aura explodes around him. I don't want to give up so easily, and just like that, we're ripped out of the game and into reality. Inside a tech company office, the developers have a problem. Cheaters. The boss takes a long drag from his cigarette, his expression grim. We just released this game, he growls. We can't let cheating at the user. He slams his fist on the desk. It's time to declare war on players with cheating plugins. One of his programmers, Mouth Food, confirms their new anti-cheat system is ready to go. The team gets ready to launch their secret weapon. They've named this glorious system Pure Love Guardians. Yes, you heard that right. And they strike a pose to celebrate. The boss is not amused. Too silly, he deadpans. But his quirky team insists the name is filled with love from head to toe. That's completely incompatible with our external appearance. One of them whines. The boss ignores them, his focus absolute. He stares into the code, a menacing glint in his eye. Tremble in fear, players using cheating plugins, he declares. Feel the resentment from the official producers. The system goes live. A final, chilling message appears. Your happy lives have come to an end. A massive beam of light slams into the game world. From the smoke and debris, a new figure emerges. An inspection agent, he pulls up a holographic screen, revealing a map and a list of players using cheats. And who's at the very top of that list? Our boy Ji Xiaofan. His player data is exposed, right to a marriage index of 5%. Meanwhile, our completely oblivious hero is trying to protect his girl, telling her it's too dangerous to continue on with him. But our heroine just gives him a radiant smile, reminding him of their promise to face every danger together. As they ride, Ji Xiaofan glares at the annoying brat tagging along. Why must we take this brat with us? The purple-haired kiddo explodes. Do you think I want to go? It's because you still owe me reward money. He gets even more frantic, shouting that he'll follow them anywhere to get his money, even if it means turning Han Linger over to the government. Ji Xiaofan furiously tells him to shut his mouth. Through all this chaos, Han Linger just laughs, calling the bickering boys a pair of clowns. The brat points out that her focus might be a little off, considering the circumstances. Ji Xiaofan finally relents, but gives a stern warning. If the kid dares to target Linger, he won't be spared. This, of course, just starts another argument, and our poor girl can only sigh as they squabble. And so, the world's most chaotic trio rides off into the distance. Suddenly, a voice says in the void, Qi Ning! The white-haired man finds himself back in that sorrowful room. Yang Wei, you're finally awake. She reaches for him, asking why he looks so haggard. He brushes it off, saying he's fine. He promises her that he's found a cure and she'll be well soon. She shivers, her voice weak. Kinning, I'm cold. Hug me, please. His heart aches, but he smiles gently. Sure, sure. He holds her close as she basks in his warmth. He vows to stay by her side, always. She agrees to rest, finding peace in his arms. But the dream shatters again. He's back by the cold fire, the illusion gone. So it's just a dream, he whispers to his massive snake companion. He confesses to the beast. Do you know? I dreamed of Yangwei. But the memory is a cruel mirage. I actually can't remember what she looked like. The crushing weight of his past losses returns. He cannot lose anyone else. So I can't let Han Linger leave me as well. I brought her up all by myself. She belongs to me. He roars into the darkness, and once again that same mocking voice replies, "Too bad, you don't even know where she is." The Empress appears, her smile dripping with condescension, and with her, Emperor Changling approaches the hooded figure and his serpent, ready to make his dark proposal. He tells him where our girl is, a gift with venomous strings attached. The hooded man is wary, but the Emperor's motive is simple and cruel. He wants to watch Ji Shaofan suffer. The Emperor demands loyalty, but the hooded man assures him their goals are aligned, having already made himself an enemy of our heroes. The Emperor can only tease Kai at his wicked heart. On the ride back, the Emperor's subordinate questions the alliance, and the Emperor reveals his true game. He wants to inflict pure, undiluted hopelessness upon Ji Shaofan. He sees our hero's love as nothing more than a childish crush in a video game. But to me, the Emperor's thoughts twist with a dangerous obsession. Han Linger is the girl I hold dearly in my heart. A sinister red aura envelops him as he makes a silent, terrifying vow. I don't want to give up so easily. Here we go. Our girl playfully teases Xiaofan, who's managed to spill his drink like a total kid. He just laughs it off, telling her she's being overbearing, and the whole scene is just too cute. But their little moment is rudely interrupted by our favorite grumpy swordsman, who calls them shameless for flirting in public. Our heroine, completely unbothered, offers him a drink, but he just snaps back he's not thirsty. Someone is clearly having a bay. She turns to Xiaofan, wondering why the swordsman is so cranky. Xiaofan just shrugs it off, telling her not to worry about the erratic guy. He suggests they find a place to rest for the night. He reaches for her hand, and she agrees with a smile. But their sweet moment is shattered in an instant. Swos! A blade slices through the air, and blood splatters everywhere. The swordsman's eyes go wide with shock. Our girl freezes, her face a mask of pure terror. She screams out Xiaofan's name as the blood rains down. A shadowy figure appears from the trees, a masked assassin with a sword drawn. Xiaofan clutches his bleeding hands, but grits his teeth. He's fine. He's already analyzing the attack, realizing the sword was too fast for him to react. His eyes narrow with a terrifying glint. Was this person sent by Emperor Changling? A system window pops up, identifying player Ji Xiaofan and approving combat protocol. The fight is on. Xiaofan screams at Linger to run and find shelter, before launching himself at the attacker. He moves like a blur of white silk and righteous fury. Their blades meet in a chaotic clash of steel. The assassin is fast, but Xiaofan matches him blow for blow. But then, the assassin finds an opening. He dodges a strike and thrusts his own blade forward. Xiaofan coughs. As the blade sinks deep into his side, blood blossoms on his white robes, and he stumbles back, clutching the wound. The assassin smirks behind his mask, thinking it's all over. Xiaofan can't believe it, blood dripping from his lips as he collapses to the ground. But this ain't over. Our girl, seeing her man go down, grabs the nearest rock, and with a furious roar, she charges the assassin. But her brave attack is cut short. The assassin casually backhands her with a sickening punch, sending her flying. She hits the ground hard, blood trickling from her mouth. A system message flashes normal player. Assassination not permitted. The assassin pauses, clearly not expecting that. He turns his attention back to Xiaofan, his sword dripping with blood. But just as he's about to strike the final blow, a golden blur intercepts him. Stop there right now! It's the swordsman, blocking the attack with a massive bench. He glares at the assassin and yells, "Don't even think of putting your hands on my purse." The system identifies him as another normal player who can't be killed. The assassin seems unimpressed, grabbing the swordsman by his collar and just yeeting him into the sky with a wild scream. But seeing Linger hurt has flipped a switch in Xiaofan. A terrifying aura explodes around him. "How dare you hurt Linger?" he roars, his eyes glowing with pure, unadulterated rage. "You're looking for death." Orbs of golden light erupt from his body, slamming into the assassin. He calls out for his legendary blade, Xuanqian. The celestial sword materializes from thin air, and he grips its hilt. With a mighty crack, he shatters the assassin's chainsword, sending the masked man stumbling backward. The fight has just reached a whole new level. Linger watches, her eyes wide with a mix of awe, whispering his name. But in the chaos, a piece of the shattered blade flies through the air and slices deep into Xiaofan's chest. He cries out her name as he collapses into her arms. She holds him, her voice trembling. "How can it be? Why are you hurt so badly?" He gently touches her face, telling her he's fine and that she needs to run away. He pushes her away, insisting he can't concentrate with her there. With a final, desperate roar, he screams, "Go!" Tears stream down her face as she calls him a rascal. But the assassin isn't finished. He slams his hand on the ground with a massive jichadia, and from the earth rises a monstrous creature with glowing red eyes and terrifying fangs. It's a gigantic snake mimon. The beast smashes the ground, the shockwave sending Xiaofan flying. Linger rushes to his side as he coughs in a cloud of dust. He insists he's fine. But one look at the colossal monster looming over them tells a different story. The snake's red eyes glare down at them. Linger asks what the horrifying thing is, and Xiaofan speculates it's a snake vermin, possibly from that Taoist priest. Just then, a chilling voice echoes through the clearing. "I'm here." A new figure emerges from the shadows. A man with white hair and sinister markings on his face, a cruel smirk playing on his lips. Xiaofan's face contorts with rage. "You bastard." We were just thinking about getting to you. We didn't expect you to turn yourself in." The newcomer just chuckles, mocking Xiaofan's current state. He then turns his predatory gaze to Linger, making her tremble. He seems utterly shocked to see her. Xiaofan, clutching his bleeding chest, looks her with heartbreaking despair. "Linger, do you really hate me so much?" Meanwhile, a system window reveals a shocking truth about the assassin. It's not a player, not us. It's the pet of a normal player, and cannot be killed. The snake just sits there, waiting for its master's command. Here we go again. Our story back onto the scene with a sudden crack. A mysterious purple-haired man has just made his entrance. Looking down at his handiwork, he smirks, muttering about the vulnerable butt of Mr. Swordsman, but his confidence quickly shatters. He starts panicking, wondering where the new threat came from. His biggest concern? If his allies are dead, then so is his paycheck. With his priorities straight, he clutches his sword behind and makes a run for it. Elsewhere, the real drama is unfolding. Our villain, Wei Yuan, taunts the wounded hero Ji Yunshu. With a smug look in his eyes, he turns his attention to our girl. And she is absolutely livid. The air around her crackles with pure, unadulterated rage. Wei Yuan is genuinely taken aback by her fury, stammering, His surprise quickly turns to anger. "Ling Er, do you really hate me so much?" he demands, while she clenches her fist, remembering it's all his fault. Suddenly he yanks her into his grasp, and she cries out in shock. She struggles fiercely, screaming, "You bastard! Kill me if you're capable!" But he just tries to placate her, his voice deceptively soft. He whispers that he just wants things to be like they were in the past, but our girl looks at him with utter contempt. Her eyes practically burn as she spits. "If I knew your true colors then, I'd definitely turn you into ashes." Her savage words leave him speechless. At that moment, a colossal snake tail whips through the air, slamming into the injured Ji Yunshu with a massive boom. Linger screams his name in horror. A third man appears, beside Snake, sneering at the fallen hero. Wei Yuan holds our girl tight, trying to play the protector. He pulls her chin, whispering promises of happiness if she'll just follow him. But Linger's gaze is icy. "What exactly do you treat me as?" she asks. She stares him down, her expression unreadable. He tries to smile, laying it on thick. "Of course, you're the person closest to my heart," he lies. She scoffs at his pathetic attempt. "Closest to my heart?" she repeats, her voice with venom. She lays out his sins, turning her into a cursed being, forcing her to kill her loved ones, and using her to control a whole village. She closes her pain, then snaps them open with a heart-wrenching realization. "Taoist priest, from the beginning to the end, I was only a pet to you." He literally stunned by her words, stammering. That's not. She smacks him clean across the face. "Shut up," she roars, calling him a two-faced monster with the heart of a beast. With an accusatory finger, she declares, "I won't ever trust you again." That's when he finally snaps. "Duff," he bellows, grabbing her by the throat. He's having a full-blown meltdown, screaming that he's never stooped so low in his life. He traveled thousands of miles for her, and he can't understand it. "Why would you do this to me?" His face darkens with a chilling promise. "Shall be enemies forever," he vows, his grip tightening. But he's not going to kill her. Oh no, his plan is far more twisted. He wants her to open her eyes and watch him torture the man she loves to death. But just then, a voice calls out, "Taoist priest, let him go." A giant black snake slithers into view behind the fallen hero. Wei Yuan holds Linger as she desperately screams for Xiaofan to run. The snake master sighs, muttering about his bad luck. The snake itself seems to complain that being the lord of the martial arts circle is pretty useless. But Xiaofan is not done yet. A brilliant blue aura explodes around him. "Do you think you have the chance to make me go offline and repeat everything again?" he asks, gathering his power. He unleashes his final, desperate attack. Heaven's word. A bolt of pure lightning crashes down, striking the massive snake and sending a shockwave into the sky. Wei Yuan and Linger can only watch the blinding light. Linger fights to break free, screaming, "Let go of me." Wei Yuan tries to hold her back, insisting that Xiaofan will be fine. But when the smoke clears, her worst fears are realized. She sees Xiao Fan's broken body on the ground and runs to him. She cradles him, tears streaming down her face as she begs him not to leave her. He weakly opens his eyes, blood trickling from his lips. "You're awake," she sobs, and he manages a faint smile. But the Snake Master is still standing, impressed that Xiao Fan managed to take down his beast. Our girl becomes a protective lioness, Xiao Fan, and telling the villain to get lost. Wei Yuan just cackles maniacally, while Xiao Fan knows this guy has no morals. Wei Yuan decides to end this now. "Let me send him to death first," he yells, unleashing a wave of chaotic dark energy. The purple death magic surges towards them. Without a second thought, Linger throws her body in front of Xiao Fan, shielding him from the blast. Wei Yuan mocks her futile effort, reminding her that while she has the golden silkworm's protection, Xiao has nothing. Her beloved whispers that he's getting sleepy, and she begs him to stay awake as his eyes floodosed. She glares at Wei Yuan, then back at Xiao Fan, trying to keep him conscious. But it's no use. He's gone limp in her arms. In a last-ditch effort, she calls out for the golden silkworm. The tiny magical creature appears, looking sleepy. She pulls the little worm out, pleading for its help, but the worm is not having it. "Let go of me first," it grumbles. It sprouts wings and flies away, snapping, "Stop dreaming. I won't help you." It clarifies that its only job was to control her poison, not to be her servant. Fine, she thinks. "Then I don't need you anymore," she says, demanding her lethal poisons back to try and save him herself. The worm just scoffs. Her eyes narrow with grim determination. "Stupid worm, since it's like this, don't blame me anymore." A powerful light envelops her as she recalls a dark secret she learned in the cursed village, that the vermin can be incorporated into its master's body. What is she about to do? The golden silkworm panics, sensing something is terribly wrong. Hey, what are you going to do?" it shrieks. But our girl, Han Linger, her eyes glowing with a chilling resolve, makes a vow. "I won't let Xiao Fan leave me ever again. Since we can't live together," she whispers, her decision made, "then we shall die together." In her memory, she sees his peaceful face, a single drop of blood on his lip. She remembers him lying dead in a field of white flowers as she called out his name in despair. In that moment of heart-wrenching grief, she had grabbed a sharpened stake, ready to end it all. The Taoist priest screamed her name, his face a mask of horror. But he was trapped, helpless inside a cage of dark energy, letting out a desperate scream. A blinding light erupts from her, engulfing everything in its glow. The Taoist priest shields his eyes from the blast. He looks down at his hand in shock. It's gone. He knows instantly it must have been the golden silkworm's power. The world shifts to a peaceful, sun-drenched forest where Linger cradles a revived Xiao Fan in her arms. He slowly opens his eyes, murmuring her name. She gives him a gentle, loving smile. "Now can you wake up?" He's bewildered, asking why she's turned into a fairy. She explains it's the silkworm's power, healing him from the poison, but the furious Taoist priest can only watch and seethe. "I haven't lost yet," he snarls, drawing his sword. He lunges forward, consumed by a jealous rage. "Hanling, ear is mine," he screams. He unleashes a savage attack, but is suddenly cut down, screaming in pain. Linger stares, completely stunned. A mysterious swordsman with purple hair stands before them, his blade dripping with blood. He looks down at the crumpled priest. Where did this guy come from? He wonders aloud. The priest coughs, collapsing into the grass, but he struggles to rise, insisting he hasn't lost. A foot suddenly slams down on his sword, pinning him. It's Linger, her expression colder than ice. "Does it hurt, Taoist priest?" she asks. He manages a defiant smirk. "No, it doesn't hurt." Her eyes darken with a terrifying light. "Is that so?" "Then let me help you," she whispers, her voice dripping with venom. Her eyes erupt in a blaze of red fury. A blood red explodes around her as she screams. "Do you feel the pain?" She channels all of her parents, the innocent villagers, and her own suffering into one devastating force. She stands over him, a goddess of vengeance. Xiao Fan can only watch from a distance. As she raises her sword for the final, merciful blow. Her duty done, she whispers to the sky, "Father, your daughter has finally taken revenge for you," before collapsing to the ground. Later, by a stream, a new resolve forms. She tells the swordsman that with Xiao Fan wounded, she must go in his place to save his closest confidante, left Agent Yang. The swordsman is skeptical that the Emperor will listen, but Linger doesn't know what else to do. She tenderly wipes Xiao Fan's face. "But for him and our future," she says, her gaze hardening. "It's worth it to give it a try." She asks the swordsman to take care of him and rides off alone. Back in their room, the swordsman carefully feeds the weakened Xiao Fan his medicine. Meanwhile, Linger gallops towards her destination. This time, "I won't let myself get hurt ever again." But as the sun sets, A feeling of dread hangs in the air. A bloody hand reaches out from behind a stone wall, a dark omen of what's to come. Inside the palace, the emperor is informed of Linger's victory. The messenger adds that her foe had been previously wounded by a black-hooded man. The emperor realizes it was Xiaofan. Just then, another servant announces that Han Linger herself is at the gate. A cruel smile spreads across his face. What? She's here. Linger stands waiting in the courtyard. She states her purpose directly to the emperor. She wants him to release left agent Yang. The emperor smirks, revealing it was a trap all along as guards drag out the chained agent. Yang is horrified to see her. "Madam, why are you here?" he cries. He screams for her to leave, calling the emperor a vicious swindler. But Linger stands her ground, facing the tyrant. "What conditions do you have? Feel free to say." The emperor leans in close, accusing her of having grand ambitions to rule the underground. He then reveals his true, sadistic nature, his eyes glowing red. "Right now, I just want you to experience the feelings of life and death with Xiaofan." With a savage grin, he grabs left agent Yang by the head and crushes him in a spray of blood. Linger can only watch in horror, screaming, "How dare you!" The emperor holds the dying man. "Since you turned yourself in," he sneers, "there's no need to leave this person here." A guard tries to intervene, but it's too late. Linger's face becomes mask of pure, unadulterated rage. "Scumbag," she seethes. She lunges forward, sword in hand, flying through the air as she screams, "Let me kill you." But the emperor stops her blade with just 2 fingers, the force of the impact echoing with a loud boom. He tells her he once wanted a relationship with her, but now there's no need. He grabs her by the throat. With a sickening crack, her world goes dark. Red petals fall like tears onto the cold stone floor, and her hand falls, limp. Miles away, Xiaofan sleeps restlessly. The swordsman tries to give him medicine, but Xiaofan jolts awake with a blood-curdling scream. Ling Er. He clutches his chest, gasping that it hurts terribly. He realizes she went to the martial arts circle and demands to know why the swordsman didn't stop her. The swordsman scoffs, saying it was impossible, but Xiaofan is already get up, desperate to find her. The swordsman tries to stop him, then tries to bribe him, but nothing works. They're awk in a tense standoff. Finally, the swordsman relents, grabbing Xiaofan. "Han Linger is in such danger. We must hurry." In a flashback, we see the emperor's true plan. He tells a subordinate that what he's doing is cruel, but it's for Xiaofan's own good. Rain begins to fall, floating on the dark water. Xiaofan arrives just as the storm breaks, only to find the most soul-shattering sight imaginable. Linger's lifeless body hanging from a tree. The emperor's final, chilling words echo in his mind. "Only by breaking his heart can I persuade him to completely give up on playing this game." Here is the story of our hero and heroine, and the absolute psycho who stands between them. A silent statue sits in a beam of light, a memory of a time before the chaos. In the present, our boy's friend is absolutely raging. He roars that the emperor is lower than a pig for what he did. He promises to help get revenge for the fallen Miss Han. But our hero, Xiaofan, can only gaze down at the woman cradled in his arms. He tells his friend to stay behind and look after Linger, giving a grim warning. If he's not back by dusk tomorrow, he's to bury Xiaofan's clothes right alongside her. His friend is horrified. "Aren't you just seeking death like this?" he asks, but Xiaofan's gaze is like ice. "No," he says. "This is only a point of restart." And so we cut Serene Mountain Palace. The emperor is calmly sipping some tea, looking way too pleased with himself. He smugly asks his guest, "Even this beautiful view can't relieve your anxieties?" But Xiaofan isn't here for the scenery. His voice is chilling as he declares, "Only your death can bring me peace." The guards immediately snap to attention, shouting, "Everyone go!" They charge forward in a blur of motion. Xiaofan looks completely bored. "So noisy," he mutters, as blood splatters and he summons a storm of spiritual swords. "It's your turn now." The emperor, the absolute menace, just casually takes a sip of wine, impressed by the show. Xiaofan launches himself directly at the emperor, whispering in a Pafafen, "Wait, that's his own name. Is he apologizing to himself for what he's about to do?" Their powers collide in a massive, chaotic blast. Xiaofan gets hit, coughing up blood. The emperor just smirks, saying this is good for both of them. Suddenly, a new player enters the game, a masked figure with chains and swords. The emperor cackles like a maniac. "Your online relationship is over." Meanwhile, back at the hideout, a dog starts barking. The purple-haired friend smirks, thinking Jiyunchu is back. But his expression when he spots something possible. How can there be a golden egg? The woman in his care, Ling Er, suddenly jolts awake, shouting, "Wait!" Her eyes are wide as she stares at the glowing object. She recognizes it instantly, the golden silkworm. Back at the fight, the emperor is sweating. That was so close. He pants as the masked figure descends. He calls it the official plugin prevention program. This is a game world. The admin attacks, but the emperor dodges. "But you're not flawless either," he taunts. Xiaofan is floored. This guy really is the king of loopholes. The admin turns its indiscriminate attack on him. But the Emperor just laughs, inviting the program to try out a decode he wrote just for it. He literally starts typing on a virtual keyboard in midair. This dude is a hacker. With a savage grin, he proposes a little bet on who will die. The admin's body starts to glitch and pixelate, breaking apart under the Emperor's malicious code. Looks like I've won, the Emperor boasts, but a flash of blue energy zips right past him. He snaps. This brat Xiaofan is Soen. Xiaofan's eyes are blazing with fury. Even if I can't kill you today, he vows, I'll tear a piece of flesh from you in memory of Linger. The Emperor is too lazy to talk to him. But Xiaofan begins to glow, surrounded by a whirlwind of data. He's turning into ashes. But wait, he's not alone. Everyone freezes. Linger? The Emperor is in utter disbelief. Han Linger is not dead yet. Our boy just gives a serene, heartbreaking smile. And from the light, Linger appears, running toward him. He reaches out a hand to her. She reaches back, her voice filled with love as she cries his name, Xiaofan. They meet in a beautiful, ethereal plane. Fan, she whispers. I'm here, he replies softly. He pulls her close, promising that no one will ever hurt her again. But he admits his own terror, the fear of losing her a second time. She trembles, confessing she's scared of living by herself. He gently kisses her forehead, promising that any separation will only be a temporary goodbye. I'll definitely come back to your side once again, he vows, and they share a tender kiss. He tells her not to be sad. He asks her to wait for him with a smile, but her face contorts in agony as she screams, "Why?" Vicious's dark tendrils erupt around her, tearing through her. The Emperor is stunned. She has regained her powers. The same dark energy lashes out, wrapping around him. He screams in pain as the power rips into his very being. He can't believe it. His own invincible plug-in is actually hurting him. He realizes with horror that her power is now strong enough to overwrite his data. He's thrown to the ground, spitting blood and screaming her name. Our girl stands over the pathetic, bleeding Emperor. He asks if she has any last words. He just laughs weakly. I'm mesmerized by how assertive you are. He tries to play the victim card. We didn't need to come to end like this, he whines. He even has the audacity to claim, I did this all for you. He gives a truly creepy, shadowed grin, but she's not buying it for a second. You don't understand anything, she snaps. Her reality, her authenticity, only exists because of Xiaofan's presence. She tells the Emperor that Xiaofan is the one who deserves that nostalgia, not her. Her eyes well up with tears as she remembers his parting words. Live on with conviction, and wait for his return with a smile. Welcome back, my little recap nuggets, to another wild ride. In a sleek, modern office, a man with silver hair sits across from our new protagonist, Ji Xiaofan. The interviewer reads his proposal, a smirk playing on his lips. I've read your proposal, he begins, his tone laced with suspicion. You have a lot of opinions on the game 3000 Worlds, but you're a postgraduate in public policy. He points out, his eyes narrowing. Why would you suddenly want to join the gaming industry? Ji Xiaofan launches into a ridiculously passionate speech about experiencing other lives. The director isn't out buying this cringe fest for a second. He slams the papers down, snapping, your reasons are too foolish. I'm giving you another chance to answer. Our boy flinches, finally cracks. Fine, he admits with a sigh. It's because my account was disabled since I used plugins when playing the game. So I want to join the team, he declares, a fire in his eyes. Get an internal account and bring an end to my unfinished love. The director leans back, a slow, approving smile spreading across his face. Teamwork is the basis of teamwork, he says cryptically. We welcome you to join us. Ji Xiaofan is over the moon, thanking the director profusely. He thinks to himself, Linger will be able to meet each other very soon. And just like that, we're back in the game world. A mysterious woman in a conical hat stands under the autumn leaves. A man with vibrant purple hair runs up, cheerfully calling out to Miss Han. He's waving a big bag of reward money. All thanks to you, we had an easy win, he exclaims. Our girl, Hunlinger, gives a small, satisfied smile. He insists they go celebrate, but she's wary. I'm a wanted criminal, she reminds him. He just laughs it off, telling her not to be so scared. He points towards a lavishly lit building, promising it'll be amazing. Linger just stares, a feeling of unease washing over her. The place is an absolute madhouse. A massive crowd of women is screaming at the top of their lungs. They're all fighting with each other, shouting things like, he's mine. Ling Er is bewildered. Why are the customers all female? She wonders, just as a stunning figure appears on stage. It's the prime beau of Jade Unicorn Tower, Fan Kongsing. Our girl is completely captivated. This pen is so pretty, she whispers as he glides across the stage. The crowd absolutely feral, screaming his name as he elegantly pours a drink from a small cup. The announcer's voice booms through the hall. The person with the highest bid can spend an awesome night with Qiangsing. Her companion's jaw hits the floor. Oh my god, he gasps in horror. So it's a gigolo club. The bidding war immediately turns into a chaotic brawl. One of the women shoves Ling Er, calling her an ugly thing. Her friend Kui pulls her back, insisting they need to get out of this perilous place. But on stage, Qiangsing just watches the chaos with a sultry, knowing smirk. The crowd instantly hushes as he raises a hand to speak. He announces he has a special request tonight. I want to follow my heart, he says, his voice like silk, and choose a patron personally to have a talk with me in my room. The room erupts again, every woman screaming for him to choose them. But his eyes are fixed and his finger points directly past the crowd. The woman dressed in black at the door. A bolt of lightning seems to strike her friend as they both realize he's pointing straight at Linger. She can only let out a confused eh? Now in a private room, the silence is deafening. Kiangsing finally speaks. Could it be that you don't like me? Linger doesn't miss a beat. That's right, she says bluntly. Anyway, I didn't want to come. She explains that his crazy fans were about to tear her apart, and her life was at stake. He leans in, his voice a low purr as he cups her face. In that case, miss, you should be happy instead. Out of so many people, I only love lap. She smacks his hand away from the table. Don't touch me, she snaps. He just leans closer, a challenging glint in his eyes. If you get touchy again, what would you do? How you're gonna punish? She threatens, but he cuts her off. I'd let you, he whispers, his robe falling open to reveal his chest. He leans in, his breath hot against her ear. Even if me dead, miss, I'm also willing to die under your skirt. A blush creeps up her neck, and she finally loses it. Get away, she shouts, shoving him back with a burst of power. He stumbles back, clutching his chest and coughing up blood. Ouch, he whimpers. Damn, he gasps, sitting on the bed. You forced me to unleash my killing intent. Before she can react, he touches her forehead. She feels a strange sensation, crying out as her vision goes black. I went offline again. But when her vision returns, she's still in the room, and he's staring at her in confusion. What bullshit are you talking about? He asks. She realizes with a shock. He's still here. That means he's alive. He composes himself, admitting his behavior was frivolous. Even though you're impolite, he says, I can't possibly take away your life for real. She gives him one final icy warning. If you dare to cross the line again, I won't let you off easily. He looks genuinely hurt. I have the pretty face of a flower and my heart is as warm as a hot spring, he sighs. He wonders if she would have fallen for him if she hadn't already met him. Linger looks away, a sad expression on her face. It's not that you're not good enough. She looks back at him, her eyes filled with a deep sorrow. It's only because I can't keep another person in my heart. Kiangsing is stunned into silence. But someone else was listening, and they are not happy. I want to know his name, a woman's voice cries out. The door to the room is violently thrown open. 2 guards stomp in, followed by the sleazy-looking owner of the establishment. The snake-haired boss points an accusing finger at Kiangsing. You choose your own patron. How dare you go against me? Take him into the small back room. The other workers whisper amongst themselves, pitying him. So he only looks well taken care of on the surface. Kiangsing tries to reason with the man, but the boss just sneers. I hate those people who live by selling their looks. Pin him down. 2 bald goons grab him, cracking their knuckles. They mock his profession, their faces twisted with jealousy and rage. We just want to torture you, they declare, forcing him over a wooden bench. Kiangsing screams in protest as one of the goons over him with a truly disturbing look in his eyes. The boss cackles with glee as the torture begins. Meanwhile, Linger's friend, now revealed to be a woman in disguise, is leaving the building. She rubs her chin, wondering if Han Linger was actually seduced by that pretty boy gigolo. Please don't, she prays to the heavens. If not, I will have really let down Brother G. Suddenly, she hears a noise and spots a familiar red robe in a dark alley. It's Kiangsing. He's clutching his rear, which is bleeding profusely. They stare at each other in utter shock. You? He gasps, recognizing her. The woman's eyes widen in comical realization. How'd you become like this? She stammers before completely losing it. Ha ha. She roars with laughter. The poor gigolo, overcome with pain and humiliation, finally collapses. He's lost too much blood. Oh my, somebody has died from laughing too much, she wheezes. Just then, Linger arrives. What has happened? The woman is shocked Linger recognized her disguise. Linger just smiles sweetly. The woman eggs the whole ridiculous situation, concluding, it must be his hemorrhoids. Linger looks down at the unconscious man, concerned. A little later, she has finished bandaging his wound. He'll wake up very soon, she says. Her friend shakes her head. Tiskak. This brat's buttock is to look at. She admits she felt guilty and stayed to help. Linger looks at the sleeping man, a thought dawning on her. How does he know her? How could he recognize her even in a different outfit? Is he actually... Her eyes trace the lines of his face. At that very moment, a servant leads a new, important-looking guest to the room. The 2 women inside tense up as the door opens. The guest, a nobleman with white hair, coldly orders his guard. All of the patrons, get out of here. But the servant quickly informs him. Mr. Kiangsing has been taken by a customer. Here we go. A splash of cold water rudely awakens our poor, captured soul. He's chained up like an animal in the Lu's house, and a menacing voice orders him to get up. Suspended by his wrists, he glares into the darkness, a prisoner in this cold, damp cell. Suddenly, two figures appear from the shadows, their eyes scanning him like a piece of meat. The man in the red and black robe smirks, his voice dripping with poison. "Such a delicious boy," he coos, pinching our guy's chin. Our silver-haired beauty snaps, demanding to know who this creep is. The eunuch just smiles wider, but our boy isn't having it. He clarifies that his business only serves female patrons, thinking with disgust, "I don't want to be tarnished by this damned eunuch." But the eunuch scoffs, "You're here to sell yourself anyway. What's the difference?" That's the last straw. Our boy shoves him back, retorting that he has dignity. The eunuch just finds it amusing, his smile never wavering. "Why did you bring me here?" Our hero demands, his patience completely gone. The eunuch's eyes gleam with a chilling intent. "Of course," he says with a wicked grin, "it's to make you my pet." With that horrifying declaration, the eunuch and his attendant turn to leave. "I'll come back tomorrow," he calls over his shoulder, leaving our hero alone in the dark. Our boy grits his teeth, absolutely seething. He just escaped one deadly trap, and now he's walked right into another. He bitterly regrets ever teasing Linger. If he knew this would happen, he'd have been on his best behavior. Meanwhile, under the pale moonlight, our girl and her companion are on a mission of their own. They're sneaking through a garden, looking for a certain male prostitute named G. Our heroine decides to use her secret weapon, summoning her adorable and very sassy little golden silkworm. The silkworm popped, fuming. "Annoying woman, why must I listen to you?" It squeaks. Our girl smirks, laying down a savage threat. "Find a new host," she says coolly. But without me, how much longer can you actually live?" The little creature sputters in rage while their purple-haired friend just watches the chaotic bickering unfold. A sharp knock echoes through the night. Peeking from the bushes, they someone visiting the residence this late. Two figures dash across the courtyard, their movements swift and silent. The girls watch as the men approach the door. It's Prince Jinyang. They freeze in shock. This is the Emperor's territory. What is he doing here? Elsewhere, a cloaked figure is absolutely losing it, screaming at a subordinate. "Stupid brat. How did you carry out my orders?" The figure seethes, yanking the man up by his collar. "The crime? Letting Prince Chu Xiu escape." The subordinate mumbles, explaining that Xu Xiu is the Emperor's favorite son. Watching from the shadows, our heroine pieces it all together with dawning horror. These people, they're planning to murder the son of the Emperor. Inside, the subordinate reports to the cloaked figure, a woman of high authority. He confirms that though Prince Chang escaped, he's been hit with a mysterious poison and won't last long. But that's not good enough for her. "I won't let him come back to the capital alive," she declares, her voice dripping with ice. She gives him one more chance, just as a servant brings in tea. But this is no ordinary servant. The moment she lays on the stunning, silver-haired man, her expression changes completely. "What a wonderful man," she breathes, her eyes full of lust. He gracefully serves her tea, and she's completely captivated. Her eunuch supervisor seizes the opportunity. "If you like him, your majesty, you can keep him by your side," he suggests slyly. That's all the encouragement she needs. Her hand snakes out, grabbing the man's waist. "I shall stay overnight," she announces, pulling him closer. Our poor silver-haired beauty is internally screaming, "What the heck?" The little silkworm, watching from afar, is scandalized. This rascal is going to sleep with a man tonight. Our heroines are still hiding, and Hanlinger is just disgusted. "He's just a lousy gigolo," she mutters, shocked that he'd even make do with a man. Her friend suggests they leave before they get caught. But our girl isn't satisfied. She dodges away, determined to get to the bottom of this. Inside, the Empress is getting aggressive, leaning in close. "I haven't tasted anybody like you before," she purrs. But just as she's about to make her move, the door bursts open. It's our heroine, feigning innocence. "Sorry for interrupting." She stands there, having completely shattered the mood. The Empress is furious. "Humph, what a wet blanket," she snarls, her face a mask of rage. "How dare you follow Fan Kyangsing?" she demands, her possessiveness on full display. Our heroine is baffled. Why would this arrogant woman be with him? The Empress's next words are chilling. "I want to have great fun with him first," she says with a cruel smile, "and then torture him to death." Outside, the eunuch supervisor whispers to Fan Kyangsing she's really crazy. But Fangsing is calm, simply pouring tea. The supervisor panics, but our boy delivers a stone-cold truth bomb. "You think you're in a better position to take the lead by supporting an idiot?" The supervisor freezes. Fan Kyangsing continues, his voice low and calculating. "You rose up the ranks gambling. I advise you to place your hopes on more than one person." He then makes a jaw-dropping offer. "As long as you're willing, young supervisor," he said with a sly smirk, "I can be your bait and help you get a big fish back." Later, our girl and her companion are walking through the woods. They spot a small hut and decide to stop for a rest. Our heroine approaches the door and calls out. Who is it? Inside, a woman in red holds a sword to a younger woman's throat. They both jump at the sound of our heroine's voice. "Who are you people?" the swordswoman demands. Our heroine smiles sweetly. "We're only passersby," she says, trying to de-escalate. But her companion recognizes her instantly. "No, you're the vermin queen, Hanlinger," he shouts. The swordswoman's eyes widen in fury. "How did you manage to get us over here?" she screams, launching herself forward to attack. A sinister red energy swirls around her as she raises her blade. But before she can land a blow, she stumbles, collapsing to the ground and coughing up blood. The other woman cries out her name, Wangij. Our heroine looks down at the fallen warrior. Even though you knew about my abilities, you still chose to attack. Was it for fame or for money? Li Wangji glares up, defeated. Now that we can't escape, why don't you tell us who it is that wants to assassinate my master? But our girl just plays dumb, tilting her head. How would I know? I don't even know who you are. Her companion bursts out laughing, declaring it all a big misunderstanding. Seeing her opponent is poisoned, our heroine offers a truce. Let me help you get the poison out right now, she says gently. She reaches out and touches the woman's forehead. A warm light glows from her fingertips. Lai is stunned. My body isn't numb already. My abdomen has relaxed as well, she gasps in disbelief. Hope fills her eyes. Lady Vermin Queen, can you get rid of any poison? Our heroine just smiles and nods. Without a second's hesitation, Lee throws herself to the ground, bowing deeply. I beg you to show mercy, Lady Vermin Queen. Please save my majesty. The other woman also pleads for help with the strange poison. Our heroine and her companion are floored. This is the missing Prince Shuxiu. Back at the palace, Fan Qianxing is being escorted away by the Empress's guards. As he's taken to the prince's mansion, the supervisor gives him a nasty shove. Why must I trust a baseless gigolo? He sneers. Fanxing glares back, but the Empress calls out sweetly, grabbing his chin. Beauty, I will repay you for teasing me last night, she promises, dragged away, struggling against the guards. Just then, a scout runs in with urgent news. Young supervisor, we found Prince Wuchang. He's in a rundown hut just 30 miles away. The supervisor's eyes flash with deadly resolve. There's no need to inform the prince, he commands his men. We shall gather our people right now. This time he won't fail. Here we go. The young highness and his loyal guard try to thank our girl for saving their lives, but she holds up a hand, a gentle but firm refusal. I can't accept such a greeting. The guard is completely floored. Everyone says the Vermin Queen is vicious, but from what I've seen, you have the heart of a Buddha. Our girl gives a sad, wistful smile. She explains she was cursed after being framed and never meant to hurt anyone. The guard, moved, offers to escort her to the capital to get justice. The mysterious pro-haired boy suddenly cut. Please don't do that, his expression grim. The capital, even more dangerous for you. The guard is confused. The young highness asks him to explain. I think you're a nice person. The boy says, so I'll share some intelligence with you, free of charge. He leans in and drops an absolute bombshell. The person who wants to kill you is Prince Jin Yang. The young highness freezes in shock. My 13th uncle? His guard can't believe it. Prince Jin Yang has always doted on us. He can't possibly murder. The boy just shrugs, his tone icy. Believe it or not, I wouldn't have even mentioned it if you hadn't helped her. He turns and starts to walk away. Our girl watches him go, her golden eyes sharp and unreadable. She puts on a pleasant smile and calls out, we need to rush on. Please take care. As the boy munches on a snack, he overhears some vicious town gossip. They're calling him a gigolo and warning him to stay away from royalty. Our girl's eyes flash with understanding. Suddenly, the air is filled with the thud of landing feet and the shriek of steel. Masked assassins appear out of nowhere, declaring that no one within 5 miles will be left alive. The purple-haired boy looks horror as they begin slaughtering innocent civilians in broad daylight. Our girl grits her teeth, her face a mask of fury. Bullshit. The royal guard ignites with righteous fury. Drawing her sword, all of you shall die, she screams, leaping into the fray. Meanwhile, in the lavish mansion of Prince Jinyang, the prince himself is smirking, bragging to a striking silver-haired man about a bet he just won. He lets out a dramatic sigh. I didn't know you were still a gentleman with great aspirations, he taunts. Then his pleasant facade shatters. He grabs the man's chin, his voice dripping with venom. The emperor promised you the crown, but now what does he treat you as? The silver-haired man just smiles, completely unfazed. You've become everyone's laughingstock, he says coolly. You're looking for death. You need more knives, he continues, his voice a seductive whisper. And I can bring the most powerful knife to you. Back in the bloody street, one of the assassins lies broken at our girl's feet. Is your master Prince Jinyang? He gasps, begging for his life. In a terrifying flash, we see what could have been. The guard and the young highness are surrounded, ready to die together. He tells her to close her eyes. A new player enters the game. A blindfolded man gives a silent command. His assassins move like lightning, surrounding the helpless pair. But before they can land a single blow, they all collapse, screaming in agony. The blindfolded man is stunned. What's happening? His subordinate points a trembling finger. Master, look over there. It's our girl, standing amidst the carnage. The subordinate recognizes her instantly. She's the Vermin Queen. She can kill with poison from 100 steps away. She is our foe. Our heroine gives a savage little smirk as the cowards turn and flee. The purple-haired boy rushes to the young highness's side. "Are you okay?" he asks, thanking our girl for her timely arrival. The guard is in total awe. "Vermin Queen, your highness, you're really amazing." But our girl cuts them off, her expression turning deadly serious. "No need. These people also belong to Prince Jinyang." She explains they were killing every civilian just to keep their assassination list a secret. "I can protect you," she offers, "expose the sins of Prince Jinyang to those innocent people." Driven by grief and fury, the young highness Shu Xiu slices his own palm. He makes a blood oath to bring his uncle to justice with his own hands. Our girl's gaze turns sharp as steel. "If you dare to break your vow, I'll make you both disappear from this earth together." The purple-haired boy quickly intervenes. "How can you be so ruthless toward a little kid?" The guard puffs out his chest indignantly. "What little kid? My highness is already 18. He's a dignified man." The boy just smirks. "Is the royal food of poor quality? Why don't you grow taller?" Shu Xiu just blushes, muttering that he's a late bloomer. And so, their unlikely little crew sets off on what is destined to be a very dangerous journey. Back at the mansion, Prince Jinyang is marveling at the silver-haired man. "I really didn't expect you, as a gigolo, to be so well-versed in politics." Jinyang muses about using others' power to seize the throne for himself. The silver-haired man trails a hand along his jaw. "Looks like the most powerful knife of yours is really not to carve flowers." He purring he wants to be free of his despised identity. A dark, sinister smile spreads across Jinyang's face. "Then you better follow my steps closely." Our heroes arrive at an inn for the night. The guard advises Shu Xiu to rest, but the young highness is panicked, wanting to report his uncle's plot to revolt immediately. Our girl promises to protect him while he rests. Just as he agrees, his blood runs cold. "Cousin, where are you going now?" he whispers. Standing before them is Prince Jinyang himself, with his silver-haired lackey and another official in tow. Our girl's eyes narrow. She recognizes the official as Fan Kangxing, a known crony of the prince. The silver-haired man is just as surprised. "Why is Linger over here?" Jinyang slithers over to his nephew, his face a mask of fake concern. "I only wish to see how the heart to rest," he asks sweetly, waving his man to step forward. The official unrolls an imperial order. It's a decree for Prince Wuchang Shu Xiu to be confined to his mansion. Our girl sees it for what it is, house arrest. Jinyang Lin, whispering that this is for Chu Xiu's own protection. The poor boy, naive and trusting, actually believes him. Our girl watches, her fury simmering. "It's time to repent your sins, Prince Jinyang." Later, Jinyang and his conspirators are gloating. He's thrilled that the emperor has basically sacrificed his own son to appease the court. The official then suggests a truly diabolical plan. He'll collude with the cursed queen behind Shu Xiu's back to frame the silver-haired man. The silver-haired man is horrified, but the official just smirks, claiming he saw the two of them together in a room. Suddenly, Prince Jinyang lets out a violent cough, spraying blood everywhere. His men rush to his side, panicking. "I'm in so much pain," he screams. "It's if thousands of insects are nibbling away in my body." He coughs up a sickening pool of blood filled with wraithing worms. The official immediately points a shaking finger at the silver-haired man. "You brat, you've ganged up with the cursed queen indeed." The man desperately tries to defend himself. "Why would Linger try to kill Prince Jinyang if she is for Prince Wuchang?" he argues, straight sissy. The official screeches, absolutely losing his mind. "How dare you smear my reputation?" He then begs Jinyang to believe him, swearing the Vermin Queen is real. "Enough." Jinyang roars, slamming his fist on the table. He grabs the official by the collar, his eyes wild with agony. "Go find the Vermin Queen," he snarls. "If she's unwilling to save me." The silver-haired man can only stare, completely stunned into silence. The chaos begins at the mansion of Prince Wuchang, where a high-ranking eunuch is absolutely losing his mind. He screams that Prince Jinyang has been poisoned by Han Linger and demands they hand her over, ordering his men to charge. But from inside, a lone swordsman scoffs, "Come at me, you stupid eunuch." The insult hits its mark and the eunuch sees, "You!" But he hesitates, his mind racing. Charging a prince's mansion is a one-way ticket to the afterlife. As he sweats, a cloaked figure watches from the shadows, noting how utterly humiliated the poor guy is. This is our girl, Sanjiu, and she sees an opportunity. She kneels before the enraged eunuch, offering him a deal that would put him above his own supervisor. But just as she's making her power play, her companion yanks her away. Prince Jinyang's people have arrived, and they need to bolt for the back door. They rush through the corridors, trying to make a clean escape, but their path is blocked. A handsome stranger greets them with a knowing smile, saying he's been waiting for them. As they're cornered, our girl wonders how they'll ever find Hunlinger in this massive place. The man casually reveals that a notorious assassin is already here for the young supervisor, so they just need to wait. Sanjiu is floored this eunuch Fan Kayangxing is way more capable than she gave him credit for. She cautiously asks who this old friend is that he's been waiting for. The man smiles, Ji Xiaofan. The name sends a shockwave through both of them. Master Ji? Meanwhile, locked away in a cell, the young supervisor sits calmly on a pile of hay, confident that Sit will definitely come. Suddenly, the door bursts open. It's Fan Kangsing's sword drawn and ready for blood. He sneers that time is up, and he's here to send the supervisor to hell. The silver-haired prisoner just smirks, cheekily asking for a last meal before his execution. Fan Kangsing isn't having it. He roars, swinging his blade down. But the killing blow never lands. The blade is stopped by a slender hand. It's our girl. The young supervisor looks up, a triumphant smirk on his face. He knew she'd show. Fan Kangsing grunts in annoyance, snarling that there won't be a next time. The young supervisor's eyes soften. Hey, he whispers, I knew you'd come. Our girl, however, just pinches a cheek hard. It hurts, he yelps. Then, all teasing aside, he pulls her into a desperate, heart-wrenching hug. I'm sorry, he whispers, his voice thick with emotion. He holds her tight, relief washing over him. It's so good to see you again. I found you this time. Their tender reunion is shattered by a dramatic entrance. Prince Jinyang stumbles in, crying out, Han Linger, save me. Our heroine pulls back, asking the young supervisor if he's really thinking about hurting people right after she saved him. The prince, ever the snake, smirks at their closeness. He then drops a bombshell question. So affectionate, what slept together? What did you tell him? Our girl is stunned silent, but the prince keeps talking. He claims he doesn't care about their relationship, but the cursed queen wants her dead, and he has no choice but to use her as a bargaining chip. That's the last straw. Our girl lunges, grabbing him by his robes. What makes you think you can negotiate with me? She seethes. Her companion looks on in horror as the prince calmly insists he's just a puppet in a bigger game. The young supervisor steps in, explaining the political mess. The young supervisor, Lu Yuanzhao, holds immense power, and the prince is being squeezed out. The prince then lays out his twisted plan. If Linger kills Lu Yuanzhao, he can seize control of the court. The prince then questions Fan Kangsing's loyalty, but the silver-haired man steps in front of our girl protectively. Linger is my true love, he declares. I must stand up for her. He then makes a shocking offer. He agrees to kill the supervisor, on the condition that he gets to take his place. The prince is baffled why anyone would want to be a eunuch. Fan Kangsing explains simply, power can protect us. He turns to our girl, gently touching her cheek. He knows she's strong, but they can't solving problems by killing everyone. She asks about Lu Yuanzhao, and he smiles mysteriously. Someone's taking care of it already, and he's not kidding. Elsewhere, Lu Yuanzhao collapses, pointing a trembling finger at Sanjiu. You, he chokes out, realizing she's poisoned him. Sanjiu smiles coldly. The emperor wants you dead, she says, revealing the wine he drank was a gift from Kangsing. With savage finality, she grabs his jaw and pours the rest of the poison down his throat. Go die, you cold-blooded eunuch, she spits. She shoves him to the ground, her voice dripping with years of pain. You tortured me for so long, I've been so mortified. He claws at the floor, begging for help, but it's too late. Sanjiu stands over his body, a dark promise in her eyes. I'll climb to the peak with what you've taught me. Blood splatters across the floor. Back with the prince who arrives. What? Sanjiu killed him? He exclaims, shocked that Lu Yuanzhao drank the wine meant for Linger. Fan Kangsing coolly explains the situation, and the prince reveals his cynical philosophy. The more people involved in a plot, the safer he is. He then gets a little too close for comfort, but Fan Kangsing smoothly pushes him away. The prince, undeterred, makes him an offer. The position of the next young supervisor. Fan Kangsing accepts, a glint in his eye. As the prince walks away, Fan Kangsing's mind is already working. If isn't afraid of Linger, he'll have to be dealt with too. Sanjiu appears, asking if everything is settled. He confirms the plan worked, and she thanks him for his guidance. He takes her hand, warning her that the prince is skeptical and they must work together. She agrees to follow his lead. She asks what he plans to do next. He wants to clear his name, but knows they'll be hunted by both the court and the martial arts world. We must hook up with someone much more influential, he declares grimly. She asks who, but he just puts a finger to his lips with a secretive smile. He tells her leave the scheming to him, but she pushes back, not wanting him to carry everything alone. They share a sweet, playful moment, with her insisting that from now on, she'll listen to him. Later that night, Fan Kangsing meets with his own people under the moonlight. He's hired a group of underworld killers for a special job. The signal will be a fire at midnight, the target, a Taoist temple. He explains that the temple is used to spy on the emperor, making it the perfect place to find his whereabouts. His subordinate is horrified. This is a crime that warrants the death penalty. But Fan Kangsing is resolute. I must push the emperor into the blind alley, he says, his eyes burning with determination. His men move out, ready to strike. But as they creep through the woods, they're stopped by a figure cloaked in shadow. A pair of piercing red eyes glare out from the darkness. It's our girl, radiating an overwhelming dark power. She declares, only then can I turn the tide for Linger and make her the savior of the world. A flashback reveals the man our girl just saved is actually the emperor. He recognizes her as the cursed queen, and she timidly asks if he's not afraid of her. He's smiling, I owe my life to you. I must accept you with no qualms. He thanks her for being the only person who didn't look down on him when he was at his lowest. He can see the pain in her eyes and offers to share her burden. But wait, this is the Emperor. It's our silver-haired heartthrob, supervisor Fan saying, "Trust me, Linger." The scene snaps back to the present, where his subordinate reports that she's leaked the information about the Emperor's attack, just as he planned. She's confused, though. Why didn't he tell Prince Jinyang so the prince could rush to his father's side? Fan smirks with an icy glint in his eye. He was the first person who appeared when the Emperor was attacked. How can you not suspect that he's the person behind everything? His subordinate's eyes widen in realization. He's trying to disrupt the relationship between the Emperor and the prince. That's right, the only way their guy can win is if the royal father and son turn on each other. Fan explains they need to muddy the waters, giving the Emperor no time to investigate the suspicious etiquette palace. Back in the present, the real Emperor notes our girl's tragic past. She looks up at him, asking if he truly trusts her. He gives an order to his men. Han Linger is to be taken off the wanted list and pardoned for her sins. Our girl is stunned, asking who he is to wield such power. He reveals his identity with a small smile. "I'm the owner of the court, Shu Yuan." She immediately drops to her knees. "Your Majesty." She tearfully begs him to stand up for her and lift her out of her desperation. Just as he promises to take care of her, the eldest prince crashes the party, screaming, "Your Majesty, I'm here to save you." Before savagely one of the Emperor's guards, the Emperor darkens. Isn't he supposed to be camped in the west? Why is he in the suburbs of the east now? He turns to our girl with a chilling request. If she sees the prince do anything suspicious, she is to kill him and his troops on the Emperor's command. She barely has time to agree, before another official arrives, apologizing for being late. The Emperor puts on a fake smile, praising his son's filial piety but questioning why he came alone. The eldest prince starts sweating profusely, clearly caught in a lie. But the chaos isn't over. Another army appears, blocking their path. It's the second prince. The eldest prince accuses him of planning a revolution, while the second prince wonders how his brother knew about the ambush in the first place. He gives the order, "Prepare for attack," and the battlefield explodes. An arrow flies through the air, aimed directly at the eldest prince. From a tree branch, a mysterious man in purple watches the scene unfold, ordering his own men to block the fighting princes. He smirks. No wonder Han Linger is so obsessed with him. Our girl watches the bloodshed, wondering why the Emperor is so calm about the idea of killing. A guard rushes up, announcing that the second prince's troops are now in conflict with them. The Emperor feigns shock. What? Yet another one? He then asks our poor heroine to go check out the battle with him. The scene is pure chaos. The Emperor roars, "Stop!" The soldiers in the distance spot him. They immediately drop to their knees, shouting, "Long live the Emperor!" The eldest prince, ever the drama queen, begs his father to stand up for him. But the Emperor has had enough. Enough. The two of you have your own ulterior motives. He dismisses them both, his mind racing. Are they planting spies or have they been drawn into a larger scheme? He turns to our girl, asking for her opinion. He quickly apologizes for scaring her, admitting that politics is a messy, ever-changing game. He decides their first move will be to monitor the etiquette palace. The scene shifts to the now-ruined palace under the pale moonlight. A supervisor orders his men to move the corpses and watch for fire hazards. Suddenly, a guard shouts, "Come, someone's alive over here." Inside the wreckage, they find a body, and it's Supervisor Fan. He coughs weakly as his men rush to his side. His subordinate, Sanjiu, finds him, crying out his title in relief. She's overjoyed that he's alive. He explains he barely escaped the fire, but all his colleagues are dead. She offers to get him to a clinic, but he stops her, saying the person who started the fire is gone. Then, in a low voice, he asks, "Supervisor, how was my show?" She smirks, a little too dramatic. He explains their plan worked perfectly. The fire turns them into victims, and now the Emperor will suspect someone else destroyed the evidence. He struggles to his feet, warning her to watch her words so she doesn't expose their plan. She bows, promising to be careful. Later, Fan lets out a scream of pain. Our girl is tending to his burns, scolding him for acting tough. "How dare you say it's painful? You should have thought of that when you burned yourself." He immediately turns into a teary-eyed chibi, apologizing profusely. She softens, telling him not to sacrifice himself anymore. "I've had enough of losing you already." He gently cups her face, promising they'll leave this place once they get amnesty. But she reminds him that both the prince and the Emperor are dangerously cunning. A savage grin spreads across his face. "So, I want to be the game changer." She asks if he has a plan, and he says he needs Prince Wucheng's help to be invincible. Just then, a new pair arrives, a woman holding a man's hand. A little girl points at them, asking why Linger is with this new man. Another girl explains that he's one of them. The man, Mr. G, reveals he was sent by his master, Prince Wucheng, to reject the Emperor's request for help. But he suspects the real reason is to get a handle on their plans. Fan isn't worried. He believes Prince Wucheng is the only person moral enough to rule this world. But Mr. G's companion isn't convinced. "Show me what you've got, otherwise how can I trust you?" Fan just smiles slyly. You don't need to trust me. Here is the YouTube manhwa recap script. In a tranquil garden, two brothers discuss the state of the empire. The elder brother notes that while the uprising in the south is a nuisance, his army can easily suppress it. His eyes narrow with cunning as he reveals the real threat to the world: the vicious battle for the throne. The younger prince, dressed in brilliant yellow, asks which candidate his brother favors. The elder's suggestion is so shocking that the prince drops his game piece and immediately falls to his knees. "This cannot be done," he cries, begging his brother to take back his words and remember the promise he made. But the elder prince is firm, insisting he's only returning what is deserved. The younger prince vehemently refuses the throne, declaring he'd rather live a life of wine and women. He warns that if forced, he will go into seclusion, leaving his brother no choice but to relent. "Thank you for your benevolence," the prince, bowing low. Later in his study, the prince is absolutely fuming, slamming his hand on the table. His silver-haired advisor explains that the emperor already suspects him of disloyalty. The advisor lays out a dangerous plan. The prince must volunteer to lead the army south to quell the uprising, a high-stakes gamble to prove his loyalty. With nothing left to lose, the prince accepts the bet. Meanwhile, back at home, our favorite duo is having a cute domestic moment. While our girl is just starving, her white-haired companion praises her recent political maneuvering. He serves her a plate of food he cooked himself. Eagerly, she takes a bite, but it's way too hot. He rushes to her side, gently taking her hand and blowing on her burnt finger to make the pain go away. She blushes, her heart fluttering at the tender gesture. Just as the romantic tension peaks, their friend bursts in holding a jug of wine, ready to party. The mood instantly shatters. Our poor couple freezes as their friend becomes an awkward third wheel. A little later, the friend is seen outside, chugging wine straight from the jug, trying to drown her sorrows. Our heroine asks what's wrong, but her man just coldly says, "Don't mind him." The scene flashes to a modern-day cafe where a familiar-looking man with glasses is being questioned by a friend. She asks why he keeps rejecting a girl named Rirui. He smugly explains that they only got along because it was their first date. In a flashback, we see poor Rirui on that date, horrified to see he brought a friend along as a chaperone. Back in the present, he's shocked that she rejected him. She apologizes, looking utterly defeated. With grim determination, she stands up. "If you're unwilling to stay as normal friends," she declares, "it is better for us to be strangers." She walks away, leaving him stunned and wondering how it all went wrong again. He sees, crushing his cup, as he thinks of one name, Ji Xiaofan. We're thrust back into the past, into a grand hall where the martial arts sects have gathered. A monk steps forward, calling for peace with the imperial court, admitting they don't have the strength to end the war alone. But the man who looks like Xiaofan scoffs, questioning why they should wait. Another leader erupts in anger, calling the idea ridiculous. Suddenly, a massive beam of light crashes into the hall. Chaos ensues as a figure descends from the heavens, announcing, "Don't worry, I'm here." The light is blinding, and the crowd stares in utter shock. When the light fades, it's the real Ji Xiaofan. The imposter trembles, and our heroine whispers his name, unable to believe her eyes. The crowd is in an uproar. Wasn't he killed by the emperor? Xiaofan explains the twisted truth. The emperor came for him, but ended up taking his own life. Xiaofan has returned to end this great calamity. The crowd is in awe of his noble return, and they all bow in unison, pledging their allegiance to their true lord. But our heroine seems troubled, a dark and bloody aura swirling around her. Later, she confronts the imposter. "Who are you?" she demands. He turns the question on her, asking how she can't recognize the man she loves. Before she can answer, the real Xiaofan appears, interrupting them with a violent cough. The imposter smirks, accusing the real Xiaofan of only acting to protect himself. He laughs, completely baffled by the situation, then pulls a sword and holds it to his own throat. "Why would you deny me without giving me a chance?" he cries dramatically. But our girl is unmoved, her voice pure ice. "Because you are not him." She turns her back, warning him that his dramatic death will ruin everything Xiaofan has built. The imposter's face twists with rage. He warns her that she's been deceived, vowing to prove her true love is a complete fantasy. And in that moment, Xiaofan realizes, with dawning horror, who this copycat must be. Jiang Kai. Elsewhere, the two scheming princes are at each other's throats. One urges the other to calm down, insisting they must work together since they both fell into a trap. They quickly deduce who benefits the most from their downfall: the third prince. He's not only leading the army, but is already being rewarded for quelling the uprising. The news sends one of the princes into a rage, and he slams his fist on the table. Back with our actual lovebirds, they're tumbling down a grassy hill. She trips over a stray branch, but he catches her in a swoon-worthy embrace. He teases her, saying he's surprised she wasn't more torn up about the fake lord. She coolly replies that he didn't seem worried she'd leave with the imposter either. He smiles, confessing that he trusted she would know his heart would never change for her. She playfully pushes him away. "Don't be too sure of yourself. I'll definitely ignore you if you turn into an ugly man." He immediately puts on a pouting, crying face, and she can't help but laugh, pulling the big baby into a hug. These two are just too adorable. We open at the Grand Imperial Palace, where the Emperor is in a very generous mood. After successfully crushing a martial arts uprising, he's handing out rewards, and he has a special one for the dashing Lord Ji, naming him the martial quelling envoy. But as Lord Ji soaks in the praise, a pair of icy eyes watch from the shadows, whispering a single, venomous, impostor. The Emperor isn't done yet, though. He calls out another name. Handlinger. Our girl is completely caught off guard, her eyes wide with shock. The Emperor credits her with helping to subdue the sects. As a token of his gratitude, he names her the County Master of King County. The court erupts in congratulations, but the Emperor is just getting started. He brings up her deep, steadfast relationship with Lord Ji. Then he drops the biggest bomb of all. Should I bestow a marriage upon you two? Our poor girl looks like she's just seen a ghost. Meanwhile, in a much quieter room, the real Lord Ji is working when his subordinate brings him a report. But their peaceful moment is shattered by a sudden jarring tunk. A warning bell begins to toll frantically from a nearby tower. Lord Ji looks up, his brow furrowed in confusion. What's with the sudden bell? His companion asks, equally alarmed. A guard bursts in, his face pale with terror. His Majesty has been attacked. Both men freeze, their eyes wide with disbelief. The scene cuts back to the palace, now a pit of chaos and despair. A woman screams for her father as guards scramble to protect the Emperor. The massive doors are sealed shut as a commander roars, "Don't let the would-be assassin get away." And there, in the middle of it all, stands our girl Linger, her clothes splattered with blood. A flashback hits us hard. The fake Lord Ji on the ground, choking as she stands over him. She calls him by his true name, Changling. Back in the present, a finger points and a voice screams, Ji Yunshu has attempted to assassinate His Majesty. Arrest him. Miles away, the real Lord Ji smirks. The plan is going smoothly, he thinks to himself. He turns to his companion, revealing a shocking truth. He suspects the fake Ji Yunshu is none other than the long-dead Emperor Changling, somehow reincarnated. It's a wild theory. He's almost certain it's him. His companion snaps, ready to go kill the imposter right now. But he holds her back, a cunning glint in his eye. His death must serve a much greater purpose. And so, the trap is sprung, and the fake Lord Ji is dragged away by the guards. Let's rewind to that disastrous moment. The Emperor had offered marriage, and the fake Lord Ji was practically swooning. I would be eternally grateful, Your Majesty, but Linger remained silent, frozen in place as the Emperor pressed her for an answer. Then, something inside her snaps. The fake Lord Ji watches, confused by her sudden change in demeanor. A terrifying blue light ignites in her eyes, and a single, horrifying command echoes in her mind. Kill the Emperor. In a flash, she lunges forward, striking the Emperor down. The imposter is caught in the blast, coughing up a mouthful of blood, his face a mask of agony. He collapses, staring up at the woman he thought he knew, utterly betrayed. Later, the real Lord Ji Xiaofan visits the defeated Changling in a dark, cold prison. He looks down at the broken man on the floor. It's really you, he says, his voice dripping with ice. Or maybe I should call you Emperor Changling. Xiaofan reveals that he's the one monitoring this game now. He never expected to find his rival's true identity backstage. Changling explodes with rage. I'm even more shocked that you would be the one to kill me with your own hands. He screams. Xiaofan simply asks why he did it. Changling scoffs, calling it just a game, but Xiaofan knows better. He grabs the disgraced Emperor, his patience gone. He looks down at him with cold pity. Quit the game, Xiaofan says. Delete your account. Let's leave each other some dignity. As he turns to leave, Changling calls out, "Why are you still wasting time in this game?" Xiaofan just smiles. "You mustn't rush for the sake of uncovering the finale," he says cryptically. The words hit Changling like a physical blow, and he wonders if he's been wrong about everything from the very beginning. Elsewhere, the second prince is stopped by a mysterious man who claims to have secret intelligence from the Shisenju Palace. The intelligence, the truth behind His Majesty's assassination. At that very moment, Changling is paraded through the streets in a cage on his way to his execution. Xiaofan and his companion watch from a balcony. She playfully asks what he'd do if she were the one arrested. He blushes, vowing to save her, but she just grins mischievously. "I would kill you myself and send you to the afterlife," she declares, making him flinch. He begs her to relax, insisting he's an honest person. Suddenly, an assassin leaps from a cart, screaming, "Attack!" A massive cloud of dark energy erupts, aimed straight for the prisoner's cage. Changling looks up, wondering who his mysterious savior is. The guards panic, and the princess decides to move the prisoner herself. She cracks her whip, urging the horse faster, yelling for her men to cover her escape. From their vantage point, Xiaofan's companion worries. He isn't in danger being all alone there, right? But the poor princess is indeed all alone. She's led her prisoner right into a trap, surrounded by shadow figures. And in the distance, our two masterminds watch the chaos unfold, a pair of satisfied smiles on their faces. Our girl in red storms in, yelling for the swordsman. But it's a disaster scene. Her guards are down, and she realizes with horror Her target, Ji Yunchu, is gone. She immediately barks out orders to lock down the city gates. That's when she spots a lone survivor, a man with purple hair, slumped against the wall. She rushes to his side, checking to see if he's still breathing. He is, but he's covered in so much blood. Without a second thought, she scoops him up in a powerful princess carry. And our injured man? Oh, he's wide awake, peeking at her and thinking about how strong she is. This little troll is enjoying the ride, but his free lift is cut short when our girl suddenly slips. A nearby guard can only gasp in shock. They both go tumbling to the ground. She scrambles up, apologizing profusely, but the man is already on his feet, asking if she's all right. Wait a minute. She looks down at his wound and sees nothing. It's just a stain. Her temper absolutely explodes. Why were you faking it? Did you let Ji Yunchu go? He just smirks, saying his injury just isn't serious. Before she can strangle him, an assassin lunges from the shadows, but our pretty boy moves like lightning, catching the blade with his bare hand as the assassin collapses. He calmly examines his bleeding palm. Just then, another group appears, ordering Lord Ji to be taken away. The purple-haired man just smirks. This was all part of his ridiculously complicated plan. But our girl isn't impressed. She grabs him by the throat, absolutely livid that the prisoner escaped. A silver-haired man steps in, urging her to calm down. He explains that Ji Yunchu was poisoned and won't live long anyway. Internally, he knows this whole chaotic mess is a political test for the prince. Our girl demands to know whose side he's really on. But before he can answer, a new woman appears, coldly stating she's only loyal to herself and laying out the grim political landscape. She promises to deploy men to recapture the fugitive, but our girl isn't waiting around. She sprints off, determined to find him herself. Elsewhere, a blindfolded man sits chained to a chair, seething about the one who set him up. Suddenly, his blindfold is untied. Two men stand before him, proposing an alliance against a common enemy. The chained man scoffs, "Unlock me first if you're serious." The man leans in close, saying that he needs to swear allegiance first. He threatens the chained man's life, but his companion intervenes. A deal is struck. Help them kill a few people, and they'll take out his enemies in return. The chained man smiles. Now, that's an offer he can't refuse. Meanwhile, the silver-haired supervisor is walking with a companion, discussing the very same fugitive. They suspect the plan is to let Ji Yunchu take revenge before killing him off. The supervisor freezes. If that's true, he's the next target. Just then, a subordinate rushes over with an urgent summons from Prince Jinyang. The supervisor tells his companion to go protect the other prince, then leaves with his man. As their carriage speeds away, the subordinate asks if he's worried his loyalty is being questioned. The supervisor gives him a cold lesson in survival. To live, you must be useful. The subordinate's face twists into a menacing grin. You have taught me so much, young supervisor, so I'll send you to heaven now. He lunges with a hidden sword. The supervisor looks utterly shocked as blood splatters against the window. The carriage continues on its path. The subordinate Sunchu steps out, covered in blood. But P.S. Ice, the supervisor is perfectly fine inside, merely complaining about the smell. It was all a ruse to fake his death, but the plan hits a snag when a real assassin attacks Sunju. The new attacker tries to smother the supervisor, who struggles wildly. The third person in the carriage gets annoyed. "Let me give you a hand, you useless person." The supervisor just grins, more than I could wish for. The useless man draws his sword, and once again blood sprays across the window. The supervisor turns to his co-conspirator. "You did want to kill me just now, didn't you?" The man smoothly denies it, and the supervisor tells him to go report his death. As the carriage leaves, the supervisor reflects on what a dangerous enemy that man could have been. When his lady friend hears the news, she absolutely erupts. "The emperor's son sent Sunju to assassinate you?" She goes full mama bear, vowing to avenge him while he desperately tries to calm her down. She's not having it, pouting that it'll be too late if he actually gets hurt. She grabs him, fiercely promising to protect him from everyone. And our silver-haired strategist just melts, his heart swooning at her protective, manly side. She cups his face, checking if he's all right. Blushing, he admits he's just too excited. He can't resist being doted on by the person he loves. Our girl smirks, leaning in close. "Quit resisting then. Fall into my arms instead." He's a flustered, blushing mess, wondering where on earth she learned these savage flirting skills. All right, buckle up, buttercups, because the drama is about to get spicy. A man in regal blue robes stands over a covered body. He gestures grandly, presenting the tragic scene to a man with striking silver hair. "Here is Fan Kwangsing's body," he announces. "Please verify it." But our silver-haired menace, Ji Yunchu, yanks the sheet back with a snarl. How can I tell if it's him when he's so heavily disfigured? The official explains the gruesome details of a carriage accident, but Ji Yunchu couldn't care less. With an icy finality, he declares, "Never mind the explanation. Let's just take it as he's dead." He turns, a predator stalking his next prey, his voice dangerously low. Whose life do you want me to take? The official trembles as the name is revealed, his face a mask of pure shock. Meanwhile, in a tranquil garden, our other male lead, the handsome Chuji, is calmly painting. He's just received news that the Emperor's second son has made a move. Chuji muses that a deal has been struck between his enemies, but he knows he can't rule out the possibility that he, Prince Jin, is also on their hit list. Prince Jin, who's been enjoying some snacks, nearly chokes on his food. What? He scoffs at the idea. Why would Chuji lay his hands on me? Chuji, ever the calm strategist, doesn't even look up from his painting. You're eligible for an inheritance, he points out coolly. The fewer the competitors, the bigger his chances are. Prince Jin's face darkens with fury. My lord, my most important duty is to protect you, he snaps. Why are you being so cautious now? But Chuji just gives a casual shrug, a sly smile playing on his lips. Who knows what will happen now that Ji Yunchu had an accident? Just then, a blindfolded woman stumbles into the courtyard screaming, Qian Tsing, there's been an accident. She trips and falls as a guard rushes to her side, his face pale with terror. He gasps out the horrifying news. The Emperor's second son was killed by Ji Yunchu. The reveal hangs in the air, leaving both men utterly stunned. We then see the man himself, Ji Yunchu, perched on a rooftop like a fallen angel, surveying the massacre he's left in his wake. The scene is a bloodbath. A dark thought consumes him. What a horrible person I am. But our girl Han Ling'er appears, her expression firm. Realizing this now is not too late. She confronts him directly, her voice sharp. Did you send Sunju to summon me just to watch you repent? Ji Yunchu erupts in a fit of bitter laughter. The laugh turns into a violent cough, and he spits up a mouthful of blood. Aha, there's nothing I did that's worth regretting, he rasps, blood staining his hand. He can't resign himself to the fact that all his efforts were for nothing. As a vision of him sinking into dark water flashes before his eyes, Linger's voice cuts through his despair. You have achieved something. It's just not satisfying to you. He turns away from her, a sudden, sad clarity in his eyes. Maybe this game is not suitable for me at all. He gives her one last heartbreaking look. Farewell, Han Ling'er. With that, he makes his final move. He stands before the Imperial Guards, a lone figure against an army, and rides out to meet his fate. He makes a stunning public confession, twisting the narrative to his will. The Emperor's assassination was a conspiracy by the Emperor's second son. He tried to kill me, and I have taken him down, he declares, vowing to take responsibility. In the crowd, a woman watches in disbelief, unable to fathom that her brother would work with him. Another spectator wonders if this is all a ploy to cover for Ling'er. But Ji Yunchu just looks to the heavens, a weary sigh escaping his lips. This is such a time-wasting game. A guard, his eyes burning with rage, screams kill him, and charges forward. But his blade is suddenly stopped. The woman in the crowd screams for someone to stop the rogue soldier. The guard is restrained, but his eyes are glowing with a terrifying red light, his mind consumed by a single command. Kill him. He breaks free, roaring, kill Ji Yunchu. Ji Yunchu simply stands there, coughing, accepting his end. But then, Ling'er runs to his side, her face etched with worry. He sinks to the ground, defeated. My ending? He whispers with a sad smile, is still ridiculous. He reaches for her, a vision of her blindfolded form flashing in his mind. If I had never met you. And then, it's over, his body is carried away on a stretcher. Ling'er watches, a surprising wave of grief washing over her. Beside her, Ji wonders if Ji Yunchu knew her true identity all along. Later, a magistrate reports that the soldier who killed Ji Yunchu has been interrogated but seems to know nothing. She insists he's a loyal guard who would never betray them. Ling'er grows thoughtful, a suspicion forming in her mind. She deflects Chuji's questions, saying she's tired. As they ride away, he presses her. Were you trying to avoid Lord Wuchang on purpose? She admits it, revealing her shocking theory. I suspect that the soldier has been cursed and killed when he was out of his mind. Chuji is floored. Someone who knows how to cast a cursed spell besides you. He realizes the terrifying implication. If he is our enemy, we're in huge trouble. Ling'er tries to reassure him but sighs. Why are all our enemies so strong? They are nothing like the idiots described in books. Chuji's comeback is savage. Maybe it's because you're not smart enough. She yelps at Stings, and he just laughs. Their next stop, confronting the traitor, Sunju. He's on his knees, begging for his life. I was being blind and stupid, he wails, pleading for mercy. He promises to do anything. Our girl Ling'er raises an eyebrow, a smirk on her face. Not bad. You're smart enough to leave yourself a way out. She offers him one more chance. He can spy on the Emperor's first son. He immediately agrees. But Ling'er is nobody's fool. Just to be safe, she says, her eyes glowing with power, I have planted a slow but strong poison on you. She warns him that if he even thinks of betraying them, the pain will be unbearable unless she relieves it every 3 days. Her gaze is absolutely terrifying. The man swears his loyalty, trembling in fear. With a wave, Chibi Chuji dismisses him. He then turns to Ling'er, teasing her. Poor Sunju, you've scared the life out of him, she huffs, denying she's scary, before playfully chasing him. The two share a rare, adorable moment, with her jumping on his back and pretending to bite him. But the danger is far from over. Elsewhere, the first prince celebrates his victory with a mysterious hooded figure. He gloats that Shuji took the blame, all thanks to the spell cast by his ally. The hooded man smirks. The two of us had always been enemies, he says. Killing him was for my own revenge as well. The prince eyes him suspiciously, but the man reveals his scarred face. If I were the same as him, you wouldn't have kept me until now. The prince issues a new command to test this loyalty. Show me. Bring me Shushu's head. The man bows his head. Yes, my lord. In yet another part of the palace, a woman tends to a wounded man. He despairs over the endless cycle of death. But she holds up a document, a bombshell revelation. My lord, the person who assassinated the emperor wasn't your lord brother. She found a memorial in his quarters, a document that names the true murderer. And the final, devastating shows a looming image of our heroine. The true spellcaster is Han Linger. Alright, let's turn up the drama and dive right in. Under the pale moonlight, the entire mansion is on high alert. A guard captain gives a chilling order. Listen for anything unusual from the room where their lord is confronting Han Linger. If they hear a sound, they are to rush in and protect him. And if necessary, Han Linger can be killed. His men give a grim, understood. Inside, the scene is deceptively calm. Our silver-haired prince, Xiaofan, has prepared a meal for his two most loyal followers, a reward for their service. One of his retainers, a man with a fierce gaze, accepts the offer, saying he will follow his lord as long as his trust isn't betrayed. But the woman at his side is not so easily swayed. She cuts straight to the point, her eyes burning with suspicion. Was it part of your plan to manipulate Ji Yunshu into assassinating my lord father as well? She snaps. She continues her accusation, recounting how Ji Yunshu was then mysteriously killed by his town guards. Her companion has heard enough. In a flash, his sword is drawn, asking if silencing Ji Yunshu was also part of Xiaofan's grand, bloody scheme. But the woman confesses, I am responsible for the assassination of the emperor, but not for Ji Yunshu's death. Her partner is absolutely livid. You did such a rebellious thing without my knowledge, he roars, his fist clenched in fury. How am I supposed to trust you anymore? And then the unthinkable happens. He draws his blade, but not to strike her. He holds it to Xiaofan's back, his voice breaking. We did all the dirty deeds to help you claim the throne, he cries. Why aren't you satisfied yet? Xiaofan's gaze is pure ice. The woman tries to explain that he wanted the throne for justice, not through these cruel acts. But he cuts her off. Fine, he says with a chilling finality. We will not play along with you anymore. He turns to Linger and tells her it's time to go. But his follower isn't letting him off that easy. He accuses Xiaofan of trying to forge an alliance with Prince Jinyang, shouting that it's none of his business. Suddenly, a new voice cuts through the tension. It's our girl, Linger, blindfolded and splattered with blood, looking absolutely savage. I'm only going to say this once, she warns, her voice dripping with ice. Let him go. The other woman sighs, telling her partner to stand down. We have different aims, she says, ordering him to let them go. Xiaofan simply tells them, don't be too full of yourself. He gently takes Linger's hand, his expression softening only for her. We didn't do all this for you boring people, he says quietly. As they walk out into the night, he turns back to offer some friendly advice. His former followers watch them go, the woman cryptically admitting she may have told another prince to escape. Under the moonlight, Xiaofan and Linger find a moment of peace. He leans and kisses her forehead, whispering that they've finally fulfilled their goals and can now be free. As they walk away, he muses about bringing a swordsman back to his hometown to get married. But the guards watching from the shadows suddenly begin to crack. Their faces contort, their eyes glowing with a demonic red light. One guard's neck erupts in a grotesque, pulsating wound as a dark power takes hold. Later that night, our poor heroine is sleeping peacefully, completely unaware of the shadowy figure descending from her ceiling. A dagger is aimed right for her heart. A man screams in agony as Linger wakes up with a start. She groggily asks Wangge what he's doing in her room so late. He stammers, holding up a blanket as if to cover his tracks. But his eyes glow red, and his face twists into a horrifying, demonic grin as he raises a sword to kill her. Just as he's about to strike, Linger spots something flitting through the air. It's a tiny golden bug, and it's drooling over the smell of cursed flesh. It zooms past the possessed man and sinks its teeth right into his neck. The man screams as the creature takes a huge, chomping bite. The little bug looks absolutely delighted with its meal, and Wangge collapses to the floor. Linger rushes to his side, wondering how he got controlled by a cursed insect. She immediately knows who's behind this, the head Taoist priest. The little silkworm puffs out its chest, thinking this stupid woman should be thanking it for saving her life. Linger gives it a deadpan, "Oh, thank you," before a terrifying thought strikes her. If Wangge is cursed, then everyone else in the mansion is in danger, including Xiaofan. She bolts out of the room to find him, the silkworm grumbling about her terrible attitude. She bursts into a dark chamber, calling out his name. Xiaofan turns, his expression grim. Before she can say another word, he pulls her into a tight embrace. And in that exact moment, a knife plunges deep into his back, splattering blood everywhere. Xiaofan looks down at her, his face a mask of agony. She clings to him, screaming for the golden silkworm to help. Cries out in pain, and the little creature appears once more, drooling with excitement. This is the big one. Linger holds Xiaofan, trying to soothe him as he groans that it hurts. A sinister voice echoes from the doorway. Finally, you can feel it as well. It's him, the head Taoist, smirking as he emerges from the shadows. Taoist priest, you are still alive, Xiaofan gasps. The priest mocks him, saying he gave him a chance to save himself. He confesses he thought killing Ji Yunshu would break Xiaofan, but he's surprised he found a new toy so quickly. Linger glares, telling him to just get it over with. But the priest just picks up a sword, a cruel smile on his face. You still know nothing of me, do you? He presses a blade to our girl's chin, his eyes flashing with malice. I won't let you go so easily, he purrs. Today is just the beginning. He holds up a curse dagger, boasting that he's obtained the blood of 100 curses. Sometime later, Linger is unconscious. Xiaofan sits by her bedside, pleading for her to wake up. When she finally stirs, he's flooded with relief. He apologizes, blaming himself for her injuries, but she tells him it's not his fault. It's all the work of the head Taoist priest. Suddenly, Wangge bursts in, realizing this means Prince Wuchang has been kidnapped as well. Another follower confirms it, explaining they were betrayed by their own guards. Xiaofan puzzles over the priest's motive unless he's taking orders from someone else. Linger connects the dots. The biggest suspect is the emperor's first son, Chui. The female follower clenches her fist, vowing to infiltrate the guards and investigate. Her swordsman companion immediately objects, declaring it's too risky and that he'll go with her. He stands in her way, resolute. He awkwardly clarifies that he's not trying to protect her, but making up for a past failure. The women watching from the sidelines find his simple-minded honesty absolutely adorable. One whispers that girls prefer rebel men over pretentious idiots anyway. In the quiet of the room, Shenderly touches Linger's face. He tells her that truly moves people is always unswerving affection. So, he whispers, his eyes full of love, as long as you are here. The tension is thick as Yuan Qining gets an earful, being called an idiot for his recent actions. Prince Wuchang is absolutely livid, grabbing Qining by the collar and screaming for Chu Xiu's head. But our girl Han Linger steps in, questioning why Qining was brought here at all. Qining, looking smug despite his injuries, tells the fuming prince that keeping Chu Xiu alive is actually more beneficial for him. He lays out the cold, hard facts: the emperor is still alive, and Wuchang's good reputation is on the line. Qining presses his point literally, telling the prince that his death needs to mean something more. Wuchang, now intrigued, demands to hear the plan. But Qining is playing it close to the chest, promising to reveal his experiment only after it succeeds. He simply tells the prince to trust him before they head outside. Wuchang immediately puts the place on lockdown, ordering his guards to let no one escape. But inside, two of Chu Xiu's loyal guards realize their lord has been imprisoned and they need to act fast. One of them urges caution, but it's too late, they're spotted. Without a second's hesitation, one guard grabs the other's hand. The order to seize them rings out as the two make a desperate run for it. The purple-haired guard swoops up his comrade, yelling, "Hold me tight," as they make a gravity-defying leap over the compound wall. An arrow zings past them, but the purple-haired guard just smirks as he dodges it mid-air. They land on a roof, right above a sign that ironically prohibits flammable materials. The guards below are stunned, demanding to know who they are. With a mischievous grin, the guard casually bonks them on the head with small projectiles, knocking them out cold. They rendezvous with another ally, who warns that more troops are on their way. The purple-haired swordsman decides to be the decoy while the others escape to get help. His companion promises they'll make it out alive, standing grimly before a gunpowder storeroom. This is going to be chaotic. Enemy guards storm the garden, shouting that the thieves are cornered. Inside the storeroom, a lit fuse snakes its way across the floor, heading straight for barrels of gunpowder. The guards peer inside, their faces turning from confusion to pure terror as they realize what's happening. They barely have time to scream. A colossal explosion rips through the building. The swordsman shields his companion from the fiery blast. Miles away, Qining sees the mushroom cloud and wonders aloud if there's a festival going on. This man's chill is unsettling. Amidst the wreckage, the swordsman helps his coughing companion up. A tiny ally reassures them that he's fine, because of course he is. As they escape into the woods, the swordsman makes the oldest excuse in the book. "You go on, I have to pee." Meanwhile, in a much quieter room, two men discuss the political fallout. One explains that with Prince Wuchang captured by Chu Yai, this is the perfect chance for his lord to make a move. He suggests they eliminate the emperor's first son, and the white-haired lord's eyes gleam with a dangerous light. The advisor suggests a more cautious approach. to wait and see who controls the powerful Yulin guards. But the Lord has a more sinister plan. Spread a rumor that the first son assassinated Wu Chang, and watch him crumble under the pressure. His advisor notices his lord's intense focus on caning, and the loyals that caning used a spell to make him and Linger attack each other. The advisor calls it a filthy move, cheekily asking if his lord wants revenge because his pride is wounded. The Lord's aura explodes with icy rage. That's right, he snarls, anyone who hurts Linger is unforgivable. Back at the compound, Caning is contemplating his next move. He dismisses his guards with a polite thank you for their hard work. He watches two figures leave, thinking to himself how they're too weak for the horrors he's about to unleash. And what horrors they are. He turns to reveal people submerged in giant pickling jars, their faces twisted in terror. Even his own man can't help but shiver at the sight, but Caning is absolutely ecstatic. He promises his new specimens that in a few days, they'll be his loyal puppets. He then turns his attention to another captive. It's our girl, Hunlinger, bound to chair. He grins, telling her she's going to create a massive chaos for him. He then cuts his own finger, letting a drop of blood fall into a vial, speaking of a cursed king born from blood. Elsewhere, the white-haired lord is recovering. He asks his companion if she's found a way to save Prince Wu Chang. She affirms that they can't let a villain harm their friend, and he agrees they must take the risk. The scene cuts to an arrow striking a bullseye perfectly. The Emperor's first son, the archer, that rumors are already blaming him for Wu Chang's death. He anticipates Hun Linger's move for revenge, calling her ambitious and noting that a cursed queen is powerful as an army. But he smugly tells his advisor that he doesn't need her power to win. He already has a plan in motion. Just then, at the palace gates, a carriage is waved through. A woman's eyes narrow with deadly intent as she thinks poison has seeped into its target. It's our girl, in disguise, leading a procession to the Emperor's palace. Her declaration is bone-chillin'. I am going to kill the Emperor. Those who stand in my way will be killed. The prince fires another arrow. His advisor compliments his skill, and the prince confirms that Han Linger is indeed a crucial part of his plan. A messenger suddenly bursts in, announcing that the Emperor has been assassinated by Prince Wu Chang. The prince immediately orders his troops to surround the scene and capture Wu Chang alive. The trap is sprung. Prince Wu Chang and his guards are surrounded, and he's forced to the ground. A minister screams that he's an unfilial son who murdered his own father. But then swarms of cursed insects erupt from the bodies of the fallen guards. The palace descends into absolute chaos, with people screaming for help as the insects attack. The prince sees his opportunity. He orders his advisor to blame Han Linger for the cursed insects and to use the Yulin guards to lock down the entire imperial city. But the advisor freezes in panic. If Han Linger is arrested, who will cure the poison inside him? He scribbles a frantic message, sending a rider to warn her immediately. As the rider gallops off, the advisor thinks to himself that perhaps it's time to switch allegiances and make friends with this master caning. Alright, let's get this show on the road. The drama is dialed up to 11, so buckle up! The capital is in chaos. Guards storm the gates, yelling that our girl, Han Linger, used dark magic to control Prince Wu Chang and assassinate the king. A smarmy official with a squad of soldiers points his finger, declaring Han Linger is the only one who knows the cursed spell, and he's taking her in for a little interrogation. He throws down a chilling threat. The king's death has made the country unstable, and anyone who resists will be killed on the spot. But our silver-haired stud just smirks, pulling our girl close. He says it's obvious the Taoist priest who kidnapped the prince is trying to frame them, and he'll prove it once he yanks that cursed insect out of the prince's body. An old official isn't having it, calling her the prime suspect and accusing her of trying to flee. Our girl snaps back with pure fire, calling him a fool and boasting that not even a powerful army could stop her if she wanted to leave. Her friend quickly pulls her back, whispering that killing an official is exactly the kind of trap they want her to fall into. Our silver-haired hero realizes this is all part of the villain's plan. His companion asks if they just let them take her, but he says let's wait. The capital governor looks incredibly pleased with himself, basking in his newfound authority. That is, until the eldest prince shows up to put him in his place, sneering that with a little more power, the governor would probably look down on the emperor himself. The prince accuses him of trying to suck up to a new master for a quick promotion. The governor immediately hits the floor, begging and swearing he'd never do such a thing. The prince then turns his icy gaze to our silver-haired hero, questioning if he can be trusted to deliver a message. Our boy gives him a look that could freeze fire. We're in the same boat, he says. If something bad happens to me, you will also drown. The eldest prince fumes, thinking what an arrogant punk. Our girl, meanwhile, is just vibing. The prince tries to move on, but his underling pipes up, reminding him that Han Linger is a suspect in the assassination and can't be allowed to leave. But the prince waves him off, grabbing the old official and saying he'll personally guarantee she won't escape. using himself as collateral. Elsewhere, in a dark and terrifying dungeon, a man hangs suspended in a cage. It's Chu Xiu. The villainous Taoist priest smirks, calling him an important culture dish for his cursed king. His masked associate is furious, revealing he lost tons of soldiers, catching the poison insects, and threatens to chop the priest into bug food if he fails. The priest just laughs it off, saying he has more than enough insects. With a twisted grin, he announces it's feeding time for the cursed king. And what's on the menu? A group of innocent women. Blood suddenly splatters across the room. A monstrous, giant centipede emerges, sending the poor girls into a panic. A severed, bloody arm falls to the ground as they scream in terror. The priest watches the carnage with a sick smile, thinking to himself, Hanlinger, the gift for you is nearly ready. Back at the palace, the eldest prince is being detained. He tries to calm the guards, claiming he's acting on his father's final edict, but inwardly he's panicking. He realizes his father planned for the tired prince to take the throne, and he absolutely will not let that happen. He tries to play it cool, but his uncle suddenly appears. And right behind him is our girl Hanlinger, who points a finger and makes a shocking accusation. He is behind Lord Jinyang, the eldest, stunned. How did she get away from that useless capital governor? He confronts his uncle for bringing a suspect into the palace. The uncle calmly explains he brought her here to find evidence. He says they'll know her guilt or innocence once she removes the curse. The prince scoffs, doubting the real culprit would ever show up. But our girl turns the tables with a savage question. How do you know that so clearly, eldest prince? Do you perhaps witness the insect being placed in his body? The prince flinches, quickly saying it was just a guess. He grows suspicious, thinking his uncle and Hanlinger are trying to trick him. He reveals he's already hidden the third prince away in a secret location. Meanwhile, our silver-haired hero and his purple-haired companion are trekking through a desolate mountain. They know the villains are getting supplies sent here, and the damp environment is perfect for breeding cursed insects. The companion complains it'll take them a month to find the priest on this massive mountain, but Silverhair is confident it won't take that long. Suddenly, they're ambushed. A glowing talisman hurtles towards them, and he screams, "Get down!" He shoves his friend to safety just as an arrow zips past. The purple-haired guy shoves him back, absolutely fuming and calling him a jinx. They realize the Taoist priest must be close by as arrows rain down from the trees. They're outnumbered and have to fight for their lives. Masked assassins surround them, swords drawn. Our silver-haired hero puts on a brave face, Ji telling his friend he's relying on him and will give him anything he wants if they survive. The purple-haired warrior gets serious, telling him to stay close. Back with our girl, she's putting the pieces together. The supplies, the human voice. The Taoist priest is hiding on Mulian Mountain. She decides she'll go to the palace while her swordsman friend checks out the mountain. Her ally warns them it's too dangerous. He then jokes that he'll be happy to collect their corpses for them. What a supportive friend. Our hero, meanwhile, is already on the mountain getting beaten up, realizing she was right about the danger. The fight is brutal. The purple-haired guy screams that he can't hold them off any longer. Silverhair suggests they just beg for mercy on their knees, but they're being watched. The Taoist priest appears on a cliff above them, sneering. "Aren't you the new pet of Hanlinger?" He cackles, saying he knew they'd come. Silverhair shoots back that our girl doesn't want to see his disgusting face. The priest goes on a tirade, calling him a dog and ranting about how our girl is a heartless wench who broke another man's heart. Silverhair has had enough talk. His eyes flare with power. In a brutal, bloody flash, he unleashes an attack that shreds an assassin. The priest's jaw drops. No! We've fallen into their trap. Just then, reinforcements arrive. The red-clad blood-robe guards are here. His companion is furious. "Why didn't you tell me? I have like 10 wounds." Silverhair calmly explains they had to put on a show to lure out the real villain. With his forces assembled, he gives one simple order: kill them all. Absolute chaos erupts as the two forces clash. The priest's men tell him to run for it. Silverhair just smirks as he watches his target flee. The priest sprints away, vowing they will never get their hands on the cursed king. He escapes into the dark woods. He arrives at a hidden sanctuary, where a hooded figure is waiting. The figure reports it has finished taking food. Inside, the horrifying truth is revealed. Prince Wuchang sits on a throne, surrounded by the lifeless bodies of the women, his eyes empty and dead. The priest reaches for the prince's head with a demented grin, ready to complete his monstrous creation. Our villain summons a horrifying creature, the blood silkworm cursed king. The worm is almost pure black, its cultivation nearly complete as it crawls onto his hand. He welcomes the cursed thing, telling it to stay in his body for a while. But from the shadows, an attacker strikes. A hooded figure lunges with a sword, slamming the villain with brutal force. The blow sends him crashing into a stone wall. He quickly ducks for cover behind some rocks, his eyes locked on his target. Our unsuspecting heroine sitting alone. Meanwhile, two of her allies race through the woods, spotting a cave up ahead. But they're ambushed. The hooded figure attacks, and they realize with horror he's captured Prince Wuchang. The situation is chaotic. The villain escapes with the prince, and one ally gives chase while the other is ordered to go into the cave and finish off the Taoist priestess or girl. Cursing the evil villain, he approaches the cave entrance, which is eerily covered in a massive spider web. He pushes inside and freezes. It's a slaughterhouse. The floor is littered with bodies, but the priestess is nowhere to be found. The stench of death is overwhelming, and he gags, sickened that so many were killed to cultivate some cursed insects. He furiously vows to break the culprit's legs. Suddenly, a hand shoots out from beneath a pile of corpses and grabs his ankle. The masked villain crawls out from the gruesome hiding spot, a wild in his eyes. He smirks, wiping his chin. The game is only half over. I haven't had enough fun yet. Elsewhere, the white-haired prince is desperately tracking the villain's footprints. He realizes with a sinking heart that the man escaped by leaping into the trees. He has to report back that he lost him, his mind racing with worry for both Prince Wu Chang and Linger. And he was right to worry. Our girl, Linger, is being detained, blindfolded with swords crossed at her throat. A smarmy nobleman leans in, taunting her. "Don't you worry that I can kill you here?" She glares, completely unintimidated. Another woman joins the chorus of threats, sneering that if Linger dies, she'll just be remembered as the infamous poisonous girl. The woman unleashes a torrent of red energy, but the nobleman stops her, claiming he's trying to help. Linger snaps, "Isn't this all you're doing?" She's done playing their games. "I was planning to prove my innocence," she declares, a dangerous fire igniting in her hand, "but I realize it's a waste of time. I'll just kill the bad guy." The nobleman warns her that the entire palace is full of his people. He smiles slyly. "I've vouched for you. If you kill him, how do I shake off this responsibility?" She just scoffs at his pathetic act. But then, a guard rushes in, his face pale with terror. "Bad news, my lord. Prince Wuchang is dead." The guard stammers that the body was so badly damaged by cursed bugs that he had to leave it at the palace walls. The crowd instantly erupts, pointing fingers at Linger. "She killed the emperor and his son." The nobleman turns to her with a sickeningly sweet smile. "This is what you've wanted. Are you satisfied now?" Linger's voice is ice as she accuses him of setting her up. He just shrugs. "Whatever you say. Go explain that to the rest of the world." He mockingly offers to escort her, and she sees, calling him an asshole under her breath. Knowing something is deeply wrong, she decides to investigate. But as her carriage rolls through the streets, an angry mob surrounds it. They scream that the female monster's inside, a cursed girl who must be stopped. Two men in the crowd whisper, plotting to either force poison down her throat or just kill her outright. As Linger steps out, a wine jug is hurled directly at her. It shatters at her feet with a loud clang. She calmly tells them to stop, but the crowd only roars for revenge. Watching from a nearby rooftop, the masked villain smiles. What a classic scene. That's it. She's had enough. Linger's eyes blaze with golden fury. A swirling vortex of crimson power explodes from her body. The energy slams into the crowd, striking down the loudest of her accusers. The villain watches, pleased. She fell into the trap. The people on the ground cry out in agony. Linger's voice cuts through the chaos. "You said I manipulated and murdered the prince. Did you see this yourselves? Do you have any evidence at all?" One man puffs out his chest. "Justice." She scoffs. "Justice? How many people use that word as a veil to cover their evil deeds?" She calls them out for blindly following the herd, for enjoying the cruel pleasure of public bullying. Terrified, the mob begins to beg for their lives, confessing they were wrong. Finding them pathetic, Linger summons her golden silkworm to heal them. A gentle, golden light washes over the crowd, mending their wounds. Even the villain is impressed. Splendid. Meanwhile, Chu Xiu has put the pieces together. Lord Wuchang isn't dead. He was kidnapped. He realizes the body was a trap, a setup by Chui to frame Linger. Linger is at her breaking point. She's tired of being put in these terrible positions. Instead of trying to deal with them, she says with chilling finality, "Why not just finish this off by killing them all?" Chu Xiu's response is quiet and serious. "Do it then." He pulls her close as she's really sure she wants to throw away everything she's worked for. He holds her tightly, whispering, "I'd feel worse if you were aggrieved." She leans into his embrace, sighing that they may have to become desperados again. He simply replies, "As long as I'm with you." Looking up at him, her heart on her sleeve, Linger asks softly, "Why don't we get married?" Chu Xiu is completely stunned, stammering, "What?" Mortified, she tries to backtrack, but he leans in and captures her lips in a kiss. When he pulls away, his eyes are full of devotion. "What you said has a mark in my heart," he says softly. "You can't take it back anymore." Here is the GO8 YouTube manhwa recap you ordered. Deep in his camp, a nervous lord is plotting. He mutters that he can't wait any longer. He has to force the ministers to help him ascend the throne. Suddenly, a loud crash outside startles him. A guard bursts through the door, screaming for his lord to run. The cursed queen is attacking the main camp. he yells. The Lord stands frozen in absolute shock. He makes a break for it, but a shadowy figure blocks his escape. A man with an icy mask appears, calling out our girl's name, Han Linger, and there she is, the so-called cursed queen, looking absolutely savage. She smirks, telling the terrified Lord she's here to finish their business as her red energy tendril ensnare him. He's hopelessly trapped, screaming for help. But just then, a flash of purple light slices through the night. It's our girl, Linger. She unleashes her own cursed spell, and it immediately starts sucking the red tendrils away. The Lord is stunned, watching the curse get pulled right out of his body. He coughs violently as the energy disperses, reforming into a tiny pink, moth-like creature. Linger calmly explains it's another one of her silkworm spells, but a sinister voice cuts in. Surprised, the masked villain appears from the shadows, revealing the spell was made with her own blood. He explains with a wicked grin that her poison is nothing but food for his golden silkworm. The Lord she just saved, being the absolute worst, immediately yells to kill her. But the villain holds him back. He has a much crueler plan in mind, revealing that Linger has just used up all her cursed spells. He taunts her, sneering that now she's just a weak, vulnerable woman. But to everyone's surprise, our girl is ecstatic. She beams, yelling to her companion Xiaofan that she's finally a normal person. Watching from the rooftops, two mysterious figures are not impressed. One of them scoffs, wondering what's so great about being normal. His partner coldly suggests they give her a quick death as a thank you. They draw their swords as the masked villain commands his own blood silkworm to kill them all. He holds up the tiny pink creature, but Linger looks completely unbothered. She declares that with her golden silkworm, his poison is useless. The villain just smirks. You know nothing about the cursed spell, he says cryptically. He unleashes his next attack, cursed spell illusions. The two assassins are immediately trapped in a world of dark magic. The illusion throws them back to their childhood, completely disarming them as the villain urges his own creature to break the spell faster. But Linger's little golden buddy is struggling. It cries out that with its current power, it's already having a hard time just dispersing the poison. Seeing his chance, the villain lunges straight for a powerless Linger, sword raised to kill, but a figure in blue slams down, stopping his attack with a single foot. It's Xiaofan. He pins the villain to the ground, furious that all their efforts have been ruined. In retaliation, the villain's pink silkworm spits a stream of purple poison. It hits Xiaofan square in the chest. Linger screams his name in terror. The villain cackles as Xiaofan clutches his face, a cloud of blinding powder hitting his eyes. He shouts in agony as the villain mocks him, saying it will leave him blind, and just snarls back, "Screw yourself." He stumbles backward, completely vulnerable. The little pink demon spits again, this time a sticky thread that ties Xiaofan's legs together. Linger is knocked off her feet by the force of the attack. This is the last straw for her golden silkworm. It roars, "Don't you bully the stupid woman." It powers up, glowing with golden energy, and shoots forward like a bullet. The two creatures clash in a brilliant explosion. Linger cheers, thinking her silkworm won. But the villain's smile is pure evil. His silkworm was bred with the blood of 100 poisons. The two creatures are swallowed by a vortex of dark power, and when the light fades, only the pink silkworm remains, stronger than ever. Linger is horrified. Without the golden silkworm, she's completely out of options. The villain retrieves his sword, ready to end this once and for all. But Xiaofan, even while blinded, struggles back to his feet. He stands protectively in front of Linger. "Don't worry, Linger, I'm here." The villain wastes no time, running him through with his sword. As Linger screams, the villain mocks her, but Xiaofan is smiling. "To tell the truth," he says through the pain, "I am that Dr. G." The villain freezes. Xiaofan reveals that the man he thought he killed was a fake. "I've been by Linger's side all along," he declares. Enraged by the deception, the villain swings his sword in a furious arc. Xiaofan takes another brutal slash across the chest. "That doesn't sound gloomy," the villain taunts. "Am I being too gentle?" He readies his blade for the killing blow. He raises his sword high above his head, but Linger shouts a command. Take half a step left. Xiaofan trusts her completely, sidestepping the attack flawlessly. "Stick your sword forward," she commands. He thrusts his blade blindly, finds its mark. The villain lets out a strangled cry of pain. He looks down at the sword buried in his side. He's in utter disbelief at their perfect coordination. Xiaofan grins weakly. "You lost again?" Tears of relief stream down Linger's face. It's finally over. But as the villain falls, he remembers a happier time, a time with her. He decides that if he can't have those beautiful times, he'll ruin them for everyone. With his last breath, he unleashes the blood silkworm in its true, monstrous form. Dark tendrils erupt, ensnaring them both. Xiaofan pulls Linger into a tight embrace. "Seems that this time we are gonna die together," he whispers. "At least I won't have the pain of losing you again." They share one last, desperate kiss as the darkness closes in, and his final thought is a promise to her. "In our next life, I will go look for you." The tiny pink creature unleashes a devastating blast of pure poisonous energy. Its target's eye widens in terror. Just as a brilliant golden light erupts from within, It's our little golden silkworm, and it flies out to meet the attack head-on. Our girl can only watch, her heart in her throat, as her adorable companion swoops in. The two forces of energy collide in a spectacular, world-shaking explosion. As the light fades, the two unconscious guards gently float to the ground. The poisonous fog has been completely cleared. Our heroine looks at her hand in amazement, even her wounds are healing. And our handsome lead's eyes flutter open. I seem to be able to see, he murmurs. Tears of joy stream down our girl's face as she cries out his name. He pulls her into a relieved embrace. That's great, we're saved. But wait, a tiny angry face appears, absolutely fuming. Oh, you stupid woman, shouldn't you be thinking of me first? She scoops up the golden silkworm, overjoyed that it's still alive. The little guy puffs out his chest, explaining how he totally counterattacked and absorbed the energy, even leveling up his illusion spell. Our hero smiles. We really have to thank this little guy for saving our lives, he says. Just then, the two guards wake up, completely. Why is it still dark? One asks. The white man just smirks at our confused heroine. I think the two of you are here just to fill up the pages, he says, breaking the fourth wall like a boss. She turns away, her expression hardening. As she looks down at the body of Prince Jinyang, a dagger plunged into his chest. She wonders grimly what could have happened. Her companion notes that the prince must have had a very tough journey. She then asks him, aren't you scared of leaving the Yulin guards alive? They might have been poisoned. The traitorous Prince Wucheng appears with his entourage. He reassures the white-haired man the blame won't be on us anyway. Don't worry, my lord. Behind the scenes, we see his man carrying the supposedly dead Prince Jinyang. Turns out it was all a setup using cursed blood. Prince Wucheng smirks, his path to the throne now seemingly clear. He lays out the final step of their plan. According to our agreement, you have to announce Linger and my deaths after you claim the throne. He tells our hero this will let them live a peaceful, reclusive life. The white-haired man just smiles coolly. Let's go then. But the plan immediately goes up in smoke. Wucheng freezes in horror. Chu Yi has gotten back up, he shouts, ordering his men to surround the camp. A soldier rushes in, panic-stricken. My lord, the entire camp has been surrounded by the royal guards. Wucheng's mind races. The royal guards only listen to one person, the emperor, and right on cue, a procession on horseback emerges from the darkness. The man at the front, looking regal and utterly undead, speaks. I only wanted to take a break because of my injury, he says with an icy smile. I didn't expect you to cause such a row. It's the emperor, and he's alive. Everyone is completely floored. Our hero realizes with a jolt, so it's the emperor who rescued Prince Wucheng the other day. He looks at our girl. Looks like we have all been fooled by this sly fox. A woman, trying to save her own skin, runs to the emperor, dramatically pleading for help. These rebels were trying to murder the eldest prince, and I risked my life to save him, she wails. The emperor just gives his brother, Wucheng, a chillingly calm smile. Do you want to explain this, brother? He then reveals his master stroke. He faked his own death just to see how many rebels would crawl out of the woodwork. With a final, savage twist of the knife, he declares, now Chu Yi, and your powers in the court have all been eliminated by me. The woman who bet on the wrong side looks on in utter despair. The emperor wastes no time ordering both princes to be thrown in prison and prepared for execution. Our heroine trembles. So cruel, he won't even let his blood relatives go. The princess, Wucheng's daughter, begs her father for mercy, but her brother holds her back, his face a mask of grim resignation. Your father is a slave to power, he says coldly. Blood relations mean nothing to him. The emperor and his brother share one last, hate-filled stare. The white-haired man reassures his panicked friends, telling them not to worry. The emperor turns to our heroine, noting that he heard her village had cured Linger's poison and that he'll reward her. But she bows humbly, asking for no reward. I just hope to go back home and pay tribute to my parents at their graves. The emperor smiles graciously. All right, I will let you go home with glory. But as they bow in farewell, the emperor's true colors show. He gives a secret order, lay an ambush on Han Linger's way home. A gunpowder attack is bound to eliminate her completely. His daughter is horrified. He explains with icy logic any threat to the throne has to be eliminated. It's the only for an emperor. She can only whisper, heartless, before glancing at a guard with a pained expression. Later, hero traveling in a carriage. Their companion sighs. They look so cute together. Our girl smiles in agreement, while the white-haired man thinks smugly. The third wheel has finally disappeared. And then boom. A massive explosion rips their carriage apart. He instantly pulls her into his arms, shielding her from the blast. They land amidst the fiery wreckage. He's bleeding, but he pushes her concern away. I'm fine, you're injured, she cries, touching his face. Their friends rush to their side, shouting in alarm. The white-haired man's expression is dark. His friend confirms their fears. The emperor indeed wants us dead. I've been following the ambushes. Our heroine panics, realizing her presence will only bring more trouble for the prince. But he just smiles calmly. Don't you worry, the emperor doesn't have long to live. Her eyes go wide with shock. He gazes off into distance. Someone should be waiting to deal with him. Meanwhile, in a dark prison cell, the captured Prince Jinyang receives a visitor. The man tells him, "You are too simple-minded and kind. That's why Father likes you." The prince is stunned. "Lord Father did it for me?" The man explains the emperor had to eliminate all threats to secure the throne for him. He asks why the prince didn't flee, and the prince just chuckles darkly. In a flashback, we see his true plan. He told his men to escape while he stayed behind to confess and make the emperor lower his guard. Once he lets his guard down, he schemed, "It will be my chance to turn the tables." Back in the present, the visitor watches the prince being led away, thinking he's surrendering obediently. But he smirks to himself. The very last plan you advised is finally going to come into play. The prince stands before the emperor, thinking, it's time to deal with him now. The princess watches, sensing the immense danger. The emperor is surrounded by his men, completely confident. The princess screams for her horse, desperate to get to the palace. Suddenly, one of the emperor's own guards attacks him with a whip. The emperor spins around in shock. He sees his own brother, the one he spared, smiling like a demon. "It's time to pay your debt, Lord Brother." Watching from afar, our heroine sighs. The royal family is the cruelest. Her companion agrees, those involved are really pathetic. He then turns to her, his gaze soft. Our story has just begun. A notification flashes on our girl's screen. It's an official email. She clicks it open and her jaw drops. Her marriage value with Xiaofan has reached 100. They're the 63rd couple in 3,000 worlds to achieve this. This is it. The moment she's been waiting for. She can finally learn about the real-life Xiaofan. The system starts extracting his information, but then a massive error message appears. Because he's on an official test account, the game reward can't be attained? Huh? Poor heroine is completely stunned. She rips off her VR headset, the pieces suddenly clicking into place. So he's from the game company after all, she realizes. That explains how he could find her so easily. The cheater. She fumes, remembering how he flirted with her while she was disguised as a prostitute in the game. Oh, this little nugget is not letting that slide. She's going to teach him a lesson he'll never forget. Meanwhile, at the game company, Xiaofan is getting an earful. "Why didn't you tell me earlier that official accounts can't get the rewards?" His colleague snaps. His boss leans in, explaining that since the game is going public, the database is locked. No more back-channel snooping. Another coworker chimes in with the final nail in the coffin. "All test accounts will be deleted next week. You two will have to say goodbye," he says grimly. Xiaofan's entire world shatters in an instant. His boss pats his shoulder, trying to be helpful. There's going to be more than one failure in life. Xiaofan just glares, thinking, "What kind of devil are you?" Utterly dejected, Xiaofan shuffles over to the vending machine. He grabs a drink, lost in his gloomy thoughts. Suddenly, a sweet voice calls out, "Sorry, handsome?" He turns around, confused. It's our girl. She's got a plan. "I forgot to bring my wallet or my phone," she says sweetly. "Do you mind buying me a bottle of water?" He immediately blushes, thinking she's hitting on him. She quickly points to the can he's already holding. "The one you're holding." A little embarrassed, he hands it over. But then she whips out her phone and snaps a picture of him. "Oi, what are you doing?" He yelps, totally caught off guard. She cheekily says it's to remember him by, and when he asks for her number, her heart flutters. Is he hitting on me? She wonders. But her fantasy is brutally murdered when he shoves his phone at her and says, "Add me on WeChat and later transfer me the money for the drink." Armed with his real name, our girl marches straight into the game company's headquarters. She asks the receptionist for Ji Xiaofan, and in a stroke of perfect timing, she spots him walking by. A sly smile spreads across her face. "I got you," she thinks. Later, she spills all the tea to her friend. Her friend asks if he's the same in real life, and our heroine sighs. He's almost the same, always giving strange girls the cold shoulder. Her friend is smug. "That means the methods I taught you have been successful." Our girl huffs, denying her friend's chaotic advice had anything to do with it. Just then, her phone dings. It's a friend request from Ji Xiaofan. "I'm your creditor." The absolute savagery. She cringes, not wanting to accept at all. Her friend bursts out laughing at how painfully straightforward he is. Our gets lost in thought, remembering their journey in the game. He was annoying at first, she admits, but over time, she saw a different side of him, responsible, gentle, and a little childish. He was only truly nice to the people he cared about. Her friend snaps her out of it. "So what are you going to do next?" With a wicked grin, our girl declares her master plan. Flirt with him. Her friend is floored by this chaotic energy. Back at the office, Xiaofan gets a notification. It's a message from his new debtor. She accepted his request and wrote, "Hello, creditor. Since I owe you a drink, I shall repay you with drinks as well." He clicks OK, a little intrigued. The next thing he knows, she's standing in his office doorway, holding of drinks. "Xiaofan, I'm here to deliver your drinks." He is completely stunned, and his coworkers are losing their minds with questions. One of them immediately starts teasing, "Your girlfriend is making a milk tea delivery just for you, so jealous." Xiaofan frantically tries to deny it, but before he can get a word out, she grabs his hand and yanks him out of the room. She pulls him into the hallway, their faces just inches apart. His heart is pounding in his chest, but then she looks him dead in the eye and drops a bomb. I do. I like someone else already. He walks away, leaving her alone in the hall. She stares at a poster for their game, a determined look on her face. She whispers, I want to see if she's the person you like. The night of the 3000 Worlds launch party arrives with a spectacular fireworks display. The venue is packed with thousands of excited players. The MC takes the stage to introduce a very special guest, and out walks Ji Xiaofan, dressed as his in-game avatar, the designer and pro player himself. The crowd goes absolutely insane. Our girl and her friends are completely swooning. He stands alone in the spotlight, a legend in the flesh, a gentle smile on his face as he looks out at the roaring crowd. The game experience, he begins, allowed me to meet the love of my life. Our girl's heart stops. Talking about me? Images of their adventures flash on the screen behind him. We met on a rainy night, he says, his voice echoing through the hall, and we knew nothing about each other. We were just brought together by fate. He continues, at first, my instinct made me care for her, but as we continued interacting, a seed of love was planted without our noticing. I was blushing bright red in the audience. She covers her mouth, completely overwhelmed with emotion. Time nurtured it like water, he goes on, his voice filled with passion. And our friendship surrounded us like the sun, and the seed in our hearts was finally able to break through and grow. We never stopped protecting one another. He smiles softly at the memories. We always longed for the day we could taste the fruit, he says, as an image of them together fills the screen. The memories are so beautiful, it's heart-wrenching. Then he looks directly into the crowd and calls her name. Ling-er. Tears stream down her face as he asks, it must be real sweet, right? He points right at her. I expose you. Whether virtually or in reality, I knew we'd always find each other. Just as how the accident that connected us created our beautiful story, he declares. She looks down at the glowing red mark on her hand, the very thing that brought them together. He holds out his own hand, the same mark glowing brightly. Put your hand on it, he says. She walks onto the stage as if in a dream and places her hand in his. Their marks connect, and a brilliant light explodes from their touch. She gasps, as a swirling orb of red energy envelops them both. When the light fades, she's been transformed. She's wearing a breathtaking traditional wedding gown. It's a wedding gown, he says tenderly. Our girl is speechless. He pulls her close. We've been through life and death, virtually and in reality, just to be with one another. He looks deep into her eyes. I'd love to trade my eternal love for you to have you by my side forever. Then he drops to one knee. Marry me, Ling-er. The crowd erupts. She's so happy she can barely speak. But suddenly, the screen glitches violently. The perfect moment shatters as she's thrown backward. In the crowd, a shadowy figure with an eye patch raises a gun, aiming it directly at Xiaofan. The world dissolves into static and terror. Here we go again, folks. Strap in, because this one's a wild ride. The heart monitor flatlines, and then, with a desperate jolt, it spikes back to life. Our girl's eyes snap open. The world a blur as she gasps for air through an oxygen mask. She jolts upright, screaming for a doctor as a nurse tries to restrain her panic. Lying back down, an IV in her hand, she dazedly thinks, I'm still alive? A doctor checks her eyes with a bright light, confirming she's in good condition, despite the ordeal. When asked what she remembers, the memories come flooding back. It was Xiaofan. She can't believe he would do that to her. The doctor quickly clarifies, calm down, you didn't get shot, you just hurt your nerves when you were forced out of the game, which put you in a coma. She stares at her hand where the wound should be, realizing it's all gone. So all of that was just part of the game. She whispers just as a sharp knock echoes at the door. A police officer enters, asking if Miss Han is ready for questioning. The doctor agrees, but warns them not to take too long. The officer gets straight to the point, wanting to know what happened. She reveals our girl is now a person of interest in the 3000 Worlds murder case, leaving our heroine absolutely stunned. The officer shows her a tablet detailing the catastrophe. The game's servers are locked, trapping thousands of players inside. Our girl can't believe it. How could this happen all of a sudden? The officer explains that the trapped players are going insane one by one. If they aren't rescued, their minds will be destroyed. And our heroine, she's the only one who managed to escape before the lockdown. She immediately recounts her last moments in the game, realizing Xiaofan must have shot her on purpose so she could get out. With dawning horror and a spark of hope, she grabs the officer's hands, begging her to find Ji Xiaofan. She explains he's the game's designer and must have known this was coming. The officer nods grimly and leads her down the hall. They find him in another room, hooked up to an IV, his consciousness trapped in the game. He's a victim too, but the doctor notes something strange. Unlike the other players who are losing their minds, Xiaofan is... Our girl has a chilling thought. What if he's not just a victim, but is actually controlling the game from the inside? They connect his game screen to find out. On screen, his character is torturing an old man who's cursing some holy king. Then we see him, Xiaofan's avatar, holding a power drill with a positively psychotic grin. Because now, he says, his shadow twisting ominously. I can start the game. He revs the drill, a wicked smile on his face. With glowing red eyes, he lunges forward and all hell breaks loose. A piercing alarm blares through the hospital. The player Xiaofan is torturing is in extreme pain. The medical staff scrambles, realizing what's happening. As a nurse rushes in with a sedative, our girl frantically asks if they can just cut the power. But the officer gives her the devastating news. Cutting the power would just turn all the trapped players into brain-dead vegetables. It's not just a server lock, it's a soul prison. She realizes with dread that Xiaofan hissed the Holy King from the game. She asks to be left alone with him. Staring down at his comatose body, her anger boils over. I really hate you. Her rage melts into heart-wrenching sobs. You always decide everything by yourself, but you never thought about what I would do if you were gone. She collapses by his side, utterly broken. Just then, a soft asks, "You want to save him, right?" A hand rests on her shoulder. It's a mysterious blonde girl with a kind smile. "I can help you," she says. Our heroine looks up, confused. The girl explains she's an assistant to the company's VP, and they found a way to unlock the game, but they need her, the only one who escaped, to go back in. The girl winks. "Let's talk somewhere else." And with a snap of her fingers, the world shifts. They're suddenly in a different room. Where am I? Our girl panics, only to see the blonde girl cozying up to a man she recognizes. It's Lan Yuguang, the VP she saw on the news. He explains the situation is too sensitive for the public and they need her help. She demands the truth, and the blonde girl nervously admits the game has been taken over by a supernatural power, a demon force. Our girl is floored. The blonde girl, revealing she's a fairy, explains that a powerful demon called an incubus has hijacked the game's neural network. This incubus feeds on fear, turning the game into his personal nightmare buffet to control the players' minds. The entire game is now his granary, and they have to stop him before there are more casualties. Stealing her resolve, our heroine agrees. "As long as I can save Xiaofan, I'll do anything." Just then, opens and her jaw drops. It's Jiang Kai. He was the game's mastermind all along, and now he's here to help save it. He gives a little wave, ready to get to work. The plan is set. She'll log in with her original account, which the incubus won't suspect. Jiang Kai will give her character a cheat code, making her basically invincible, and the fairy will be there to track with her magic. Our girl is still terrified. It's a demon, after all. But they reassure her the incubus is weak and injured. They can't fight it from the outside because all the players are hostages. The accounts are ready. "Let's start now," she declares, sitting in the gaming chair. As they run the final equipment test, she asks Jiang Kai why he's really here. He just gives her a cryptic smile. "You'll know when you're in the game. With a final 'we're counting on you' from the team," she closes her eyes. "Xiaofan," she thinks, "I'm coming to save you." The world dissolves into a stream of binary code. A flash of brilliant light and she materializes in the game, reborn in her elegant avatar. Her eyes snap open to the digital world, but her grand entrance is cut short. "Don't move." Two guns are instantly pointed at her head as a scanner declares she's not from this world. Before she can even react, a man screams, "Kill her!" and pulls the trigger. Here we go, folks. Our girl materializes in a flash of light, her eyes glowing with deadly intent. One of the goons is stunned, but he tries to play it cool. "Don't be afraid," he says, "I will get you offline with no pain." But as she raises her hand, a swarm of glowing red butterflies appears out of nowhere, shocking the men. The crimson insects flutter around them, an ominous and beautiful sight. Suddenly, the goons start choking as the butterfly dust dissipates. It's poisonous. They collapse to the ground for the count. Our heroine stands tall, thinking how effective her senior brother's virus is. Just then, a voice calls out her name, Lingage. It's her friend asking if she's okay. But her relief turns to pure, unadulterated rage when she sees who's with him. Emperor Changling. "You bastard are also here," she snarls, and her friend, Jiang Kai, has a sudden, horrifying realization. "Wait, I'm Jiang Kai. Emperor Changling is my role in the game." She whirls on him, pointing an accusing finger. "Brother, no way. You're the one who set me and Xiaofan up." And just when things couldn't get more chaotic, a third person appears. Surprise. "We are all old friends." The sheer shock on our heroes' faces is priceless. They both think, "That son of a bitch." The newcomer, a silver-haired pretty boy, smirks. "Hey, is that how you greet an old friend? We're on the same team now," he says. "You're the director." He confirms that this is his Smurf account. Our poor girl just collapses into a pit of despair. Why is this happening? Why do I have to save the world with TWO enemies? The director chuckles. "Sorry, but you really shocked me. I just can't take it." Jiang Kai insists he's a good guy, but the director is smooth. "You can try, 'cause you're in danger and we have to trust each other." Jiang Kai finally agrees, and they pull up a map. The first to find Xiaofan, who might have been thrown into the lap of Incubus. With their pathfinding on, the unlikely trio sets off to save the day. Meanwhile, in the real world, things are getting messy. A woman slaps a man awake. She screams at him for sleeping out with another guy and breaking up with her. He retorts that she doesn't love him anyway. The chaos only escalates as he blames her for his poverty and people looking down on him. Another man gets decked and a woman demands to know who the kid's father is. It's pure madness. Our heroes look on, absolutely baffled by the twisted views of these people. Our girl asks the director what Incubus wants. He explains with a chilling smile to break down ethics and replace love with hatred. His goal is to make people attack each other, filling the world with endless fear. The villain Incubus stands surrounded by a dark aura. Holy Lord, you are so evil, the director thinks with admiration. We see the two worlds, the ancient game and the modern city, have completely overlapped. A car nearly runs over our heroes. The dark, smiling entity of Incubus is behind it all. He's rewriting the plots of all the players, creating memorable nightmares for them. And he finds the chaos and fear absolutely exciting. He's just digging into the seamy underbelly of people, something he claims they're born with. He asks his shadowy minion, isn't it fun to kill someone who loves you and watch her go from happy to scared? The minion agrees, it's so addictive, but Incubus leans in close and the shadow flinches back. From now on, Incubus declares as the shadow sizzles, you are my chief executive officer. You will lay out all the plans of action. Don't let me down. The shadow disappears, and Incubus smiles, promising he will never fail his holy lord. Back with our heroes, they're on the move, but their getaway vehicle, a tiny scooter. The director is not having it. Can't we just drive a car or something? He whines. Jiang Kai fires back. Can you drive? And the director admits, with a face of pure shame, he's failed his road test 5 times. As they argue, Sun Kai suddenly yells. An old woman is right in their path. He panics, and they swerve, barely missing her. But she dramatically falls to the ground anyway. The trio is immediately accused of being racketeers. The crowd gathers, with the woman's son yelling that an ancient man hit his poor mother. The director and Jiang Kai are not impressed. This joint performance is way too obvious. The townspeople start screaming at them, calling them shameless modern people. We can't take it anymore, another one yells. The son declares that the ancients took action first, and now they're going to make a fortune. A full-blown brawl breaks out. Our heroes try to stop the fighting, with the director pulling our girl back so she doesn't get hurt. He decides to take matters into his own hands. Let's just get them offline, he declares. With a flash of purple light, the brawlers are surrounded by digital code and whisked away. Our heroine sighs, lamenting how this chaotic world is full of hatred. But wait, the old woman is still there. The director realizes his poison cleared the data. But this liar is an NPC. The son, now a shadowy figure, screams, "Kill it!" Don't let her expose us as a red energy blast forms. The old woman cries out, "Save me, holy lord," as she's consumed by a dark portal. Back at headquarters, the team is debriefed. Their leader takes off her headset. Suddenly, the woman's desperate cry for the holy lord echoes through the room, startling them. A dark teleportation circle appears on their screen. The NPC is summoning Incubus. Our heroes on the ground see the same thing. Good chance, Jiang Kai says. Let's run the boss copy. A massive red portal rumbles open, spitting fire and smoke. Shadowy soldiers begin to emerge from the explosion. A fully armed and masked soldier materializes. The old woman laughs maniacally. Haha, here comes Master's army in black. Our heroes are less than impressed. Miscellaneous troops, they mutter, completely disappointed. The soldiers take aim. Target locked, fire. Lasers blast towards our team, but they stand completely unscathed behind a shimmering barrier. The director smirks. Ling and I have made moves, now a turn. The soldier is shocked. These ancient people are not easy, he thinks. He orders his men to use the combiner against them. The soldiers start merging. I'll make the head, I'll cover you. Our girl is disgusted. Hey, watch your mouth. The soldiers combine into a giant, terrifying red and black monster. Our girl is just confused. I don't get it. How come these few people can combine into a huge man? The monster roars, "Be afraid, tremble, and go to hell." It lunges forward with a massive fist. But Jiang Kai is ready. He summons a ball of blue energy and smashes it right into the monster's face. The creature screams in pain as it's blasted apart. The lead soldier watches in horror as his creation disappears. He knows he has to report to the Lord at once as the portal closes. After the battle, Jiang Kai worries that they've been exposed, making future actions much harder. Our heroine wonders what Xiaofan would do if he knew she was back. Meanwhile, the soldier reports back to Incubus, presenting videos of the fight. In order to take pictures of them, I've almost lost my life, he says. Incubus asks if anyone else about this. The soldier shakes his head, explaining his squad didn't report it so they could get all the credit. Incubus smiles a predatory smile. That's good. A little blue orb of light hits the floor with a soft but before it can do anything, a polished black boot comes down and trushes it into oblivion. The man behind the boot, our boy Xiaofan, gives a cold smirk. He muses that a little selfishness is what gives Ling Er a chance to survive, but his expression quickly sours into a jealous rage. He can't believe she logged off while she was with that Taoist priest, Jiang Kai. Meanwhile, in the game, that very same priest calls out to his senior. And surprise, surprise, it's our girl Ling and the ever-annoying Tui, who greets him as President Lan. Jiang gets all blushy and flustered, admitting he knows what they're about to ask. Tui just clenches his fist, absolutely done with this guy's drama. And then comes the heart-wrenching confession. Jiang looks at Ling with puppy dog eyes, saying he just wants to get close to her, to replace him. But our girl is having none of it. She shuts him down with an icy stare, telling him that love isn't a formula, and he has never been her answer. Her face is a mask of pure, unadulterated resolve. Tui's jaw just about hits the floor. He didn't see that coming. Ling turns her back on the heartbroken priest. This punch is for me, she says, our debts are settled. Oof, savage. As she walks away, Tui bows deeply, completely at her service, and the two of them leave the poor simp behind. The scene cuts to the real world, inside a lavish home. A blonde girl lies weakly on a couch, lamenting that she's used too mana and can't sense the incubus. A man offers her some pricey herbs, but she waves them away. No, she insists. It has to be your kiss. She practically launches herself into his arms for a hug. But just as things get cozy, the sound of heavy boots echoes through the house. The man's face turns serious as he holds her back. This isn't good. The door bursts open and a full-on SWAT team storms the room, guns pointed. They yell that Lan Yongguang is under arrest. He looks grim, while the girl is completely shocked. This is one heck of a house call. Back into the game, the team has a problem. The computer can't locate Xiao Fan. They've completely lost him. But then, a pair of familiar shoes step into their virtual space. It's Xiao Fan, because I'm coming to you, he declares. He explains he can only transmit to specific flashpoints. Ling and Jiang are stunned. They demand to know how he found them when the system doesn't even have their data. He smugly explains his process, leaving Ling speechless at how easily he tracked them down. And then all hell breaks loose. Xiao Fan grabs Jiang by the collar, absolutely livid. You knew how dangerous it was and you brought her here anyway. Tui tries to play peacemaker, but Xiao Fan snaps at him, shut up. Why aren't you dead, motherfucker? He then drops the biggest bomb of all. This is just my smurf, he snarls. I am your immediate boss in reality. Tui is completely floored. Boss? Director? He can't believe it. But Xiao Fan confirms it's true. They're on a rescue mission. Ling steps between them, trying to focus on the real threat. She warns them the boss is a monster and they need info now. Xiao Fan, however, points out a huge logic flaw in her story. Tui and Jiang get hit with a sudden realization. They were so terrified they didn't even think straight. Ling tells Xiao Fan to leave since the Holy Lord is now the system itself, but he grabs her arm, refusing to go until she explains everything. She looks up at him, her eyes pleading. Are you true to me? She asks softly. He freezes, completely caught off guard. And then he gives her his answer. He pulls her in for a deep, passionate kiss. The other two can only look away, cringing. Tui mutters for them to just get used to the constant PDA. Xiao Fan gently pulls back from the kiss. He steps away, blushing, but his expression instantly changes. He senses something. A massive, shadowy claw appears right behind them with an ominous clappy. A dark, terrifying voice echoes around them. That's my ideal chief executive officer. The Holy Lord reveals its monstrous, serpentine form, pleased that Xiao Fan has brought his lover right to him. The beast leans in, its red eyes glowing with malice. This is good. It hisses. Now I can see you kill her again. It throws its head back and lets out a bone-chilling laugh. The demon declares its plan, to keep Ling for its own pleasure, before killing the other two. Xiao Fan pulls our girl protectively behind him, but the others aren't going down without a fight. They launch a massive attack, causing a huge explosion. The entire building erupts in flames. Debris rains down on the city below as people scream in terror. Xiao Fan has a protective aura around him and Ling. The Holy Lord is shocked, realizing they have add-ons. The attacks land, creating two glowing holes in the monster's massive body. But the demon is completely unfazed. You made all that fuss just to poke two little holes in me? It taunts. Tui and Jiang can only watch in horror. Their best attacks did almost nothing. The Holy Lord smirks, admitting their effort was commendable. It then reveals that this entire world is its energy domain. We see a horrifying glimpse of the real world, where people are literally disintegrating into digital code. The monster spreads its arms wide, a vortex of data swirling around it. It roars, I am the god here.